All right, let me get the prompt in a second. I'm gonna get the prompt. Is that Johnny? Johnny plays PC. PC has far too many buttons.
What you talking about?
PC has far too many buttons. Far too many buttons to be played on to be played with. Oh, okay, then that makes sense. Makes it slightly less difficult. Is it like a PlayStation controller or like an Xbox controller?
Xbox.
Uh, I see. Xbox. What games do you play? You play Call of Duty?
Yeah, I play. Well, I can't play COD right now, but I play Fortnite a little bit.
Oh, I see. What's Call of Duty Warzone?
Yeah, I play Rebirth.
Oh, I can't. I see. Fortnite, and we can play Fortnite. I'll be right back. Be back. I'm gonna put
I'm back. Guess who's back? Back.
hello.
Back again.
I'll be back, guys.
I honestly agree with the picture he had up before about the guys who are saying pro-choice are just simps.
I'll put it up. I'll put it up before going back. Actually,
Good thing I'm abolitionist.
it's actually one of my favorite prompts.
Is it?
All right, I'll be right back.
Is it weird how they're the men that actually get the least women in their DMs?
Hey, y'all.
What up, Mike?
Hey.
How you is?
What y'all got going on tonight?
Man, it's been crazy.
How's the conversations been, like, as far as on here?
Oh,
Well,
I was in Stitches live a little bit ago, and it's just fucking crazy.
I tore apart a Muslim's argument about the Quran being the truth, and they refused to accept it, and were trying to disprove me with things that don't make sense. Like, tell me how when the Quran says that Allah is is like the best of schemers. Like, how is that an image of God? God is supposed to be patience and love. He doesn't scheme. He doesn't have to scheme. Don't don't make no sense.
100%. Yeah. Yeah, I watched a live stream of YouTube between was it God Logic and like his live stream that he did, the joint one he did with Nick SW. Like that was great. Like
Yeah,
both arguments.
they keep falling back and saying Makaru doesn't mean that, and I'm like, yes, it does. It means scheming and deceiving. That's literally what that word means in Arabic. Let's
Yeah, so
not.
King, so someone who speaks a little Arabic as well as who read the Quran, that exact verse is not saying in a sense that God is deceitful in a bad way. It's saying that God can scheme things in a way of creating or orchestrating stuff. So you took that verse out of context. In regards to you being a Christian, presumably you think Jesus is God, correct?
The Holy Trinity is God.
That's not what I asked you, brother. You believe Jesus is God?
He is the Son of God, and he had God dwelling within him.
Okay, cool. So
Wouldn't
is he
you
going to be
say?
the son?
Well, wait,
Is he going to be the
if
son
you're
of God, or
saying,
is he
wouldn't
God
you say
himself?
he's God?
Would you say? Would you say Catholic?
Yeah, I was gonna say, wouldn't you say he's God, King Zero?
That's what I'm
Yeah.
asking him.
I
Yeah.
mean, I would say
Okay,
that.
so
I
King, I
would
have a
I would
question
say
for you,
that. I would say
brother.
that Jesus is God.
Yeah, here, I got a question for you, brother. Are you aware of the history of like the concept of the Trinity itself? Are you aware of the history of it?
Other than what's in the Bible, no.
Okay, so according to historical evidence, the concept of the Trinity didn't exist until the year 325 AD at the Council of Nicaea. Historical evidence shows that the first century Christians never worshipped or like understood the concept of the Trinity itself because it didn't exist at this point in time.
Yeah,
Rather,
I
Christians in this
wholeheartedly
period,
disagree with that. Yeah, that's
I would
definitely.
love
well,
for you to cite your sources.
yeah, no, I can definitely cite my sources, man. I debate this all the time. That's not an issue here, but I do want to attack a couple verses here with you, like in a respectful way. Are you aware of like Hosea chapter 11 verses 9?
Hosea chapter. Let me see.
Yeah, I'll bring it up if you have it right here with me. Let's go to Hosea. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Perfect. We have Hosea chapter 11 verses
You mean
9. So
Josiah?
no, not just Hosea or however you want to say it. So it says, what's it called? It says, I will not execute the fierceness of mine anger. I will not return to destroy Ephraim, for I am God and not man. The Holy One is in the midst of thee, and I will not enter into the city. Oh, what was that? So just to be clear, brother, can we both concede to the fact that Jesus, God, is not a man?
God, yeah, go ahead, King Zero, if you want to answer. Like I know how I would answer that.
Yeah. Can we both agree that God is not a man, nor is he the son of man?
You realize that there are other scriptures that prove that.
No, it doesn't, brother. Can you just
Are
engage
you
with me real quickly?
you're gonna say
Do you, are,
false?
can we agree that Jesus is, sorry, not Jesus, that was a blunder. God is not a man, nor is he the son of man. Can we agree with that?
God is not the Son of Man. God is.
That
So
doesn't answer the question, man.
yeah. If you believe in a Trinity, you have to distinguish between the persons and the essence. That's how you need to answer that question. Like the question doesn't even make sense logically from our perspective.
Yeah,
Well, I
like
think well, here's the thing, Catholic. I think the question follows because if it is the case that God can metaphysically be something else in which he ordained himself to be, then that would just contradict the verse itself if it's true that Jesus is God. I mean, like evidently it says that he is
You
not.
said, can we agree? And Jesus is not the Son of God. Oh, or no, you
No,
said.
no.
Let me repeat. Okay,
Right,
you
brother.
said, can we agree that God is not the Son of Man, right?
Yeah, he's not a
Yeah,
man or a
but
son.
not. But that depending on what which person you're talking about, yeah, maybe that specific person isn't the Son of Man, but that doesn't mean that the Son of Man isn't God. Like
Yeah, but
that,
see
depending on which
that's
person
just
you're
going to
referring
be
to.
begging the question. What I'm asking King Zero here is that, well, the question I'm asking is like,
Sure,
is it
we're
true?
provide I mean, I could just say the same thing. Like you're begging the question as far as like with that question.
Wait, no, that's not really begging the question. That's just trying to get insight on the scripture itself. That's why I'm asking King Zero here. Can we
Yeah,
agree to that point? Like, is God a man or a son of man? That's why I asked him, brother.
You said Josiah, right?
No, not Josiah.
Hosea.
Hosea chapter 11.
H-O-S-E-A. It's
Yeah,
H-O-S-E-A.
H-O-S-E-A. Hosea
Yeah, so,
chapter 11, verses 9.
yeah, hold on, Matt. So, like, when we talk about God, right? God is just going to be like a title, right? Like, and I would say that Jesus holds this title of God. The Holy Spirit holds this title of God, right? And so does Yahweh, right?
Well,
This is just like-
Yahweh
this
would
is-
be. Well,
That's
Yahweh
that's
would
not
be-
that's not scripture. That's
Wait.
not scripture. That's what I'm trying to
Wait,
understand here. with King
hold on,
Zero.
Matt. Hold on,
Wait,
hold
but
on.
wasn't the Quran literally written by a man who was never there as well?
Wait,
No, actually,
can
no,
you
the
answer?
Quran.
Can you answer his question first, please? Like, can we
Like,
not
brother, I've been
deflect
very
or
respectful, and you just kept dodging my question, man. Like, come
please,
on, dude.
please, just
Like,
answer it.
like I'm just asking in good faith. Can we agree that God is not a man, or is he the son of man?
There's no way you agree to that if you're a Christian. I would say that. Yeah, dude.
Okay, I mean, like this guy said that he debunked a Muslim or whatever on the Quran. I mean, he's not willing to engage with me. I don't think what he said is true, but if it is the case, the Muslim probably didn't know what he's
Go ahead
talking
and
about.
answer. Go ahead and answer, and that's fair. Go ahead and answer. Like, I don't want to
I'm
provide
trying to
it.
find the scripture he's talking about so I can get the context behind it.
I can read the scripture for yourself. In fact, I can pull it up in like a different language if you like. So,
Chapter,
like,
Yeah.
chapter, which one?
yeah, brother, Hosea chapter 11, verse 9.
Verse 9.
Yes, Hosea chapter 11, verses 9. I
I
even
will
read it
not
myself to you.
execute my burning anger. I will not again destroy it for him. For I am God and not a man, the Holy One in your midst. I will not come in wrath.
Okay,
They shall
perfect. So,
go after the Lord. He will roar like a lion. Do you realize when it says the Lord, they're talking about Jesus, right?
that's not what it's. That's again, bro. That's you're baking
Lord.
something that's not there. Hosea, King, you're not answering my question, bro. I asked you
Constantly,
specifically.
Jesus is called the Lord.
King, I asked you specifically, dude. Is God a man, or is he the son of man? It's a yes or no question.
He's the Son of God.
Again, that doesn't answer the question, bro.
come
Is
on.
God
I
a
wouldn't
man,
answer. I would have
or is he the?
definitely not answered that way.
Like, this is actually insane.
That
King
yes
Zero.
or no, but that yes or no.
Like, and I
question
believe
is
in the
kind of-
oneness, and I even like,
That,
come
that
on,
yes
just
or no
answer the
question,
question.
though. That yes or no question though is like a fault, like would be like under our guards, like that would there wouldn't be a yes or no to that because
Well,
it
there
would
actually, well, Catholic Mike, there actually would be a yes or no,
No, it
because if
wouldn't.
it is the case that God is not a being, like not a physical being, and he doesn't in the Bible any sort of like metaphysical properties, that of course would contradict the fact that Jesus is God
No, it
himself.
doesn't,
That's why I'm
because we
asking.
could just say that Jesus has two natures and one of them is human. That would be actually what we believe. So when you
Yeah,
say
but that's
like
not
Jesus
scripture.
is in,
That's
like
not
the
scripture,
Son of Man,
brother.
it is though.
Show me a verse.
That shows that Jesus is God.
Yes, where anywhere in the
Sure.
scripture does Jesus claim to be God, brother?
I mean, I could just go to the fact that it talks about him being the first and the last, like the Alpha.
Yeah,
and
that was meant in the sense that they share the same like will. That
Who's
doesn't
the
mean that he
Alpha?
is God
Wait.
himself.
Who is the Alpha and
If
Omega
we
in the Quran?
contextualize the
Wait.
scripture itself, he's not
In
saying
the
that he was always
Quran,
here in the
who's the
spirit.
Alpha? Wait, who's the Quran? In the Quran, who does it say the Alpha and Omega is?
Yeah, obviously it says God, Allah. Sure.
Is in the Quran? Is the Alpha and Omega Allah?
Yes, he would be.
Okay. So that's what Jesus is claiming to be.
Yes,
Obviously,
in the
Jesus
sense of
is
having the
claiming
same
to be
relational
God.
will, not being the same entity. That's what I'm fighting here. We're like trying to argue here.
Yeah, the issue. This is the issue I have, right? Like from the Trinitarian, I get it. Like I get why you're questioning him, like with him saying that, oh, I debunked this guy and like that. But what I'm saying is that the question, when you ask this question, well, can the son of based on our faith, which I don't know if you're trying to provide an internal critique or an external critique at this point.
No, I'm doing an internal
Seems like,
critique, which is the
are you
reason
doing
I'm
an
asking.
external critique or an internal critique? Because if you're doing an internal critique, then you would have to adopt our viewpoint, like as far as
Well,
how
yeah,
we-
but that's the whole
and try
purpose
to
of.
provide an inconsistency in it. And
Here's
our
the thing,
theology is
Captain
going
Mike.
to tell you that he is that he has two. Well, depending on what kind of Christian he is, I don't know what King is, but most of us have the idea that, like, the standard of belief would be that he has both a human and divine nature, and there's two natures, and person refers to the who he is, not that's going to be the difference, and the nature itself is going to be the essence.
Yeah, give me one
That's
second.
what's
Guys.
different.
You say you need help with the other thing. Yeah, I got you. I'll take it out. Hold on, guys. Give me like 5 minutes. I'm gonna take this laundry basket downstairs.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah,
Give
we
me
could
like
even go to like we could
Give
even
me
go
like
to
5
like
minutes.
John. We could even go to like John, where John talks about Jesus being the Word of God.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. But I think even that other one, like I said, like in their own Quran, it says the Alpha and Omega. That refers to Allah. So I mean, and that's clearly in the scripture. It's in Revelation.
Yeah, I think God is just like a title. It would be like teacher or mechanic.
Well, actually, God is the essence. It like
Yeah.
describes it, like it is what He is. So, like for an example, like a rock has an essence, but it's not a person, right? So the person refers to who he is in relation, and that's like the relational part.
Yeah, no,
But
I agree. Like this would
yeah,
just be like a descriptive truth of like his nature, right? That's all I'm trying to
right,
say. Like
right,
so,
yeah. And
this is
there's
like
two natures involved there. So there's a human nature, yeah, and a divine
like
nature of Jesus.
like would you say that like Jesus is the Father? I guess is what I'm getting at. Like Jesus is the Father, Jesus is the Holy Spirit. The Father is Jesus, and the Father is the Holy Spirit.
No, Jesus is his
No.
own. Jesus is his own. There's
Right.
Jesus, and it has to do with like their relation and what they do and all acts that they do. Like when Jesus begot Son, or when he sent, or I'm sorry, when God the Father, when he sends his Son down, there's an act of there's an act by based on both of them. The Holy Spirit is it. So they all function within different roles within the same act. They all have the same mind, same will, same intellect, but they are different persons.
Yeah,
They're
no,
not
like
the same person because yeah, then you would fall into like if you start saying like Jesus is a father, then you kind of fall into modalism. Like
yeah,
yeah,
no, like I
yeah,
definitely agree, Mike. I would say that like these are just going to be like the three these are going to be like how do I want to say this? Um they make up like the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit just make up like the one nature of God.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. Nature doesn't have. Yeah, nature in itself doesn't have. And there's not a very good like analogy that usually can work too good. I hear some really bad examples. I hear the gas, like liquid, and I think that one doesn't work. There's a few others, but people are well intended, but it's just like it can lead to yeah, definitely like some
Yeah, so like I would just say that like Jesus is God, right?
yep, yeah. You
Jesus holds this title of God. The
yep,
Holy Spirit holds this title of God,
yep.
and Yahweh holds this title of God.
Yeah, the Father holds it. Yeah. Well, Yahweh in Hebrew would be God, so they're all technically yeah, yeah, exactly. You're right. And I don't know for text. Sorry, I don't know how it got on this. I hope we didn't. You're.
Well, I don't think Yahweh doesn't mean God, right? Like
My
this would be.
understanding is it does.
Hold on, let me look it up.
I was pretty sure Yahweh was the Hebrew name for Jesus.
No, Yahweh means to be. Yeshua is the name for Jesus.
Yeah, Yeshua is a.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
that's right.
Yahweh just is translated from Hebrew. It means to be, Mike.
Yeah, I think they all share. I think they all share in that, like in that, from what I remember, or at least my understanding of it. Yeah.
So we agree. W.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Now there are some. I said that's a typical belief. You do have some that don't believe. They do believe at the. So we believe like in the hypostasis, like the two unions, like Eastern Orthodox, and I believe most Protestants believe in the two natures. Now the Oriental Orthodox believe that it's just one nature, like it should, but that they believe it's one nature, but they believe that the human and divine nature are together in that one nature, where we tend to split it out into two natures.
Yeah, I just don't feel like that would like logically follow.
I know that's how I feel. I will actually want to talk to the Oriental Orthodox to kind of get their perspective and how they defend it. Because to me, like, I feel like that would be so hard to defend it like that way.
Yeah, so you're saying so like they would be saying that like God roamed the earth himself, like as Jesus, like through through the eyes of Jesus, and while he was, controlling things in heaven. I guess I don't
It's
know.
still Trinitarian, but the way that they format it, it just feels weird. That's actually what caused them to break off, like in the 4th or 5th century. Like they were the first to break off in the church, the Oriental, before, like, yeah. So it's a really interesting, like, concept. You don't really hear too much about them. You hear more about Eastern Orthodox, but I don't really hear too many Oriental Orthodox. But yeah, I'd love to talk to one of them just to kind of get there, at least have a friendly conversation, poke at what they believe, just to understand it better, because it doesn't make sense to me.
I would say that like this, even like I don't even know if this is like a salvational issue, right? I
It's
think that
not.
I think that like as long as you believe, right, that Jesus Christ died on the cross for your sins and rose from the grave 3 days later, right, then I think that's your ticket into heaven.
I'm back.
Yeah,
guys.
I think you have to be careful, like with the Trinity, to make sure that you're not intentionally falling into like a heretical view where you like don't claim that Jesus is God, or you don't believe Jesus is God, you only believe the Father is God, or something like that. But I don't think you have to have the perfect understanding of the Trinity. Like if you have some ignorance of it, which is going to be that's going to be most people, that's not going to be what's going to be like a salvific issue.
I don't think like trying to disprove the Trinity, right, really disproves like Jesus being God. I think like if you want to disprove Jesus being God, you need to disprove the resurrection.
Well, yeah, well, here's the only problem with that. So I'm going to get to every last point because I just went downstairs to do some laundry and stuff. But here's my take on it. So I don't know why he left or whatever, but when I asked him if Jesus is God, a man, or the Son of Man, this was speaking in like a metaphysical sense, given the fact that God cannot contradict his own nature or volition. So if it is the case that Jesus was obviously a man and he was a son of man, this would also contradict Malachi chapter 3:6 and Hosea chapter 11:9. Malachi chapter 3:6 says that God is not a man, nor is he the son of man. But we look at other verses, it says that Jesus was a man who was born of a virgin mother and also was distinct from the Father. If we look at other scriptures, like for instance, let me go to Luke chapter 18:19. Give me a second.
Yeah, we agree back. We agree that Jesus is distinct from the Father.
Yeah, but here's the thing though. So I'm going to actually show scripture out of the Bible open, just in case you guys are wondering.
And even God grants Jesus like the fact that, or his divinity as well. Like we can go to that as well.
Give me 1 second, Catholic Mike.
Sure.
Catholic Mike is always good faith.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, my man.
Mike,
friendly.
fix your
This is definitely friendly.
fix your damn
Mike is
fix your
definitely my
damn
favorite
fire alarm.
Catholic for sure.
Fix
Well,
your
listen.
damn fire alarm.
Yeah, so here's the thing. So if we contextualize, I'm just going to read chapter 15 to 18:19, right? Just so like we have like a gist of what's going on. So it says, "Let the children come, and they brought unto him also infants, that he would touch them. But when his disciples saw it, they rebuked them. But Jesus called them unto him and said, Suffer little children to come unto me, and forbid them, not for of such is the kingdom of God. Verily I say unto you, whosoever shall not receive the kingdom of God as a little child shall in no wise enter therein." Then it says, "And a certain ruler asked him, saying, Good master, what shall I do to inherit the eternal life?" So someone is talking to Jesus, calling him master. Jesus replied back in Luke chapter 18:19. He says, "Why callest me good? Why do you call me good? No one is good except God alone." So
Yeah, but you know what? That whole saying right there, yeah, we've heard that one before, right? You know what? No one is good but God alone, right? And no way does he state in that chapter that I'm not God. Like any
wait, but just to be
argument
clear,
you
wait,
have
so
is
just to
gonna
be
be
clear,
that.
is God all good? Is God all knowing, brother?
Yeah, and
Right. So why
no
did
way
Jesus vehemently state that he is not good? There's only one that is, and that's God
is
alone.
is the person, when they say master, like are they saying that are they acknowledging like his deity there?
Yeah, but see, no one is acknowledging deity there in this context, because it says here, "And a
Right.
certain ruler asked him and saying, Good master, what shall I do to inherit the eternal life. I'm just playing around. And Jesus said unto him, why this calls me good? Why do you call me good, man? Why you call me that? Nobody is good except God alone. If we agree that God is all knowing, God is all powerful, he's omniscient, he can do all things on his own volition, he doesn't need to pray anyone, he doesn't need to eat or fast to do any of these things, then obviously in this verse, this is going to be another proven point that Jesus himself is not God. Because if it were the case that Jesus was God, he wouldn't have corrected him and said, why call me good? I am good because I am God. But he didn't say that. Rather, he
That
said,
doesn't.
no
Well,
one is
I mean,
good
that's just
except
kind of
God
like an
alone.
argument from silence there. Here's the thing too, that there was a point in there where he wasn't necessarily revealing that he was God directly right off the bat, right? Like as far as like to ensure that so he didn't proclaim his deity right away. There's plenty of other verses that you can continue to go through where he does give us that particular idea. So, I mean, you can kind of go back and forth on it, but he doesn't directly deny that he's God in that verse. He just
Well, no,
says
he
that
does, because if
only
it
God
is
is
true
good.
that God, but here's the thing, Catholic Mike.
Where does he say I'm not God though in that verse?
Yeah, so like just like an inference, right? If we draw like a conclusion, if we have a conclusion based on like observations or just contextualizing the scripture, right, brother? If it is a case that God is all knowing, all powerful, like he says multiple times in this holy Bible, then Jesus himself would have also said that, yes, I am also good because I am God, right? But he doesn't say that. He says, I am not good. He said, why do you call me good? There's none good except God alone, illustrating that there's superiority between the Father and the Son.
The problem is that you can go through these verses, right? And yeah, you can show me a verse like that, and I can give you an answer, right? But then like I can give you a verse like I did with like the one that there where he said where he specifically claims he is basically God. When he claims he is Alpha and Omega, even the Quran would acknowledge that Allah is the Alpha and Omega. So that alone in his verse is him claiming that he's God. We can also go to like Genesis 1:26, right? Where it says, let us create man in our image, right?
Yeah, so like
I
you
know
know the
that
beings, you know the type of beings in which God created before mankind, right? So it is evident that God would have known Jesus before he formed him in Mary's womb, because God was here before everyone else here. God doesn't have a beginning or end; He's always there, right?
right.
I don't know how that's
He
possible. I
says,
don't know, but don't quote me, right? But the
yeah,
point that I'm making here, brother, is that if God said in the Bible, which he says in Genesis, let us make man in our image, the
right.
type of beings in which exist in heaven amongst God were the angels. And God also made the angels somewhat of his image, because the angels have divinity, they have power, they have knowledge, and all the different things. So he's not saying us in the sense that Jesus was with him spiritually. Rather, he was indexing this to the
Wait,
holy
wait, wait.
beings that were along with him, which
No,
were the
No,
angels.
I
Mac,
explained this to
hold
I
on, hold on,
explained this to Mac
hold on,
earlier.
hold on,
Like,
hold on,
That, that
Mac.
that's
This
the
is
that's the context.
Mac. This no. The context here is this: is Jesus is challenging this man, right, to like look inside himself, right, and to see if he is actually like truly good, right, and to challenge him to thinking it's like, okay, if Jesus is actually claiming to be God, then he would actually be good by definition because God is good.
Yeah, but according to Jesus himself, he's not good by definition.
That,
He says otherwise, bro.
He
I think the
doesn't make that
misinterpretation
direct claim that he's not good. He never says in that verse, I'm not good. Like you when you read it, what did
Yeah,
it say?
but the
He
only
said,
problem is if it
why
is the
do
case
you
that
call me
Jesus,
good? It's more rhetorical. Why do you call me good? Only God is good.
well, yeah,
And
but here's
he
the only
never
problem.
states
If it is a
that.
case that Jesus, like in this sense, Jesus says, "Why do you call me good? No one is good except God." There's a little bit of caveat there, right? Because if it is true that God is all good, all knowing, all powerful in these different things in which we love, then obviously Jesus wouldn't have said to the man, "Why call me good? No one is good except God alone." He would have immediately said that, yes, I am good because I am the
so
Lord your God. But he doesn't say
we
that
have
in
to
John
no, no.
19.
We have to look at how Jesus spoke to people, bro. Like this is not how Jesus spoke to people.
Yeah, but here's the
Always a
thing. Based on
poetic
based on
way.
my hours of research on this exact scripture, this is contextualized as him not speaking in a parable, but rather speaking in a literal sense to the guy he was talking to,
Matt,
whoever it was.
I never said that he was speaking in a parable, right? I simply just said like this was just him challenging this man, like the rhetoric, right, of what it means to be good, right? And it was challenging him to be like, oh yeah, if I look at Jesus, right, and Jesus is actually truly good, then we could just use some form of inference that Jesus is God here.
Well, that's not. Well, that's just going to be begging the question, because if it is the case that this would be true for an entity that is God, then Jesus obviously wouldn't have corrected and said that I am not good. There's one except God.
Didn't say
Obviously
he's not
showing a
good.
distinction. Now, I would
You're
agree with you. I would actually grant this, right? I would grant in the sense that yes, Jesus had will with God. Jesus also had many, essences with God as well. We agree with those things. Jesus also had the Word of God with him, but this doesn't instantiate that he is God himself, because God is going to be a different being that's not of the metaphysical world. Rather, he's a spiritual entity.
Wait, I think you're just like confused on like what the Trinity. What do you take the Trinity to be, Matt?
I'm sorry, brother. What'd you say? I couldn't hear you, man.
Oh, you're good. Like, what do you take the Trinity to be, Matt? Because I think you're confused on like what the Trinity actually is saying.
No. I'm not confused at all, brother. The Trinity is going to be that obviously these three beings are going to be separate, but they're going to share like one essence, or like they're going to be in unison with each other, right? So like the Trinity is establishing that Jesus, right, is God as well as the Holy Spirit, and they all live within each other or through each other. That's not what's illustrated according to Scripture, because when I look at Scripture here, rather, the Holy Spirit is going to be like a separate branch, or like a spiritual being of which God created to like transfer or like do intercessions. Jesus himself, which is the Messiah, great messenger and prophet of Allah, he is the one who's going to bring forth liberation to humanity, and obviously,
Right.
get rid of a lot of transgressions. So
It would
that's what that was in his
Right. It would
purpose.
just the way that me and Mike look at the Trinity, right? We were just discussing this, right? This is going to be like the three natures that make up the being of God, right? So if you look at God like a title, right? God is going to be a title. Yeah, God is going to be like a title, right? Like teacher or mechanic or engineer, right? So like we have Jesus, we have the Holy Spirit, and then we have Yahweh, which is going to be the Father, right?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: in
Yahweh,
Islam, we also
Yahweh,
believe in
Yahweh,
Jesus too. We just,
huh?
yeah.
Like
I
we
was going to
don't.
say in Islam, we believe Jesus is the Messiah. It says multiple times in the Quran that Jesus was a perfect man. He was born of a sinless mother and performed miracles. We affirm all those things. Any
Okay,
Muslim
but
will
like
say
when you
yes.
do,
Any real Muslim who knows the
wait,
Quran,
wait,
he will
wait.
tell you yes, Jesus was a perfect man. It's just that
Matt,
we
Matt,
don't
Matt,
believe
hold
he's
on,
God.
Matt, then you would just be like contradicting yourself here, right? Because if you're going to say that Jesus lived as sinless life, would you not agree that Jesus would have been a good man?
And not good in that sense. No, obviously not. But
What
like,
do you
if it
mean?
is a case of Jesus was perfect, here's the thing, right?
Well, I mean,
Jesus
if
obviously
Jesus
was a
lived a
perfect
sinless,
man in
if
the sense
Jesus,
that he was an individual who could commit no sin, but that doesn't mean that himself was good, because he refutes that in Luke chapter 18,
what
19.
else? Matt, then what does it mean to be without sin if it doesn't mean good?
Well, I mean, like good can mean like different things. It depends on the context. Like good could be like, eating my favorite ice cream, or, shooting a pig or whatever. Like that, there's going to be different things with
Okay,
good. It's
in the
subjective.
context of the verse that you're saying, what does that mean? What is that meaning?
Luke chapter 18, 19. Let me go back to it. Give me a second. Go
That's
back.
the same thing he's asking. Why callest thou me good? He's not saying he's not good.
Well, yeah, but that's the only problem, right? Let me just break it to you this way. Let's just say if I'm Jesus or whatever, and
Hold on,
you're
hold
a
on.
man that I'm talking to,
Matt,
and
look up the word good in Hebrew. Like, look up the word, like what it's actually meaning here.
okay,
Because I feel like this is just a semantics dispute at this point.
Well, this will
well,
also
it's not
be
really
this will also
semantics
be
dispute. It's
Greek,
going
by
to
the
also be
way.
like
It's New
issues with
Testament.
like category. But listen, I can actually bring up the word good in Hebrew. Give me like 5 seconds. In fact, I have my computer open. Let me bring
Yeah,
it
real
up.
quick, I want to say real quick, Mac. I do agree with your. That was a good. What, not straw man? It's the
Wait,
opposite.
what? It was a good what?
No. That was a good. What do you call it? Steel man. That was a good steel man of the Trinity. Yeah, I agree with you. It is one
I would
essence,
agree.
three persons.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
guys, I have so much like evidence, bro. Like my computer
I'm
is
not
open with so
saying
many
I'm not
tabs.
saying that you look. When you do a stillman, it doesn't mean that you agree with the position, right? I'm
Yeah.
saying that it was charitable in the way that you gave the actual argument, that you actually understood what Christians mean by the Trinity. You don't, when you're given a stillman of the position, asking them why what we ask by what we mean by it, it doesn't mean that you agree with it. But at the very least, we understand when we say Trinity, this is, if you can provide it like the way you did, then it means that we're on the same page as far as what Christians mean. Well, I would say like the general Christians would mean by it, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'm
so
just that's a compliment
Yeah.
towards you.
I'm
yeah,
actually,
Matt.
yeah. So right now, guys, what I'm
Thanks.
doing
I'll
is
just
I'm
like
going
I'll just
to,
like I'll just say sorry, and I'll just like concede that like you have a good understanding of what we mean by the Trinity. So just to be good
well,
faith.
I mean, that's fine, brother. Here's the thing. So I'm actually looking up like different contexts of the word good itself. And the problem that I have with a lot of people, not even Christians, but just folks in general, they don't read with context. They don't read with understanding. I'm an individual who obviously grew up in a Christian household. I've done many critiques of the Bible. I've talked to biblical scholars, people who are experts on it, and none of them can answer any of these questions, right? So I'm not having these issues because I don't understand the Trinity. I understand the concept of it, or like why people may believe this to be true. But according to historical evidence and also the canonization of the Bible itself, it just does not belong there, right? So I'm just gonna go to, yeah. Give me 1 second. Where can I find a Hebrew?
Have you talked to like one like God Logic, Nick, some of the other ones?
Yeah, I seen God Logic get destroyed by my buddy Orthodox Muslim. It was bad, bro.
I don't know.
Bro, listen, God Logic got fried by Orthodox Muslim,
I
bro.
don't know.
I'll send you the video, my brother.
You have to send it to me because I've heard this about this Orthodox.
He got
might have even
cooked,
been-
bro.
It
He
might
got
have been
grilled, barbecued.
philosophy or someone else that got him pretty good.
Where's the thing? God Logic is not very good on philosophy. Now, in terms of like knowledge of the Bible and stuff, I'll give that to him. But in regards to like understand like the modality of the situation or all these different things, I don't think he's that knowledgeable because I've seen God Logic
that might
get
be
torn to
true. That might be
shreds.
fair. That might be fair. I think Nick has a better understanding of like philosophy.
Yeah. Yeah, perfect. I didn't want to get the AI overview because AI is dog shit. But if we look at the context of good, so we have like, it says a common Hebrew word for good is tov, right? A versatile term with meanings that include pleasant, fine, desirable, beneficial. In its broadest sense, tov, or good, refers to something in a state of fulfilling its divine purpose or contributing to life, right? It is used in various ways, and that's why we have to decipher the context, right? We can't just say, well, it says good, so therefore it means all these different things. No, because there's multiple definitions of good itself in the definition. So, for instance, from describing the goodness of creation to signifying a good heart, leftov, or good deed, tova. This sounds Russian, by the way. It doesn't sound Hebrew, but anyway. So we have key aspects of good or tov. We have creation, which is the word tov first appears in the creation story to describe the goodness of God's work. And then we have harmony. The word can imply being in a state of harmony, as seen in the phrases like good heart, or when God is said to teach in a way so people can be in harmony with him. And then we have purpose in life, right? Purpose and life. It says tov carries a sense of something being capable of, engaged in, or destined for, fulfilling its purpose in bringing forth life. And then we have covenant and trust, which is obviously, tov can be, sorry, that was a stutter. Tov can also refer to solid covenants, treaties, and alliances, as well as trust and good intentions. And then we have the feminine form, which I don't really think is used as often, but it says tova, right, is used to mean good or welfare, and is not the root of the word for favor or act of grace in the modern Hebrew,
Okay,
right?
so when it comes to like this verse in Luke, right? Like what is this word good meaning here?
Yeah, so like obviously in the context of Hebrew, since the verse that I grabbed from was Luke. Luke is in the New Testament, right? So the New Testament itself was written in Greek, not Hebrew. So like obviously I'm showing the words as what it instantiates here: creation, harmony, purpose, life, whatever. But like if we understand the New Testament, we have to look at what exactly was this verse contextualized in the language that was spoken. It wasn't Hebrew. The Old Testament was written in Hebrew and Aramaic, but the New Testament was written in Greek.
Okay, that's fine. What's the Greek version of it?
Let's do it. I got you. I actually like this conversation, guys, bro. Fuck, I love this conversation.
No, man, I'm just trying to be good faith, bro.
Yeah, no, we're all good faith here, man. I love my Christian brothers and everything. It's just, I just have like a lot of contentions with some of the stuff. But anyway,
I'd love you more if you submitted to Rome, but that too.
bro? First of all, Rome was a pagan society.
That statement. W that.
Bro, what?
Mike understands.
Now look. I couldn't get a lot of these debates. I couldn't even get Nick and probably even God Logic to agree with me on that. But hey, I'm going with it.
Yeah, let me go to Greek. Let me go to GreekBible.com.
Trent Horn understands, and
Ben Horn definitely understand. Yeah.
Was that Greek? I'm gonna go to like the Greek study.
You can
What's it
tell.
called?
You can tell Jay Dyer to submit to Rome. That would
yeah,
go real well.
I should. Yes.
Bro, what's the obsession? Bro, Rome was a paganistic like society, bro. They did so many horrible
No,
things.
that was Rome before the Catholic Church. You're confused again.
Bro,
Yeah.
Rome after the Catholic Church. You know what the Catholic Church did to little boys and girls, bro?
You're very confused. That was
No, that's true.
Those are bad actors in the religion, not the religion itself.
Exactly.
That
We
is
don't.
that is very true. That is very true. I
Yeah,
agree.
we don't want to go down that road.
At the end of the day, every religion has like its horrible past. I know my religion does as well. Everyone does.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, and that's the thing. Like, right? Like, where it'd be one thing if we were saying that we should, that we have to worship those that did those terrible acts, but we're saying, to worship God, right? Like, we understand that man is fallible. So, like, you're right. Like, even in those other faith, traditions, even if there was bad actors, it doesn't mean that the religion itself is false.
Yeah, and forgive me, guys. I'm trying to find like a good Greek Bible so I can read this in context because I don't like just looking at stuff face value. I like to.
Okay, so like, Matt, even if we take it to be like, if he's saying good here, if we're talking about like good moral character, right?
Yeah.
Then this would, by definition, like even like by your definition of like Jesus living a sinless life, like you would just be like contradicting yourself by saying like Jesus wouldn't be good.
Well, no, that wouldn't be a contradiction based on the context. Like, it'd only be a contradiction if it's the case that I'm asserting something opposite of the proposition itself. But like, if it's true that Jesus is God, Jesus is not good. Sorry, if it is true that Jesus said, "Why calls me good? God is good alone." He would mean in a certain context that God obviously moves on his own volition and gives Jesus, like commands to do whatever. I think that's what it would mean. But let me try to find it for you guys. Give me 1 second, because I'm trying to find a freaking Greek Bible that I can read. Sorry, guys. Does anyone know where I can read like a good Greek like interpreter or something? Because I'm trying to find one.
Go.
Yeah.
There's an app. It's called the Blue Letter Bible. Download that.
Yeah,
that
Blue
is
That's what I use all the time.
Letter is good, or yeah, there's another one too. I think I use sometimes it's Logos, but yeah, like you can either one of those would probably be good. Yeah, Blue Letter is good.
Perfect. All right, perfect. So there we have it. So searching the thing, this is Blue Letter Bible. Let's do Luke chapter 18-19 really quickly. And I have like so many other verses, bro. Like
Bible Hub's pretty decent too.
yeah, it is definitely. Let's see, Luke. Do you guys care what translation it's in, or it doesn't matter?
I mean, yeah, it'd be more for them. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I use more of NSCV, NRSV CE, but like whatever translation's fine.
Yeah, I would do like.
NRSV. Yeah, I'm just asking because I know everyone like has their preferences on which translation they use. Like some people use KJV, NKJV,
I use
NLT,
KJV.
NIV. So
Yeah, I would do like the NKJV or something like that. Or
okay,
NKJV.
NKG. Okay, so I'm going to start off with NKJV then. So I'm going to look at Luke chapter 18-19. Let's look at the words good, for instance. Oh, I can actually type in words. Perfect. Yes. Fuck yes.
It's awesome, bro.
Here we have it.
KJV is the only Bible that's valid. No, I'm just kidding.
Let's see.
That's
So let's
what I
kinda-
use.
I'm just joking. I'm just talking about the ones that specifically swear that, like, they're like fundamentals that some of them that only believe that's the only one you can use. I think that's kind of crazy.
I'm trying to. This is like my first
I believe
time
that, but that's
ever.
another topic
Yes.
of discussion.
Okay.
Yeah, let me see, guys. I'm really trying to find this thing. Hold on. Luke chapter 18-19. Where the fuck is it, bro? Luke 18-19. All right. It's like my first time using this little app thing. 18-19. Why do you call me good? I need to find this. Copy and paste. Control C, Control V. Let's see.
The simping get you laid, bro.
You said what?
This guy again. Hello.
Bro, who is this guy?
Bro, you're the one that sent me a fucking invite. What are you talking about? This guy, bro.
I don't think every time you join, I don't think you're ever sober.
I'm laying down, dog. I'm laying down.
God, good. I can't find it. I can't find the.
Oh, I
Ooh,
thought
let
that
me
was the
see.
other big dog.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so we have many different contexts of the word good itself. If the host minds big boxing me really quickly.
Who the freak is Camel Toe Harris?
Oh yeah, camel toe hairs. So like yeah, we have different. This is the blueletterbible.org, by the way. We have different contexts of the word good itself. So like obviously it's not going to be goodly. We're going to look at good itself, right? Because language matters as well as words. Let me find it. So like we have multiple like definitions itself that's baked into the one, which is obviously meaning good or whatever. So I just want to find, let's see, profits at 4, good, profitable. I'm trying to see like what's the context. Like if we understand the context of that verse, what exactly is it like bringing? Just give me a second. Great, sword, exceeding. It's like there's so many different like ways you can use it. We have New Testament Greek. I'm just gonna read like the different ones, obviously. To do good, good well doing, good is good thing, that which is good, things good, goodness, blah blah blah. Preach the gospel, bring good tidings. But I actually need like the word itself, the lexicon of word itself to understand what we're talking about. Because
Yeah, I think the main point is that this is what I was coming to get earlier, right? Like with him saying, "Why do you call him good?" Right? Like, and it's in a way he's saying like, only, and he says, right, only God is good, right? So like, like in a sense, he's kind of hinting at like, oh, well, why are you thinking that I'm God? So he's kind of like providing an argument as to, for that person to think amongst themselves. Jesus uses a lot in those particular days of parables or, reasons to try to bring people to. It's the same way that he does in like Matthew 16 when he talks about like who do you say that I am? He kind of goes through and people give him like, and he doesn't rebuke Peter. Like if you look at Matthew 16, for example. He doesn't rebuke Peter when he points like his divinity. So like at no point do you ever see like Jesus saying, "No, I'm not God."
well, yeah, I mean, obviously he doesn't explicitly state that, but like there's inferences that leads us to conclusion that he is not God, right? Sorry for the
I would say like the strongest point, and like you believe that. Do you believe that Jesus, especially based on your faith, you would believe that he hasn't sinned, right? Like that he's
Jesus hasn't
yeah.
sinned. Yeah, he was a perfect man. Yeah.
So would he have sinned if he's calling himself the Alpha and Omega?
Well, no, obviously not. But like when he says Alpha and Omega, the context of that scripture is talking about like the volition or like the will itself, because Jesus and God share the same will. So if it were the case that they share the same will, right, then that would mean that scripture would apply to him. It doesn't mean that he's God himself. It just means that he wills the same thing that God was because God moves through Jesus. Does that make sense?
I mean, I would say that it sounds almost like you're saying if they have the same will, although I'm not saying this, right? I got to be careful about this because, yeah, like I know the Mormons like will say that he has the same will too, but deny the whole thing, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, Jesus does have the same will as God, but then we have to look at scripture. Like, for
I was
instance,
gonna say like you're getting closer to where they almost share the same nature. I don't think that's what you're saying there, though, right? You're not saying that they have the same nature.
well, like nature, like not in the metaphysical sense, but like in regard to like what they willeth or like what they want. So like maybe in that nature, because even Muslims will concede that point. Like, yeah, Jesus shares nature with God, right? Like for instance, Abraham also shared nature with God. He shared God's will, and he also brought forth like many different things. But that doesn't mean that Abraham himself is God. Does that make sense, brother?
I mean, it does from your perspective, and yeah, it's not going to be enough to lead you to where my point is, like what that point I was like with the whole if it's the same will. So yeah, I'm not gonna press that further because like
Well, here's a
it
problem.
doesn't get you to
If I
me.
look at John, if I look at like John chapter 5, verse 19, I also have 5:30. It says, "Then answered Jesus said unto them, Verily, verily, I say unto you, the Son can do nothing of himself, but what he seeth the Father do. For what things soever he doeth, these also doeth the Son likewise." So, like, if we look at this verse, he states that the Son can do nothing of himself. Let's just say Jesus is the Son of God. Fantastic. He can do nothing on his own, but God can do everything on his own. God is all powerful, all knowing. He doesn't need anyone to pray to. God doesn't sleep, nor does he rest, nor does he eat. God is all powerful, all knowing. He can do everything on his own volition. However, Jesus said the Son could do nothing of himself, but when he seeth the Father do it, for what things never he doeth, these also doeth the Son likewise. This is another argument as to why Jesus would not be God, right? Also, John chapter 5, chapter 30, he says, I can of my own self do nothing. This is Jesus talking again. I can of my own self do nothing. As I hear, I judge, and my judgment is just, because I seek not my own will. So Jesus doesn't have his own will according to himself. And he says, but the will of the Father which hath sent me. So who's the Father? It's
So
not the
You
muffin
have to be
man.
careful
I
there
believe
because
in this case, even when you look at Jesus and when he basically went to go pray before he was going to be crucified. You know, he's like, not my will, but thine will be done. Um, that's speaking of more the like his flesh self.
That's
right,
not
right,
that,
right.
that's
So
not
it's
that
not
that's not
Right.
speaking,
that's not
it's
there.
not speaking, it's not speaking about, it's not speaking because
Dang, my room looks like a tornado
he
hit
was
it.
still in flesh.
I know it just moved
What
in,
the
bro.
freak, bro? Protect. Come on.
I just moved in, bro. Eat a dick.
Oh my
But no,
gosh.
the
But
thing
yeah,
is,
that's
yeah. But I have so many like other scriptures in here that's just showing distinction between Jesus and God. And it's not logically possible that God can be different from himself. Like if it is true
The
that Jesus is the
nature, the
Father, then he
natures
would
can
share
be.
the exact, he would be the exact same as a father, but he isn't, because
no,
if it
but the
is the
thing
case,
is,
that would contradict Malachi chapter 3:6 and Hosea 11:9. Because he
Yeah,
what
says
is
God is not a man, or is he the son
where
of man? And how Hosea says, Malachi chapter 3:6 says, God's nature does not change. So just by God becoming a man contradicts the entire medical physical
nature
properties of
doesn't
him
change.
being a man, because he isn't.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a change though. That's just God taking on like God taking on flesh doesn't change his divine nature at all. It doesn't have. It
Wait,
doesn't.
but if a man is flesh, if God, here's the thing though. If God obviously isn't a man, he's not a physical being that we can interact with, right? He's a spiritual being that created us all, right?
God is the essence, right? God is the in the sense that God is the essence. So yeah, God in itself, when you're talking about God, that's a nature, right? But the person itself can have more than one nature, and that's the case with that. So those are two different statements that you're making there, right? Like God in itself, the divine nature, no, not is not man. That would be a correct statement.
right.
But Jesus as the person can have two natures, divine and human.
Yeah, but
That's what
Jesus,
that's going to be
the
the
only
difference.
problem is though, is like Jesus did not do anything on his own, right? He did everything to the
Yes,
Father. So
according
so
to
so
his
the
own
Correct.
thing, so the thing,
flesh.
Yeah.
wait, no, wait, but here's
Not
the thing
after
though.
his own flesh. Because
What
if he heeded to his own flesh, he would not have gotten on the cross.
Yeah.
Wait,
Well,
so just to be
Because
clear, wait, we're gonna get to the cross later. I love this conversation, by the way,
yeah, and
guys. But
God doesn't do like look, God doesn't do anything on his own in the sense that Jesus doesn't do anything on his own. That is correct. That's why the Trinity. That's why they have the same nature. That's part
well,
of the
yeah, well,
understanding.
nature in this,
But
yeah, I've
hold on,
explained the
hold on,
nature.
hold
Yeah, I
on.
mean, I've explained the nature like previously, but
Let me
what?
go one step further. Let me go one step further than that. That also applies to the Father as well, right? And all the actions that Jesus is doing, right? The Father isn't doing any actions of his own either in that particular sense. All the actions that they do are together. It's one act.
Yeah, but again, that's not scripture, bro. That's baking something that's
Well,
not
okay,
there.
but you got to understand that I'm not sola scriptura, right? Like I'm Catholic, right? So I can use scripture, but I can also use the understandings that come from sacred tradition as well and the magisterium. I'm not reliant on only
Yeah, but
scripture.
see, the problem is with traditions are developed over time by influence. It's not saying that it itself is tied. Like, for instance, a lot of things that Catholics do now, they didn't do these things when Catholicism first became like a sect of Christianity. I think Catholicism arose around like the 6th or 7th century AD.
Not even
The,
close.
well, yes, the Catholic Church, yeah, the Catholic Church
Ignatius,
originated around 6, 7, 8,
We're
6, 7
talking
AD.
about the Catholic Church as early as like 107 AD. No, definitely not. No, the Catholic Church was definitely around way prior to that. Like even most Christians, even the most like anti-Christians that exist, right, will use the argument that it came around like at least by 325 and around Constantine, right? I don't know anyone that seriously says like the Catholic Church wasn't around like prior to like the 7th century, and that even the most like hated, like the ones that hate us, like on the Protestant side, will acknowledge
Yeah,
that the
so
God.
I did look it up. Yeah, so I did look it up, and it does say here that the Roman Catholic Church, sorry, as a branch of Christianity, Roman Catholicism can be traced to the life and teachings of Jesus in the Roman occupied Jewish Palestine or Palestina around 30 CE. So I was actually wrong about that. I'll concede that point.
Are you okay?
Catholicism is much older than I anticipated, and it says according to Roman Catholic teaching, each of the sacraments was instituted by Christ Himself. Right. So yeah, I'll concede that point that Catholicism is much older than what I thought it was. I thought it was like 6, 7 AD. Maybe I'm confused on like when it became like a globalized thing. But yeah,
Yeah, that's definitely understandable. Like for the first 3 centuries, there was a lot of stuff that couldn't really be because they had to go kind of underground.
yeah,
A lot of people messed up with like what Constantine did. It wasn't specifically in the beginning that he made originally like the Catholicism or like the a religion of the Edict of Milan just literally just made it to where Christianity was decriminalized. Like it wasn't like where they could. Then later on, like about I think it was like 53 years later, then they decided to like kind of like more adapt it more as like. But originally, he just decriminalized it. That's all he did.
yeah. So actually, I have like a lot of verses here. For instance, hold on, let me just go to it real quickly. Okay, perfect. So like the one that I just read just now, John chapter 5:19. Obviously, the Son could do nothing without his own, and obviously he can do nothing but without the one who sent him. Obviously, this is going to be conflicting because God is going to be like a property. God is going to be a being in which moves on his own volition. He doesn't need any will from anyone. He moves on his own because he's all powerful. But clearly, Jesus wasn't all powerful because he can do nothing other than the one who sent him. The one who sent him obviously wasn't Muffin Man. It wasn't what do you call it, Michael Jackson. It was obviously God the Father. So Jesus obviously could do nothing on his own, which means that he is inferior to God himself.
No,
That's what the scripture entails.
that doesn't follow though, because that would only follow if the case was is that Jesus was solely dependent in that particular relation, and that's what he was saying, and that it follows that only but the Father could do anything he could without Jesus. You would be right there, but that's actually not the case. There's plenty of verses that would support that also the Father alone isn't able to take action without the Son.
Yeah, but here's the only problem though. So like that might here's the thing. If it is the case that he could do nothing on his own, then that would mean that he obviously isn't God because God can do everything on his own. Jesus cannot. But I do want to pay attention to like something
When
like
you
very
say
important.
God, but
Does
this
it
is
say
the thing.
on or of? It says
When you
of
say
himself.
God, when you
Yeah,
say
of.
yeah, God in itself, we're going to say that that's in relationship, and yeah, God doesn't do anything alone. God, as far as so distinguishing between the persons, right? That's what we really need to get at, so that we're not like that we're not have a semantic excuse. It doesn't mean that you have to concede that Jesus is God, but I'm just saying for us to have like a clear understanding of this conversation. Like when you say God, we consider Jesus to be God as well. So I'm just
Well,
going to say the
Jesus, well,
Father.
here's the only problem though. Like for instance, when I brought up earlier that the concept of the Trinity, I'm not even talking about the word Trinity itself. The word Trinity doesn't mean nothing to me. But like the whole idea of Father, Son, Holy Spirit didn't exist anywhere in the first century Jews at all. But I
The
do want to bring
concept,
this
though.
thing up real quickly, like John chapter 14, verses 28. He said, "Yea, this is Jesus talking. Yea, I've heard how I said unto you, I go away and come again unto you. If ye love me, ye would rejoice, right? Because I said, I go unto the Father, for my Father is greater than I." The Father is greater than Jesus. He said it himself in John chapter 14, 28.
He's just talking there about like that like his human essence that God the Father, because he's in heaven, because he has a higher position at that particular point where Jesus is on earth.
And he
So
has no limitations. Yeah.
in
With
Yeah,
that respect,
but clearly Jesus had limitations, and he was also a
yes,
man.
exactly,
That contradicts.
because he was wrapped in flesh at that point. That's what
so
you
based on
those two
where
Yeah,
go
but
they're
like
together.
if you're gonna make the claim that Jesus wrapped himself in flesh, or like Jesus is God sent here, God, Jesus is God in the flesh, then that ultimately contradicts Hosea 11:9 and Malachi chapter 3:6. Like, for example, if I read Malachi chapter 3:6, he says, "For I am the Lord, I change not. Therefore, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed." And then we have Hosea chapter 11:9, right? Let me go down to it really quickly because I have like my computer open and stuff, guys. Give me 1 second. Where is it at? Hosea, where are you?
Yeah, Hosea 8:1 is merely referring to like the idea of like God and God as far as his relation is between himself and is like being divine and man being that. He's not referring to the fact that he can't take on like human flesh. He's just merely referring to that when we think of God, it's going to refer to the essence, and that's going to be what's going to be divine. Then sure, yeah, God is not man, and in that sense, he does not have. But Jesus, who has divine essence, also has a second essence, which is human, where he was able to take on human flesh, become incarnate. So that's going to be the difference there.
Wait, guys, I think we have an actual op related to the prompts.
Also, I would say, yeah, that would be good too. If like, because I enjoy the conversation, but I also don't want to take over life. I would just say also.
Yeah, I think this is a good conversation to have, though.
Yeah, I think we have an actual.
Well, that's totally up to the host. I want to be respectful for sure. Like
Oh yeah, no, I'm saying for something else. Yeah, let's get
Sorry,
back
guys, I'm
to
bad.
what this is. We got to get back to this.
We can get back
Yeah.
to educating Mac later, but
Wait, educate me, bro. We're having a debate. What? You're talking to someone who spent years reading the Bible.
we
bro.
love you, Mac. No matter
Love you
what.
too, man. Love y'all too.
all right. The person with the cross. What is your age and what's your stance?
21 and pro-choice.
All right, anyone want to take a crack at it?
Mac, you want to go?
Yeah, I'm a little tired, but yeah. What's the argument that solidifies a pro-choice conclusion?
Well, premise one, I think the bodily autonomy of the woman's value is greatly more important than the fetus.
Okay, how are you defining bodily autonomy?
Bodily autonomy is basically a person's right to have the power to do something with their body or not.
Okay, cool. So, like, when you say rights, how do you define rights to be? Would you say rights exist absent duty?
What you
Or
mean,
like
gen-
rights
like
exist
what?
conceptually? Like, do you say rights could exist conceptually insofar as like the mind or like people agree to these concepts, therefore they bring it to a pragmatic level? Or like, would you say
Yeah,
that rights
yeah,
exist? I'm sorry, what?
yeah. I think Essentially, I think you're saying that rights are generally just subjective upon the agreements of people and communities, and yeah,
Okay, cool. So, like, do you take it that rights exist?
yes.
Okay, so a question. Well, let's just say tomorrow, like everyone in the United States decided that women are now inferior and women are going to be subject to making men sandwiches and all these different things. We take away their voting rights. They can no longer drive cars. They can't own property, do anything in this nature. Would you then say that rights exist?
No.
Right. So that means that rights don't exist insofar as they're able to be instantiated. So like that means like if there's not an enforcing arm or like mechanism there to like bring these things to pass, like
Well,
on a pragmatic level,
well.
then that would mean rights don't exist in reality.
Okay, so essentially, so even if you were to take away the rights of a specific group of people, right? Generally, there would still be like rights that exist. You would just have taken away some rights. So
Well,
I'm not
yeah.
really understanding what.
Well, the only caveat is the only way rights can be instantiated or brought to a pragmatic level or whatever is if there's an enforcement mechanism. Absent an enforcement mechanism, rights don't exist in reality. They'll just be a figment of like one's own concepts or ideologies. They're not.
Okay,
They
that's
don't
like
exist.
that's the whole. Okay, that's like it's kind of pointless to even. That's kind of like a pointless point
Well,
to
no,
make.
because
It's
you
like,
made the argument that women have the right to do this thing. So I'm asking, like, where exactly would this right come from if
well,
rights don't exist?
I didn't say women have the right. I said that a woman's bodily autonomy is, in my subjective worldview, that it's more valuable than the life of a fetus.
Okay, cool. So we can get into that later. So like in regards to that's fine. So like we can put that on hold. I'm gonna go back to the rights later. So why do you take it to be the case that the mother's bodily autonomy is more important than a fetus?
Because I think that subjectively, every single person, in terms of how we determine what life has value, is nuanced and it's subjective. And in this term, it would be determined on how much the person actually contributes and gives to our society. And I think that, for example, if all women were to collapse, it would greatly affect our economy and it would greatly affect our society. But if all fetuses or unborn children were to be unalived, it wouldn't greatly affect our society at all. The
Well, that's
value of
just
the
going to be
woman
a,
is
that's
extremely
just
more
going to be a
important.
presupposition, right? So like you're assuming that because, and then like you know, these individuals don't have certain traits or like mind properties or whatever, that if we were to lose them, this wouldn't cause a detriment in our society. What's the argument for that?
I mean, the only thing that it would, in any regard, that it would cause is maybe emotionally. That's it. But in terms of our actual society and how we operate, it wouldn't.
Yeah. So just to be clear, would it be true that these fetuses are like unborn children of the next generation?
Sure.
Okay, so like let's just say that you know, everyone decided to kill like all newborn fetuses, right before like the time in which they'll gain like a mind or whatever. Let's just say if you run that stance, let's just say that we all decide, you know, we're going to kill every fetus that a woman is pregnant with, and we don't want no future generations, right? Would you say that this is antithetical to like human development?
Well, see what you're saying. I mean, just so I'm clear, are you insinuating that any time that someone is going to have a child, they're going to unalive it?
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm asking is, you said that if it is a case that we, you know, like killed fetuses, or like if there's an instance where like fetuses or unborn children are lost, it wouldn't cause like a big detriment to society. But like, how can this be the case if the next generation is going to be like if it is the case that all of these unborn children are going to be the next generation, how would
Well,
this be?
well, because for one, this is completely determined on if this is a constant action you do understand we already have children on Earth, so this is completely dependent.
So abortion isn't a constant action?
No, I'm saying like if there was a constant of people unaliving fetuses to where we couldn't have newborn children at all, then what you're saying, then your premise you're saying
Yeah. So
would be
just to be
accurate.
clear,
But
so
I'm
you
just
don't think
saying,
like
if
73 million fetuses every
I'm
year in
just
Paris is going to
I'm
be like
just
that?
saying, can you let me finish the point?
Yeah. Well, you stopped. That's why I cut in.
I didn't stop at all.
Okay, sure. Go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, the premise that you're giving only applies if it's a constant, meaning if people are going out of the way to constantly unalive fetuses, then yes, that would stop at some point in some years and decades. It would stop the next generation. But since we have children, even if it was one action, like let's say if somebody did a major fetus genocide today and tomorrow, and it was like millions and millions and millions of fetuses, we still have children alive, so it wouldn't like there
Well,
would
yeah, no, that's
it
fine,
wouldn't
but like
affect
that, we
anything.
understand we have children alive, but I'm saying as for the next generation, because obviously the children are going to get older and grow into adults, right? They're going to have like, you know, like whatever. But when they become adults and we decide to like, you know, have abortions and all these different things, like presumably 73 million fetuses are aborted every single year. This would obviously be more than how many people are born every single year. So like this would be antithetical to our development.
Okay, so you're
But the
not really
question would
like, can
be,
you just
yeah.
argue, like you're not actually like arguing like this, like you're not actually arguing anything. You're just like reiterating
Wait,
like,
how am I not? Wait, do you not know what an internal critique is?
yes, I know what it is.
Okay,
You're
yeah.
taking
So
something,
wait,
yeah,
I'm
I
not the
get
one
it.
making the argument. I'm
It's
asking you for
not,
yours.
yeah, I
Yeah,
understand
listen,
what you're
bro.
doing, but
Listen,
it's
calm down.
not,
Yeah, don't filibuster. Calm down. Listen. So
I'm
the
very
question I'm
calm.
going
I'm
to
just
ask
saying
you.
it's not
Hello,
relevant. Like the
hello,
question you're asking is not
hello.
relevant.
Yeah, cross. Relax, buddy.
I'm
So the
very
question I'm going to
relaxed. I'm
ask
just
you
saying
is,
it's
why
not
do you
relevant.
take it? Hello, I'm talking. Why do you take it that the mother? Why you say like the mother's autonomy is going to be like more important than the fetus? Would you say because the fetus doesn't have certain traits met to give her more consideration?
Yeah, all
Okay.
people do this.
Okay, well, that's just begging the question. What exactly about the fetus itself makes it valued intrinsically?
The only thing that we can I mean, is if you give it a subjective more value, because it's, if you say like how most pro-lifers say that, yeah, it has the right to live because you're appealing to an
It
aesthetic.
doesn't answer the question. I'm asking, what about the fetus, right, gives it intrinsic more consideration? What's the trait?
I'm explaining it.
Wait, no, you didn't explain anything. You're just telling me like a
What I,
descriptor. What is the trait? What's the trait as to why abortions, right, are going to be permissible or impermissible?
okay, so again, the reason why it would be permissible or non-permissible is because of any type of subjective value, and these
What
things
do you mean with
are.
subjective value? Everything is subjective. I'm
Are
asking
you,
why
gonna let me? Are you going to let me explain
because
it?
you're not, because
I
bro,
mean,
you're
I
not,
can't because you keep cutting me off
what
every
about,
time I'm trying
okay,
to
so
talk.
again, so the trait, you say subjective value, how does a fetus have subjective value?
Because I mean, there's you can't give some. There's no such thing as an objective value to anything.
Wait, that's fine, but that doesn't answer my question. I'm asking,
So
how exactly does a fetus have value?
because it's
Presumably you're saying,
because
wait, hold
clearly
on,
because
hold on. You just said
no, you're
earlier that
asking me,
you
can you
just
let
said,
me
hold on,
respond,
stop. You
or
just said that the mother's bodily
all right,
time is
you
going to
can.
be more important than the fetus. So I'm asking you,
Yeah,
what is
I'm
it
trying
about
to
the fetus that
explain it.
makes
You're
it
not
less
letting me
valuable
talk,
than the
bro.
mother?
You keep talking. You have
I'm just
questions.
asking
You're
confused,
gonna
bro.
get the
Bro,
answer, but you keep talking.
Cross,
You
I'm
can't get
asking
the
you
answer if you're
because you're
talking.
dodging,
I'm not
You do
dodging
this
any.
every
I
fucking
said
time I
one
talk
word.
to you, bro. You do this every fucking time. Cross, I'm going to ask you, what is it about the fetus? You said
You got it, bro.
subjective value. What is it about the fetus in which will say the abortions at a certain time are morally impermissible? You're not answering the fucking question, bro.
So ask the question again.
Holy shit, this guy can't track. What is it? What is a trait or the thing about the fetus as to what would give it an intrinsic value as to why abortions would be morally impermissible? Go ahead.
That has a value, has a.
Let me break it down for you because it seems as though you have like a comprehension problem.
I don't.
What
It's
is
not letting me
what's the
talk at
trait
all.
about the fetus that makes abortions morally permissible, bro?
Okay, so I don't understand what you're not getting.
Okay, so listen, so we can just break this down, right? Because it's clear that you don't understand. What is it about the fetus, right, that says the mother has a right to abort it? What's the trait there that makes it less valuable than the
I've already
mother's?
explained. I literally already explained this.
That doesn't answer the question,
Yes,
bro.
it
You're
does.
just
I've
telling
literally already. I
me
literally
what people
said, yeah.
value. That's not giving
I've
me
already.
a descriptor on the trait itself as to why the action is impermissible, dumb fuck.
Okay, I'm telling you, I've literally said it already, and you don't want to accept the answer because you're trying to like you're
Bro,
saying something
because you
stupid.
didn't answer.
I'm
You
telling
just
you
said,
that
well, because it's subjective value. That's fine.
no,
That's
that's
going
not.
to be
Yeah, and
independently based. But I'm
give you
asking
the
you, what is a
give you
trait?
the
What is a
reasons.
trait about the
Just because
fetus
I say
itself
something,
that's going to make
yeah, I can.
this guy's actually slow as fuck, bro?
Yeah, just so you
Talk.
understand what
I
he's
literally
saying.
can't even speak. What are you talking about? What do you mean? I say
This
one word,
guy's
you start
actually slow
spurging
as
like a
fuck,
little
bro.
girl.
This
Process,
guy's
just so
really
you
You start
understand what
spurging like a little girl if I say one
Wait, how am
word.
I spurging out?
You're
You're
doing.
not
You're,
even answering the fucking question, bro. It's very simple. What's
just so
the
you understand
trait?
what he's
What's the
saying.
trait? Go ahead.
Just so you understand what he's saying, I'm going to explain it for him. Just so you understand what he's saying, like just saying subjective value, like that's not going to give us
you
motivating
have to let me.
reasons
You
to.
have to let me talk.
That's not going to give us motivating reasons to
I
accept
can't
the
talk. What are
choice
you talking
view.
about?
But just saying
This guy's dodgy.
subjective value,
Yeah,
like that in itself
off
doesn't give
what I
us
just.
motivating reasons.
Yeah,
The
obviously.
value justification as
Obviously,
to
if
why
you
we
cut,
should accept
yeah, I know.
the subjective
Cut
value.
somebody off one word in, yeah, it's gonna sound like that, you idiot. That's why you let people talk. If I say subjective
You
value, you just
haven't
cut me
said
off. It's gonna
anything
sound
yet.
like
I'm
that. That's
still
why you
waiting
let
for
Bro,
people
you.
talk.
subjective
I'm still
That's
value
why
is
you let
just a
people talk.
metric of
That's why
independent.
you let. Yeah, it's a
It's
metric that I can go.
bro,
Yes, I
subjective
understand that.
value is
That's
an
why you let
independent
someone talk.
metric as to
That's
what
why you
people
let
see
someone
as true.
talk.
I'm asking dumb
It doesn't
fuck,
matter what
what is a
metric.
trait about the fetus that
Yes, it
says the
doesn't.
mother has rights to abort it?
Doesn't
Because
matter.
you
It's
said
important.
the mother's body, right,
Oh
is more
yeah, I know.
important than the fetus at hand. So I'm asking
I've
you,
already.
what's the argument that instantiates this proposition, right? And the other question I'm going to
Provides
ask you,
nothing.
stupid ass, is why
It
should a
provides
mother have access
nothing.
to an abortion? Oh, bro, this guy's actually fucking. He does this shit every fucking time, bro. He's remedial as
How
fuck.
could he be this bad? I
This
mean,
guy's remedial.
this
He does
is
this shit every fucking time.
Like,
Like I try to
okay.
give this dumb fuck the benefit of the doubt, but
Yeah,
he
I know.
just
Yeah,
ends up getting
insult someone
stupider
because
and
you can't make a
stupider.
good argument because you can't let someone talk
Bro,
because you're a 5-year-old. Yeah, I know.
yeah, bro.
Insult someone
Listen,
because
you
you're a
have
big guy.
you
Yeah,
have a
you're a big
Forrest
strong guy.
Gump
Look at
level
you, but I can
IQ. You
insult
can't
people. Look at me.
track
I can
shit,
insult
and
people
you're
until I let
dodging,
people
bro.
talk. Look at me.
Okay,
I
Forrest
can
Gump.
insult.
Okay,
Bro.
Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
So
So
we know you like shrimp. It's okay.
that shit
So
is not
Forrest
funny.
Gump. Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah,
Okay.
I gotta
So
force
Forrest
you. I
Gump. Forrest
gotta
Gump. Shut
defend.
up. So what is
Look
it
at me
about the
longer.
fetus that says the mother has rights to get an abortion? You still haven't answered the question, bro.
I've answered this already.
You didn't answer the question. You just said, well, because of subjective value. That's not an answer, dumbass.
That's not my full answer. That's 3 words instead of the fucking answer. You fucking Nimrod. What are you talking about? Yeah, duh. If you cut somebody off mid fucking response, duh, you fucking idiot.
This guy's
What are you
actually
talking about?
special. I'm gonna call you
Dumbass.
I'm gonna call you
I'm
special.
sorry.
Fucking
No,
idiot.
that
What do
was
you
such
mean?
a that was such
How
a
you gonna cut
genuine
somebody off
I'm gonna
3
call you
words in and
special,
say you don't
Cross,
have an
bro,
answer?
because you're
Duh, you
actually
don't have a
All
fucking answer.
right,
You're not letting me
enough.
talk. You
Enough
fucking
is
dumbass. What
enough.
you talking about?
you're a fucking
Fucking
crack
idiot.
baby.
Niggas a
You're a fucking
dumbass.
crack baby.
You cut me
You
off 3
can't
words
track
in and
for
say I don't have
shit.
a response.
You don't
Okay,
have an
can you
Guys,
answer.
answer
get
the
it,
Fact, you're
question?
getting out
dumbass
of
Bitch, what are
hand.
you talking
times.
about? Fuck.
What's the trait,
Guys, the
stupid?
host is talking.
Dumbass
Holy
bitch.
fuck.
Shut up.
This
Getting
guy's
out of
actually
hand.
remedial as fuck, bro. You're a crack baby. Holy shit.
He's getting out of hand.
You could
Getting
tell
out
his
of
mom
hand.
did drug. You could tell when his mom was pregnant, she did used to get it. She used to get
All
probably thrown out of
right,
the
all
system. This
right.
nigga retarded, bro.
Getting out of hand,
Holy
guys.
shit.
All right. All
His
right.
mom probably got kicked in the stomach. That's why he's so fucking stupid. Anyway, so
This
Cross, it's clear that you can't track. You don't comprehend what the fuck I'm saying. Even though Catholic is broken down to your stupid ass, like I don't know how many times. Again, when we ask you what's the trait in of itself that says abortions, right? What's the trait of the fetus in of itself that makes it less valuable than the mother's bodily autonomy? There's going to be reasons behind that. Most people are going to say, well, because the
I've
entity
already
doesn't
answered
have a
this. It
mind.
provides
It
nothing
doesn't,
to
and then he
society at
goes
all. I've already
again,
said this.
okay,
It provides
Forrest Gump.
nothing. I
They're
already
going to
said
say
that.
because the
Dumbass. I
being
said it like
doesn't have
16
a
times. You
subjective
fucking idiot.
experience. There's no mind
I've
there
already
to
said that.
instantiate
I've already
harm
said
or
that
to
it provides
experience harm.
nothing.
Therefore, the abortions are going to be permissible. Obviously, there's motivating reasons as to why the mother should have the abortion in the first place because the being isn't of moral value. So I'm asking, what exactly about the being itself doesn't have moral value as to why the mother should have access to abortion, dumb fuck? Holy shit, bro. This guy is actually stupid.
Wait. Hold on Plus, what would a newborn provide to society?
The guy was dropped on his head as a
You
baby.
said what?
What would a newborn provide to society?
Uh, it's different. Different. Okay, so there's a difference between a like let's say if a person is actually born, right? I think that there's it gains value, and because you can have an actual relationship with the child. You can't have
It's
an
actually
actual
making
relationship with
good
the
shit,
fetus.
bro.
Doesn't answer the
You
question
can
I
have a
asked.
relationship with a plant, dipshit.
Huh? It
Wait,
provides a
wait,
relationship. It provides connect. You can actually have a real connection with the child.
This doesn't answer the question I asked.
Yeah,
What
I
is
am
a
special opinion. I'm
newborn?
appeal to aesthetics. Absolutely.
No, what
Everyone
is a
does.
newborn? Hello. What does a newborn provide to society? Does a newborn pay taxes?
I'm not okay. Paying taxes is not the only type of
You can have a
contribution to
relationship
society.
with a
I'm
child in the
saying you can
womb
have a
as well.
relationship
What are
like
you
you can
talking
actually
about?
you can teach a child things. I can hug a child. I can have a relationship. I can bind with a child. I can't bind with a fetus.
You can bond. That is false. You can
No, you
bond with a
cannot.
child in the
I
Nigga, you
can't.
could
womb.
Can I
bond with a
hold a
fucking
fetus? I can
plant.
hold
Have
a
you ever
fetus.
heard of?
I can
Have you
hold a
ever?
fetus.
Hold on.
Can I hold a
That's
fetus's
actually
hand?
They can
Can I rub it?
recognize
Can I
the
rub it?
voice
hold on,
in
hold
the
on.
No, you
womb.
cannot.
You think holding is the only way you can bond to something?
Huh? I'm talking about on
You
a
think holding
physical
something in your
aspect,
hand?
on a physical matter.
There is,
You cannot do that
there
with a
is
fetus.
not
So,
only
so a
Physical?
mother, so a fetus
There's no
is
way.
not connected to the mother at all.
So you can hold. So you can hold a fetus. Can you
you
talk
think
to a
that's the
fetus?
only
Can you
way
teach a
that you
fetus
can?
language? Can you
You
look it
think
in its
that's the
eyes? Can
only
you
way
show
you
it
can
things?
bond
Can you
with a
walk it somewhere and
child?
show it things? No, you cannot. What are you talking about?
You think that's the only way you can bond with a child is to hold it? Like obviously that's
No,
false.
what I'm saying is I'm distinguishing levels of value between the two. What are you
Yeah,
talking about?
like, and again, like you just said, like, oh, well, you can have a relationship with a child. The relationship with a child can exist, and it does exist.
I
We
didn't
know
know.
it
I'm talking about in
exists
terms
prior
of
to
it,
that.
bro. You're
There's
being
such thing called as
disingenuous.
biological bonding. We know that children,
Yeah, and it's gonna be all in
especially the
con. It's gonna
further
be all in
they
concept.
respond
It's gonna be in
to their
concept because it's
mother.
in your belly. You can't actually hold or do anything
Yeah,
with it.
why does that provide a
This
moral
guy's actually
distinction?
confused.
Why does
He's
that
You said, why
provide a
does that
moral?
provide what?
Why does that provide a moral distinction, like as to why one can be alive and one doesn't? What's going to be the moral prescriptive reason why one can be alive and one can't?
I've already explained this.
No, you didn't.
What you gave was descriptive, idiot.
I literally
Yeah,
already
there's
explained
a
this. You
difference
keep asking
between
me the same, and I
descriptive
keep
statements
explaining
and a
it.
normative statement.
Okay, so one more time. Okay, so the second a child is born, okay, in my worldview, it gains the right to live and
Why?
right to value. I separate. This is separated between when a child is unborn and in the fetus, and when a child is actually born. Because
In the
once a
womb.
child is actually born, it is able to provide levels of physical relationship that gives more value than it has with a fetus. A fetus does not have the
Why does
ability.
that provide value?
You said, why does it provide value?
Yeah.
So you're asking me why does an emotional
Yeah,
connection physically with a child provide value to our
that provide
community?
value?
So you're asking me why does a physical connection with the child provide
Yeah.
value to our community?
Yeah.
Because connecting with a child, this is important
Why?
because emotional connection on this level is important to humans.
Why?
This is certainly not to be the case.
Like,
Like I
what?
can just say the emotional connection exists prior to that in the womb as well.
Yeah, it
That's
does.
obvious.
Right,
I've
like
never,
hearing the
I didn't say
heartbeat on
it
an
doesn't.
ultrasound,
Never said it
the
doesn't. I
3D
didn't. I literally
ultrasounds where
already
you
said
can
it.
see the face. Like,
So
bro,
if this already exists prior to that, why is the emotional connection so much that you can unalive the fetus, and but you can't unalive the child outside the womb? And again, what is it providing to society, right?
Okay,
Like
because
it
I
is
okay, you're
actually
not listening.
dependent on it is actually fully dependent for its survival on another being, and especially being the parents until that particular responsibility, if so desired, can be safely transferred. But it is totally reliant on the mother.
Okay, so again, you're asking these questions and you're being distant. You do not like when you ask these questions. Do you understand that it doesn't matter what premise or stance that you have, whether you're pro-life or pro-choice? All human beings do this. It doesn't matter what type of relationship you're talking about. All of them are nuanced and all of them are like
Yeah,
this.
we provide, but
Okay,
you know
so
what?
you asking me this question is this like
We
you
provide
understand what I'm
distinctive
saying?
no, because what you tried to do is like throw this like utilitarian like argument that could like easily be debunked, and it was like
It's not
terrible.
something you can debunk.
And it was, oh yeah, it's pretty well. I'll just put it this way. I'll let the audience decide that. But like when you provide like a utilitarian stance based on like somehow of like, oh, it's based on its benefit towards society, there are so many reductives we can throw your way to show like how terrible the
Born
Matrix
babies
is.
are more valuable.
Like this is that was not the argument you wanted to provide.
It is the argument. I mean, it's one of them for sure. It's absolutely an argument I want to provide.
Yeah, okay.
We do this. I can ask you. Okay, so
I
what
mean,
is
it's
fun?
good
Okay,
for
so I
us.
bet. So what is fundamentally the
pro-life
difference?
stance.
Okay, so all right, bet. So answer this question then. What is fundamentally the difference in value? And keep in mind, all these things are things that feel emotions. They're living things. They feel emotions and they have a thinking just like we do. What is fundamentally the difference between value between a cow that provides us meat and a newborn baby?
Yeah, there's going to be from our perspective, there would be a difference between like the idea of like one has a rational nature and one doesn't, right?
Well, why does that give us the right to unalive it?
But wait, I could be a vegan, and I could say that it's wrong to unalive the cow too. So it's still not going to provide.
I'm asking a question.
It's still going to wait.
I'm asking a question.
It
What
doesn't
makes
matter. It doesn't matter because it's not going to get you to your pro-choice stance, which is
yes, it does. I'm asking you. Yes, it does. I'm asking you. Why can't you just answer the question? Why can't you answer the question? Why is it seen commonly as permissible to unalive?
I can just turn this on.
Yeah, I know you don't want to answer the question because it's literally going to fumble the pro-life argument. Can you answer the question?
No. I can just turn.
Why is it permissible? Why is it seen as permissible to unalive cows for meat and not newborn babies?
Again, like all I'm gonna say is like if I was to make the argument that there was anything of value, I could just say that there's a difference between one having a rational nature or not, right? That could be an argument.
Why does a rational nature give you the right to unalive it?
Again, this is what you're trying to do. I get it. Like you fumbled your own argument.
No, I have not fumbled. It just answers the question. Why can't you just answer the question? Why are you ducking?
If you're willing to concede,
you literally just tried to argue with me about dodging questions. You're not answering the question.
If you're willing,
you're being a hypocrite.
No. If you're willing to
answer the question.
If you're willing to concede that your pro-choice argument was
it's not dog shit at all. You're running from the question.
Like, I'd be happy to have you investigate my view.
Yeah, I know.
The problem is your position is completely subjective.
You haven't been able.
Any position on this is subjective. There's no subjective position.
No, here, I'll
there's no
demonstrate
position of
what I
this that's
mean.
not subjective. That's
I'll demonstrate what I mean by this. I'll demonstrate what I mean by
any
this.
position is subjective.
Okay, I'll wait for you to stop talking and then I'll demonstrate.
Go ahead.
Okay, cool. So you're saying that the newborn has more value because of the stronger emotional connection that it provides to people outside of the womb, correct?
Not only necessarily just the emotional connection, just the general consensus of what it can do. Like,
okay, what can it do?
You can have you can show the baby things. You can hold the baby. You can build a real relationship with the baby. You can't build a real relationship with a fetus.
Okay, I don't know what you mean by build relationship. This sounds like we're coming back to emotional connection.
I mean, yeah, but it's deeper than just emotional because you can have an emotional connection to a car.
Okay, then tell me what it is about this newborn that doesn't apply to the fetus, because everything you just said, you brought back to emotional connection.
I literally just said you can have a relationship with the baby by spending time.
Sounds like emotional connection.
You can teach
okay.
it. Okay, yes. Obviously, it's an emotional, but we're going deeper into that, explaining the fundamental difference between a fetus emotional connection and a baby's emotional connection. That's the point of me saying this. So stop reiterating it's emotional.
Yeah,
I'm going into depth for a reason.
Tell me about it.
That was just dumb as fuck to say, though.
What?
I mean,
hold on. Just let him speak. Tell me
the
about
emotional
it.
connection that you have with a fetus is not the same objectively relationship that you could have with a newborn baby, because you cannot give it. You cannot give it real. You cannot give it experience. It cannot obtain personhood by experiencing new things.
Okay, would you agree that women, at least some women, are distraught when they have miscarriages?
I don't care. What does it have? Sure.
Okay, because of the connection that they had to their fetus, right?
Sure, emotionally, sure, yeah.
And you would agree that some women kill their born children because they don't have an emotional connection to them, right?
Wait, say it again?
Some women kill their born children because they don't have an emotional connection to them, right?
Sure.
Okay, great. So whether they have an emotional connection or not is completely subjective. Just because a child is born doesn't automatically. I'm sorry, I'm still in the middle of speaking.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know how you're responding. I don't know how you're responding when I'm in the middle of speaking. I don't know how you're responding when I'm in the middle of speaking.
Bro, you're saying something dumb. Like, what are you talking about?
Look in the mirror, buddy. So obviously, it's not necessarily true that just because the child is born, we automatically have a stronger emotional connection to it. That's why I'm saying your position is subjective.
I never said it's stronger.
You did. You said because we have a stronger connection to the born child, that's why it's more valuable.
I said I hold it to greater value. I did not say it's stronger.
Yeah, well, yes, and the reason is because of the stronger connection.
You cannot objectively determine somebody's emotional connection with anything. That's subjective.
Okay, great.
I never said it was stronger. I said I hold it to more value. I did not say that.
Why do you hold it to more value?
Why do I hold it to more? I literally just gave you the analysis of the difference between a connection between a fetus emotionally and a newborn baby emotionally, and why it's fundamentally different.
Okay,
You're
so it
asking
does
me
come back
dumbass
to the emotional
questions.
connection. So then what I said was
Yeah,
true.
you're going in a circle. Yeah,
No, you are.
You're asking me
You
dumbass
are
questions.
actually.
You
You're
do
going in a
understand that
circle
no
because
premise,
you're
and you
telling me it's
reiterating
about
that subjective
emotional
is a dumb
connection. I don't know
point.
why you keep talking. Like you don't shut your
Because you're
mouth
saying
at all.
dumb shit.
Dude. Okay, sure. Just because you don't understand it doesn't mean that it's dumb.
No, I understand. I just disagree.
I don't think you understand it because you're directly contradicting yourself.
I haven't contradicted. Show me the contradiction.
Yeah, I'm trying
Objective
to.
is subjective. Maybe that statement.
Every stance of this is subjective. It doesn't matter if you're pro-life or pro-choice. It's all subjective.
But you literally
it
said
doesn't matter.
objective.
I'm giving you my
keep
subjective.
telling me.
Yeah, that's the
You
point
keep
of the
telling us.
fucking
You
argument.
keep
It's about
telling us that the
subjective
born
worldview.
child has more
Dumbass,
value.
what are you talking about? You reiterating that it's subjective.
I'll
is
wait till you
obvious.
stop yapping.
Fucking idiot. What are you talking about? Use brain cells.
Are you
This guy was
done?
raised-
Do you feel better now?
This guy was raised by a single mother.
Do
Yeah,
you
for
feel
sure.
better now?
Yeah.
Are you done?
Say something that's actually intelligent. Stop saying dumb shit.
Are you done?
Hey, bro, this guy.
Can I respond now? Okay, great. You keep saying that the born child has more value, and everything you're saying comes back to the emotional connection. That's everything that you keep saying. All of it.
Exactly. Like,
Which is
bro.
completely subjective.
Where
That's
is the
completely
where is the
arbitrary depending on the
contradiction?
person.
You know what contradiction? What is a contradiction? What is contradicting?
Okay. Sure. Yeah. Everything you're saying comes back to emotional connection, but that's going to be completely subjective. It's up to the person.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm still in the middle of
Yes, because
speaking.
you're
Maybe you don't
reiterating dumb
understand
shit.
the
Everything about this argument is
Hey,
subjective.
buddy,
Yeah.
maybe you don't understand the contradiction
Yeah, what
because
are
you
you
don't
talking
shut up long enough to hear it.
From my
Maybe I'm not asking you anything right now. I'm making a statement, or at least trying to.
The statement is
Guys,
fucking
Put your
dumb.
lips together long enough to hear something.
This guy's schizophrenic, bro.
Again, you keep saying the born child has more value because of the stronger emotional connection you can build with it. That's obviously subjective. Some women don't care about their born children at all, and they throw them in trash cans or dumpsters. Some women have a strong emotional connection to their unborn children and are completely distraught, and understandably so, when they have a miscarriage. This is going to be completely subjective and up to the person. So your own argument contradicts itself. It's not a stronger emotional connection simply because it's born. That's not necessarily true.
Okay, so this is how I know you're dumb. For one, you're
Oh, yeah,
making
tell me.
you're responding to this claim as if I made it an objective claim that it's objectively true, that it's stronger because it's born. No, I never said
Okay,
that at
great.
all.
Then what's
What
the
I'm telling
reason it
you is-
holds
no,
more
what I'm
value?
telling you is when I'm giving my premise, this is my worldview. So when
Yeah,
you make,
what's
when
the
you
reason
reiterate
the born
statement-
child holds more
when you
value?
reiterate the statement that is every basis of this is subjective. The only thing that I
What's
can
the
give you
reason
that
the
would
born
not-
child
the
holds
only-
more
so
value?
Again, so when you ask the question, when you ask the questions that you're asking, your stance is stupid. There is no.
I didn't
contra-
even
not
give
con-
my stance.
It's
I don't
not,
know what you're
that's not
talking about.
contradiction
Clearly, you're the
means.
stupid one because
Nothing
I
you're
didn't give a
saying-
stance.
It's not. There's no
Yo,
contradiction.
Andy.
You haven't brought
Wait.
up one
There's
contradiction.
no way he's
Okay,
listening.
hey dummy,
Yo,
I don't know what your name is,
Andy,
so I'll just
Andy,
call
I
you
think it's
dummy.
best.
Hey
I don't
dummy,
It's
think
not.
what's my
You're not
stance?
explaining.
There's no way he's
wait,
listening,
hold on.
bro.
Yo, Andy, here's the thing. I don't think that it's fair for us to beat up on the disabled because this guy
It's
is
fine.
like
It's
Your
fine.
point is you
Hey,
can't make a
he's
fucking
like
argument. You haven't
Forrest
made a-
Gump.
you
that's
haven't made a
fine.
single good
That's
argument.
fine.
You haven't
Hey,
made a
dummy,
single
what's
good
my
argument.
stance?
How did you
That's
not?
all
How
all
did
you
you
do is
not?
all y'all do is
Hold
so
on.
overtalk and so overtalk and so overtalk. No good points.
Yeah,
on,
you're
bro.
right.
Just
All of us are
reiterated.
over talking.
No.
Run,
Like,
Forrest,
what?
run.
It's
What's my
reiterating that it's
stance?
subjective. You haven't made a good point at all. Every basis of this is subjective. That's a dumbass
Every basis
response to
of
make.
your
There's
argument
no
is
single point of this
subjective.
that's subjective. Nothing about
Every
this is
basis of
subjective.
your
So for you to
argument is
reiterate that it's
subjective. I
subjective is
agree.
dumb. Every basis of
Ross.
this is subjective.
Yes,
have a
your
So for you to
argument, every
reiterate that
basis
it's
for your
subjective is
argument is
dumb.
subjective. Yes.
How did he
That's
not
like
hear
agreeing
saying
with
somebody
anything
can't believe
that
in their
Andy
moral because
said?
it's subjective when all.
This
How
guy's
did
a
he not hear
crackbaby, bro.
anything that Andy said? How did he
Like,
come
dude, it's
back
just
and say,
wrong.
"Oh, it's
Yeah,
oh,
I'm
everything
agreeing
you
with
said
you.
was
The basis
stupid."
for
Like,
everything
nigga,
you're
what?
saying is subjective.
I
It
have
doesn't
a
matter
question,
which is
guys. I
subjective
have a
as well. You
question
say it
for
as
Cross
well.
Guy.
Nothing you say
I
is
have a
going to be
question,
objective
Cross
either.
Guy. I have a question for
I
Jimmy.
didn't
Nothing
make
you
an
say is gonna be
argument.
objective
I've only
either.
I didn't make an argument. I've only critiqued
No,
yours.
I'm not
so
saying
if you
that you're not
agree,
saying even if
hey,
you were to,
hey,
it
buddy,
doesn't matter. It's gonna be.
dude,
It's not going to be
shut the
objective.
fuck
There's no
up. This
objective
is
argument.
ridiculous. Again, if you're saying that everything that I'm
He
saying is
gives black people
subjective,
such a
I
bad
agree
name,
with
bro.
you. I agree with you because I'm critiquing your argument. Everything that I've said is subjective. You're
fucking
right.
dumb.
You're right. I'm pointing out how
Fucking
your
dumb.
argument is subjective.
You cannot make a
No,
objective
no,
or
no.
RJ, I have a
at all.
question. I have a
There
genuine
is-
question
Okay,
for you. I have
okay,
a
wait,
genuine
hold on.
question,
Can I
Cross
just
Guy.
talk to him?
How many
objective
substances?
claims.
Wait.
Cross Guy, I have a question
let
for you,
Andy
dude. How
talk
many
to him.
substances was your mother
All
on?
That's
y'all
not
can do is
productive.
abuse and
Let
insult.
It's not
All y'all
productive.
Wait, let Andy talk to
abuse and
him.
insult.
Guys,
Abuse and insult.
incredibly dumb.
Good
Okay,
points.
hold
Abuse
on.
and insult. Abuse.
Great. Nothing is
No, no, good
objective,
point.
right? Not.
I don't know what your name. What do you want me to call you?
Special
Tommy?
cross.
My name is
Special
Josiah.
cross. Special cross.
Okay, so nothing is objective, right? That's what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Okay, is murder objectively wrong?
No.
Okay, so you're saying in some circumstances murder should be okay. It is moral.
No, that's not what that insinuates. When you ask me
I thought you
whether or
just
not
said
it's
it's not
no, hold on,
objectively wrong.
let me respond. Let me respond. If when
Yeah,
you
go
ask
ahead.
the question, is it objective? Objective? Is it wrong in general? You're asking for a
Didn't ask
subjective
if it was wrong in
worldview.
general. That's not
You're
what I asked
asking me.
you.
Shut up, bro.
Listen, any response I give or anyone gives is going to be a subjective worldview. I cannot prescribe an objective reality to anything. It's not possible. So
Okay,
for you
great.
to
So
ask,
then you're saying that murder
definition
is
of
not
schmurder,
objectively
bro?
wrong, right?
Do you know
that
the
doesn't.
definition?
Yeah, it means unlawful. That means in accordance to law. That doesn't make it objective. You know what
No.
objective means? That means
No.
that means it's
do.
separate from personal agency of a human. That
I
doesn't
do
mean
know
that
what
doesn't make it
objective
objective.
means.
It's not what the fucking objective means.
I do know objective.
Just
Okay,
because
okay, if you're
people
having a
agree, does not make
difficulty,
it objective.
if you're
Laws
having
are dependent
difficulty
on
with
human
murder,
beings
that's
thinking
fine.
in agreement.
What about
It's not fucking
SA?
objective.
Is SA objectively wrong?
In my subjective worldview, it is wrong.
Okay,
I can't prescribe.
okay, fine. That's not what I asked you. I didn't ask if you
No,
think
it's not
wrong.
objectively wrong. No, it's not. No,
Okay, hold on. To be clear, you're saying that SA is not objectively wrong?
no, it's not. No.
Okay, can you paint me a scenario in which it would be moral?
Well, what would be moral?
SA.
Objectively or subjectively?
Bro,
I want you to paint me a scenario. Paint
There
me a
is no
scenario
con.
in which
You can't say
SA
words
would be
and
wrong.
you use
Would
the
be
words
moral.
wrong. That's not what objective means. You're misusing the fucking word. That's not what it
Okay,
means.
tell me what do you think objective means?
You're just misusing the
Bro.
fucking word. You're talking about some. Come on, you
Bro.
don't even know the fucking
What do
definition
you
of the
think
word.
objective means?
Dumbass.
Bro.
What do you think objective means?
Objective means anything that is universally true and that is a constant that's not
That's
dependent on the
universal,
agency of a
don't
human
fuck.
being of any
Great.
kind. Whether
Great. Perfect. Okay, using that definition, if you're saying that SA is not objectively wrong, then you would have to say that in some case, somewhere, SA would be moral. Paint me
yes,
that
depending.
scenario.
Yes, that's dependent on the person. Yes, depending on the
Paint
person.
me that scenario.
I can't paint you this because that's not
Why not?
my subjective worldview. It depends on what
gosh.
people think. If someone thinks that's right,
It,
then yeah.
it is your worldview that in some cases it would be moral. So tell me about that case.
No, that's not my stance. You're conflating what I'm saying. What
Just
I'm telling
because
you
somebody
is,
else might
what I'm
disagree,
telling you is
they
any
could still be
moral of
wrong.
Any kind is dependent on the agency of a person. Even if I were to tell you that I think it's not permissible to do, if somebody else thinks it's okay, it's just going to be my opinion versus his. There's no fundamental basis of logic that supports the idea that a moral can be objectively wrong.
Okay, great. Then who are you to tell them that they can't shove a broomstick up your behind?
I can't. All I can do is give them
You
my
can't
opinion.
tell them that they can't do that?
What are you
What?
talking about? Like, are you dumb?
Oh my god.
I'm sorry. You just said that you can't tell someone they can't shove a
all I can
broomstick
do
up
is
your
give
butt?
you my. All I can do is give my worldview. I can tell you
can't.
that I
It's
don't
crazy.
I cannot agree.
That's
That doesn't make it
wild.
objective. That's not how objective works. It's not what fucking objective.
I don't think
means.
you
Stop using words
understand
don't know
anything
the
that you're
fucking
saying
meaning of.
right now.
I have
You ought to
tears,
do
bro. He
less
said I
talking and more
can't.
listening.
What
You
does
probably learn
objective?
something.
What does objective mean to you?
Oh,
It
freaking
doesn't. It
weak.
doesn't matter what it means to me. It matters what it means. The definition of the word.
Wait. Are
He's asking you that.
Are definitions objective? Is that the argument that you're?
I never.
said-
I'm not.
Mike,
What are you
you said
talking
you
about? We're
did-
talking
Wait, are you
about.
saying
We're
that-
talking
wait,
about
are you
morals.
saying
We're not
that-
talking
are
about
you saying that
definitions.
definitions
Run
are
the time,
objective?
guys. Run the time. Getting out of hand.
Nobody is
Are
talking
you
about.
saying that definitions are objective? I just want to hear this.
I said that morals are not objective. What are you talking about?
I get
definitions
that.
for?
Are you saying that? I get that you're saying that. Are you saying that definitions are objective?
And okay, so not in a universal terminology. No,
Are definitions subjective or objective?
they're subjective.
Okay, so then how are you to tell him that his definition or how he was using that was wrong?
Well, because
I'm
there's
using
a-
his
because
definition,
there- because
actually.
there's a-
I
because
get it.
listen,
I get it,
There's
Andrew,
a
but what I'm
difference
saying
between.
is he said
Okay,
that
hold on.
you-
There's a
he-
difference.
he
You're
claimed that
you
you
don't
would-
know.
the
This
way
I know.
that the
You don't actually
definition
know what
you
the
were
word
using
means.
was
You don't know
wrong.
what the word
That's why I want to
means. You don't
understand
actually
that.
know what the word means.
That nigga
Okay,
said
so
I
when something
can't.
is
I think we
objective,
should. I think
it
we
means
should
that it is
implement
a
a rule that
constant and a
if your
universal
smoke
law,
detector doesn't have a
regardless of
battery,
how
you
we
shouldn't
think
be
or
allowed
feel.
on a
All these
panel.
things are determined
Like that
by
ought
how
to be
we
a
think or
universal
feel.
rule across TikTok.
We
Right.
can't. I cannot say like this is a universal law that this word means this. That's just something that we created. That's something that
Yeah,
we came
nobody
to
is
the
making that
consensus of.
argument.
That
No one's
that's
making that
that would
argument.
make them. So that would make them subjective. You idiot. That doesn't make definitions. It's objective. What
But
it
yet
says.
you
Like,
literally
Great. So
argue.
paint me
like
a
what are you talking
scenario.
about? Like what?
Paint me a scenario in which it would be moral for me to shove a broomstick up your butt against your will.
Like what are you not getting?
He said I can't.
What are you not getting?
I'm sorry. Paint me a
If I
scenario in
respond
which
to
that
you,
would be moral.
any response I give is going to be my subjective worldview. It doesn't matter what I tell you. It's going to be subjective. It doesn't matter.
Okay, so if
Yeah.
I think it's moral to do, does that mean it is moral?
Under your premise, yes.
Could I be wrong?
Could you be wrong in terms of what?
No,
Subjectively,
not
you can only be
according to
wrong.
his
You can't be
worldview.
wrong
Sorry,
objectively.
wait. If I think it's moral to, I don't know, slap my wife around, could I be wrong?
Objectively, no, there is no right and wrong.
I'm asking
I
you.
can't tell you that.
Wait,
That's
wait,
not
hold on.
something I can say to
So
you.
are you
That's not
telling me
like-
that? Are you telling me that I could be right?
No, I'm not saying you could be generally right or wrong. I'm saying I can agree or disagree.
Okay, fine. Then why should we go with what you say?
I never said you should go. What do you mean? What do you talk? What do you mean?
Why should we agree and adopt your worldview?
You don't have to if you don't want to.
I know I don't have to. I'm asking you, what's the motivation for me to do it?
I'm not here to give you motivation to agree.
What are you here for?
To debate?
What?
Presumably, you would want to show us that your position is correct, right?
Yeah, but we're sitting here arguing.
Okay, so
about,
if you show us that your
we're sitting
position,
here arguing semantics.
if your
You guys don't know what's
intention is
objective
to
and
show us
fucking
that your
objective,
position
because
is
you don't know
correct,
what words mean, so we have to argue about little semantics because you don't know what fucking words mean.
Hey, buddy.
Wait,
listen.
wait.
This old dude
Presumably,
doesn't even know what fucking objective means.
Not
He's an
this.
idiot.
Wait.
if
He's
you
like
are
85 years
here,
old with fucking 3 brain cells.
if
Wait,
you are
not
here
this
to show us
guy.
that your position is correct, then presumably you would want us to adopt your position, right?
No, I'm not. No, absolutely not. You're
So
prescribing.
you want
something
to? So
that
what
I'm
you're
not-
saying
I
is
never
you want
said
to
at
show
all.
us that your position is correct, but you want us to not adopt the correct position?
I don't want you. I don't think my position is necessarily correct because that assumes that you should.
Well,
you should do what
at
I'm
least
doing.
we're on the
Then what
same
are we
page
having
there. I
this
don't think your position is correct
conversation
either.
for?
I'm saying in terms
But
of.
if you don't
I'm
think
saying
your
in
position
terms
is
of-
correct,
bro,
why
I'm
would you
saying
hold that
in terms
position?
of what people should be doing. I'm not saying what I'm saying because I think anyone should be doing what I'm doing.
This is
I'm saying
so
what I'm
If you
saying
don't
is-
think people should be doing or holding the view that you hold, why would you hold it?
because I don't think there's any because pro-life or pro-choice in this specific scenario doesn't really have a stance to where someone should or should have to do one or the other. I think both
Wait.
can be okay.
Again,
Wait, you don't believe
presumably,
that there's
you would
any-
say that your position is
God darn
correct, and if
tired
yours
one.
is correct,
It's like you
then
just like
we
you
all
didn't.
should
It's like
adopt
you
the.
didn't just hear what I just
again,
said at all. You
dude,
just like
I don't know
nigger
why you
responded
keep
to what I said.
speaking in the middle of my
Because
statement.
you just you didn't even listen to what I said.
I did.
Nigger responded.
I don't know what that means. That sounds
You just
racist.
nigger
Bro.
respond. You didn't even listen to what the fuck I just said. You're dumb.
I don't know what that
literally
means.
just
Can-
told
tell
you
me
that
what
it
does that
doesn't
mean?
Wait, can we stop? Can we end
Can you
this?
tell me what that
please?
means?
I think I said I
Can
think
we
there's bad
please?
arguments for pro-life and there's bad arguments for pro-choice, but in general, I'm pro-choice.
Can we
Yeah,
please
like, I
end
don't
this?
I think
I don't
both.
get
I
where
think
you're-
we're
both
not
can
gonna
be
get
okay. I
anywhere.
think both can be okay. That doesn't mean
Wait,
I
wait,
want
I
you to
don't
think
get
what I'm
what your
thinking.
goal
Idiot. What are you
is.
talking
Wait,
about,
I don't-
Nimrod?
I don't even get what your goal is. If you're just
I know you
saying
don't
that
get what my goal
wait,
is
wait.
because you're stupid. You can't even
Yeah,
define
because,
subjective and
like,
objective. You
here's the
fucking
thing.
Why don't
Go
you
get
tell
some
us what?
batteries
Like,
for
Okay,
that smoke
fucking eight.
detector.
okay, we are all stupid. Tell us what your goal is.
I didn't say. I said he's stupid.
I'm
Good.
stupid.
What's your
because
goal?
big-
Explain it
I'm
to him. What's your
stupid.
goal?
What is my goal? To have a discussion?
Okay, what is a discussion to you? What's a discussion?
I can't.
All right, seriously.
I can't.
All right,
Do you not know what discussion means?
After he said I can't tell you.
All right, in all
You can't
seriousness.
tell me, yeah, why it would be
I
wrong.
can't.
Bro, there's no way in your brain you're not getting it.
I
Why would it be
can't.
wrong for me to
It's
shove a broomstick up your
crazy.
butt with
All right, all
against
right,
your
all
will?
right.
I can't.
That took me out,
I'm gonna
bro.
need that clip, by the way.
All
It
right.
took me
Yeah.
out.
Post it on YouTube. All right.
And it's so
I don't think
funny
we can have
because,
this
like, you
conversation
literally- This is
anymore.
what's so funny to me. Like,
Oh
you
my
literally
God.
think that there's no objective truths. Like, there's nothing factual
Okay,
about anything.
I never said that
moral
there are no
facts, right?
objective truths. I
But
said
they-
there's no
wait, yeah,
objective
no
morals,
objective
dude.
truths, right?
I never said there's no. You just make shit claims. I never said
Yeah,
there's no
yeah, yeah.
objective truth. I said there's no objective morals. You old
Yeah,
fuck.
no objective morals.
God,
right?
this nigga's brain made out of fucking hamster cheese.
Right. So then you don't believe that there is any like facts regarding this conversation.
There's
But
no
then-
facts
but
regarding
wait,
morals.
Wait. I'm not done.
I
didn't
know you're
finish.
not done because you're fucking
I know
old.
I'm
You
not
just always want
finished.
to talk.
I know you're not. I know you're not used to letting people finish, but let me finish, okay?
With that smoke detector beeping in the background, boy, hush.
But then you complained about the semantics of the debate. Like that's the wildest thing to me. As a subjectivist, like you're actually complaining about semantics.
Are
What
you
else
dumb?
is part
I
of
said
the
you don't know how to
conversation?
define words. That's what's
What
wrong
else
with the
is part of
semantics.
the conversation?
Semantics are not
from that
always bad.
perspective?
They're just bad in this sense because you don't know what
Nah,
fucking
we
words
need to
mean.
end this
Nah,
conversation. This nigga said I
You don't want
can't.
semantics. Like what is the,
I never said I
what
didn't
is the
want
point?
semantics. I said this semantic is stupid because you don't. We shouldn't have to be debating what these words mean. You should know this. You're like 85.
But they're subjective though, so of course we're going to debate them, right?
Oh my
You're
gosh.
not debating the subjectivity. You're debating what the word means.
Yeah.
Wait, so
Fucking
you
idiot,
argue,
you're dumb. You don't even know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah,
You're not
so
debating.
I-
You're
so
debating
I'm
with
just
the fucking
curious,
word.
like-
You're fucking idiot.
I don't know what I'm
Dumbass.
talking about, but
Wait, so I'm just curious though, like if we're having these conversations and it's the case that we're not giving any motivation for our views, then how do we know whose view to take?
Are you dumb?
Like how do we establish normativity in law at all if it's the case that
Oh
we're
my
just not giving?
gosh.
Nobody said you
higher
couldn't. Who said you
motivation
couldn't?
for our
Who said
views?
you couldn't do this? Where did you get this? Who said you can do this?
Do you think that we
I'm
ought
fucked.
implement your view or my view?
Please, not
Okay.
his view.
What?
Guys, I want to ask him. I want to ask him a
Do
question.
you think that we
Please, not
ought
his
implement
view.
your
Wait,
view?
wait, wait,
I
hold
got a
on, hold
question.
on. Wait, let Andy ask this question.
This nigga's a dumbass. You keep asking the same stupid question.
Bro calls
Do you
everyone
think that we ought implement my view or
Because
I'll
I
your
never
view?
already,
get
I
over
already
that.
responded to this, and he keeps asking me the same
One at a
dumbass
time,
question.
guys. Come on.
Can I ask him a question?
Protect. We gotta move on,
You
bro.
literally
Wait,
just
I want to
asked
ask
me.
him one
Can't.
question.
You asked
I
me.
got a
Because
question.
anyone
Wait,
can
wait,
move
I got a
on
question.
too. Like this is
You asking me? You're
ridiculous.
asking me.
Cross,
Should we
I got
think?
a question,
Should
bro.
I?
I
Should
got a
people
genuine
think
question.
my way or their
Genuine
way?
question.
When I literally just told you, I
Cross,
think.
hello.
I think
Got a
either
question.
You
either
agree that we
position.
have to have laws in general, right?
Cross,
Yes.
question. Cross,
Okay, we
if
have
you
to have
did-
laws in
if you did
general.
not
Should
have
the laws
breakfast,
that we implement be based off of your view or my view?
And in this specific context, I think that
Pacific,
there shouldn't be.
like the ocean.
I think there shouldn't be a law regarding this, but I think that
Dude, let him.
and they're
This
both,
is not productive. Like, stop.
and I think that they're both can be okay. I think pro-life and pro-choice can both.
We
be
can't
okay.
implement
I don't
both.
think
They're
I don't
opposite
think, no,
views.
yeah, I
We
understand.
can't implement both.
Yes,
So should we
I
implement
didn't.
your view
I
or my
literally
view?
just said it shouldn't be implemented in terms of law.
Okay, that would be implementing your view, not my view. Why ought we implement your view?
Okay, so one, pro-life or banning it doesn't actually give the response that is projected by being pro-life. When you ban abortion, it doesn't actually stop them. It makes unsafe reasons unsafe ways of doing them. So it just promotes unsafe health risk. And
Why ought it be allowed in the
and
first
it also
place?
hires the maternity rate. So even under your own premise, it
The
doesn't actually help.
maternity rate?
It doesn't, y'all, maternal death rate.
What
My
does
bad.
that mean?
Maternal death rate. So yeah, it doesn't. So yeah, so even under your own stance, it doesn't actually do what you think it does. It doesn't preserve life. It finds.
Well, I haven't given
It doesn't
anything about my
preserve. Hold
argument,
on.
so you probably should.
Well, I'm not saying you. I'm saying you
I
in general
think.
of people who agree with this stance. I'm saying that even under their own stance,
Well, I don't know why you're debating something that I'm not debating.
It doesn't preserve life. It just creates a more unsafe ways for people to take them. So it doesn't actually help at all.
Well, how do you know that that's even the goal? Again, we
Pro-life
haven't presented
so,
any
so,
argument.
So the stance of pro-life is not to preserve the life of
We
the child?
haven't.
That's not
No,
the
what I'm
stance.
saying
What do you
is,
mean? How do I
what
know
I'm
that's
saying
what
is,
the fuck?
what I'm saying is, you're up here
What?
fighting against a ghost.
So the stance of pro-life is not to preserve the life of the child.
What I'm saying is, you're fighting against a ghost because you're fighting
He's
against an argument that
Bro, I'm
nobody's
not saying
given.
that's your stance. I never said that's your stance.
Then I don't know why you're discussing it. You're up here talking to me, right? Not some
That doesn't
random.
mean you haven't given me your stance.
Exactly. So I don't know why you're debating something that I didn't
I'm
give.
talking about anybody that stands with pro-life.
Why would you be arguing against people who aren't here?
You just asked me, are you stupid?
One of us is.
You just asked me, ought we to believe the way I think or the way another way? That's what you asked.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
No, I asked you if we
So
ought
I
to
gave
implement
you a
my
basic
view or
premise
your
about the
view.
generality of people who stands with
No.
pro-life.
No, I
Fucking
asked if we
retard.
ought
What are you talking about?
I asked if we ought implement my view or your view.
Yeah, I reiterated that already. You don't have to keep saying that.
That's
Yeah,
not
I
what
just
you
gave
said.
My reasoning. Yes,
no, that's
it
not what
is.
you said. You just
Yeah,
said
it is.
your view or some
Yeah, it
other
is.
view.
Yeah, it is.
I have a question.
You're saying dumb shit like you suck.
No,
Andy, wait. I have a question for you, Cross.
If it's stupid, I'm not
This is
responding.
fucking ridiculous.
Cross, hello. I got a question for you, dude.
What, bro?
If you didn't have breakfast this morning, how would you feel, man?
I don't know.
You don't
Come
know.
on, that
Depends on the day.
derailed the conversation. Come on.
I actually don't. How would I be? I don't know. It depends on the day.
Oh yeah, you
We're
are.
gonna have to move on.
So how can I accurately say how I will feel every single like?
It's
It depends on the
hypothetical,
day.
idiots.
Some days I don't get up and eat breakfast and I don't care. Some days I do.
This nigga, bro. Oh my god, bro.
We'll move on. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on.
Please
Yeah, move on because we
move
can't make a
on.
good point. Yeah, move on because we can't make a good point. Yeah,
I feel
No,
like I lost
bro.
brain cells
You
in
haven't
this
made a single good
conversation.
You
point.
couldn't
Move
even
on.
give. You couldn't
Bro,
even
this
give
guy-
the argument as to why someone
All right,
shouldn't
guys. So we're
shove
gonna
up.
move on to the next topic. We're gonna move on to the next
He
next
said,
topic.
"I can't."
The only
Right,
if
somebody
I
else-
give you a reason, it's gonna be. I can't give you an objective reason. I can give you a subjective one.
What
I
does
can't give you an
objective mean
objective
again?
reason, dumbass. What are you
What
talking
is
about?
object? Wait,
This
just
bitch is laughing for no fucking reason.
just be clear. What do you think? What do you
Bitch
think
blaming it
objective
at a fucking beach rocks.
Yeah, wait, just to be clear. What do you think objective means again?
Objective means anything that is a universal truth that does not depend on the agency, personal feelings, or thinking of a human being.
Universal, so like mind dependent.
Yes, that's what I just said.
It's okay because that just is the definition of subjective, dumb fuck. Anyway,
No, it is not.
mind
Yes,
dependent.
mind
is the definition of
dependent,
subjective.
nigga. Yes, it is.
Yeah, you're saying like independent of the I'm pretty
Yeah,
No,
dependent on
he
mind.
said
If it's the
mind
case that something is universal,
He's
then it's
dumb.
obviously dependent on minds, right? Dumb fuck. Anyway, lock in.
No, it is not. What the fuck? I said a universal truth, something that is
Yeah,
true,
so-
regardless of how regardless of how people think or feel.
Okay, wait. So
What are
wait,
you
just to be
talking
clear,
about?
so
Dumbass.
you affirm anti-realism then, right? You
What?
said morals are subjective. You're affirming anti-realism is true.
I have to look up what anti-realism means.
Yeah, you think morals are subjective.
They are subjective. You can't give me any basis of why they're not.
Okay, so if it was the case that tomorrow all of China decided it's okay to grape 10-year-olds,
Your question is already subjective because you base it under the premise that
my
all people
question
decided that it
is
was true.
subjective. What does that
Yes,
even mean?
because you already in the beginning of your statement
What
you
does
based
that
it on
mean?
what
Nobody
people
knows
think.
what that
You
means.
based it on what people think. You said that people decided. That's already subjective.
What does a subjective question mean?
We're gonna move on.
No, yeah, because what you said is based is dependent on. You said if people agreed, that means that's subjective. It's dependent on men.
If tomorrow it was the case that China agreed that graping
It's still
10-year-olds
subjective. You're saying it's dependent on if they agree or not.
raping
It's subjective.
10-year-olds for fun was okay. Is it the case that it's actually okay? That's the question.
Bro, you're asking objectively. I can't. No one can determine that. It can only be determined subjectively. It cannot
I'm
be
just
determined
asking under
objectively.
your view. Is that
I'm
okay?
telling you my view. It cannot
that
be
permissible
determined
under your view?
objectively. I cannot prescribe a reality lifestyle for all human beings.
Okay, so just
I'm
to be
not
clear,
able-
you're completely
like, you
dodging
can't
the
do
question.
that. That's not possible.
Okay, so just to be clear, you're dodging the question.
I cannot say that. Oh, this is the right way to live, and anyone does it is wrong.
There's
Objectively, I can't do
there's
that.
no
No
way.
human can do that. You're not God.
There's no
Okay, so-
way you're this slow not to
You're not
understand
God, bro.
There's no way you're this slow not to understand
mean, no,
that.
he-
I
this is
understand.
I mean,
it's
I could just
wrong,
ask it in a
you
different
dumbass
way.
bitch.
Do
called
you
an
think? Okay,
internal
wait.
critique of
Fucking
your
dumb
view,
bitch.
and
What are
he's
you talking
providing
about?
a
Okay, so
reductio.
do you think?
There's no way
All
around
He's
that.
so mad. He's so
Do
angry.
you, all right, calm down. Do you think in a world of non-sentient beings that graping children for fun is wrong?
Bro, what? What are you talking about?
Yeah. Do you
What?
think in an empty world that graping children for
Bro,
fun?
I cannot objectively make anything. I cannot make any objective claims in this. I can only give you my subjective world. I cannot.
Wait, just to be clear,
objectively
you
claim
can't
this.
actually say that it's truly wrong to grape to like 10
In my subjective worldview, I think it's wrong. I cannot objectively make this claim.
Yeah, but you can't say that would be wrong for everybody else. You could only just
No,
say
I
that's
cannot.
wrong.
I can't prescribe. I can't say. I'm not God. I can't say that.
I'm not saying you're God, dumb fuck.
Okay, so you're asking me a dumbass
Like
question.
like
I
an
can't prescribe
atheist,
objective life
like
for
you know
anyone.
like an atheist could also take this view, right?
Sure.
Okay, so it doesn't have to be dependent on God.
No, what I'm saying is the only thing that can determinately say anything is objective is something that would predate us, that would be a creator or something that can make fun of morals objective. The only way you can determine if something is objective
Wait,
is
do
in
you
that
think that
regard.
we only know? Wait, just to be clear, do you think that we only know math is true because God exists?
Okay,
Or
math.
do you think atheists all
Math
can
is not
also
based.
agree that
Math,
God is
math.
true?
Okay, stop. That was a shit example. That
No,
was
it's
a
not.
shit.
It's not a
That
shit
was a
example.
shit
I
example.
grant that you can't track the example.
You tried to base the fundamental logic of math on to the basic fundamental logic behind
Yeah,
morals.
I think they're both abstract concepts. I see them both the same. I think
abstract
that
does not
I thi-
abstract does not negate with whether or
Holy
not
shit.
something is objective
Do you
or
even know what I
objective.
mean by an abstract concept?
Yes, I know what abstract that doesn't
Okay, what is
that
it?
doesn't debunk what I'm.
What
That
is
doesn't
an
debunk
abstract
anything.
concept?
Bro, you guys just ask. You guys don't even know what y'all be saying.
What is an abstract concept?
I don't have to explain that.
Okay, so you don't know what an abstract concept.
I know exactly what it is.
Okay, so what is it?
If I didn't know what it meant, I would have just said.
Okay, so
it.
great. Dodge number 3. So what is it?
I don't need to. I'm not answering that.
Great, so
You didn't answer
dodge
my
number
question.
4.
You didn't
What
answer
is
my.
it?
You don't address
Why are you
anything I
running
say.
like you saying right now?
You
That's
don't
dodge
address
number
anything
5.
I say. You're not
What is an
addressing
abstract
nothing I
concept?
just said. You don't address nothing I say
You
at
think
all.
math is
You
an
don't
abstract?
even use definitions in the right way at all.
I don't use definitions.
You
in the
ask me
right
a
way.
question and you base it under the premise that people are agree when the question
When
is
did I
subjective.
say definitions?
It's a
were
subjective
objective? Are we
question in
having
all
the same
nature.
conversation right now, buddy.
If you base of your question on whether people agree with it or not, it's already subjective. You can't ask me, oh, if people agree on this,
How does
it's
that
already
lead
subjective
you?
because it depends.
How does that
on
lead
people
you
agree
to
or not.
definitions are subjective or objective? Like, how did that lead you to that?
Are you a dumbass?
No.
You are a dumbass. You don't know what subjective means.
Yeah, I grant that. Everybody thinks in here that I'm the dumbass in this conversation for sure.
I mean, you are. You cannot
Just to be
Oh,
clear,
yeah, yeah.
say
Everyone-
that. I can
everyone
say that
believes
it's
that.
objectively true that we use definitions
Wait,
the way that we
just
do.
to
but
be
I
clear-
cannot
Everyone
prescribe.
definitely believes that
I
you would
cannot.
win this
I cannot
conversation.
prescribe and say the definitions that we have are universally the truth, and that's
Wait,
the
just to be
truest
clear,
form of the
what's
definition.
the
Like, I
argument
can't make
for-
that claim. You can't
What's
say
the
that.
argument for
Anti-realist,
subjective
but when
morality?
I
You're
give them
fucking dumbass.
objections
You're
to
literally
it,
stupid.
you can't. Yeah, you call
what's
everybody
the
that. dumb
argument
fuck.
for subjective morality?
That there's no basis to argue against the idea that
No,
morals are
he just
subjective.
refuses to answer anything because he's a
Yeah,
dumb
that's
fuck.
Like
not an argument.
if you
That's
ask
just
me a question, it's gonna
restating
all right.
that they're
If you
subjective.
yo, you're
Yeah, I'm just
literally
asking you, like, in
disingenuous.
an empty world, is it still going to be wrong to like grape
There
10-year-olds
isn't
for
gonna
fun?
there isn't gonna be a objective right or wrong. You can't determine that.
It's just
What are you
you.
not getting?
Just
Even if
frame
you
it.
even if I
out.
answer the question, it's gonna be subjective. My stance is gonna be a subjective worldview.
What's the argument for subjective?
Dumbass, like what are you not getting? You can't ask me
What's
what
the
I think.
argument
You're
for
asking me what I
subjective
think.
morality?
Yeah.
It's dependent on what I think. My response is dependent on what I think. That's
Yeah,
subjective.
that's expected up under the objectivist thesis too. So what's the argument for subjective morality?
What do you mean? What's the argument?
Yeah.
Like I literally been saying it for
He's
20
very
fucking
nice.
minutes. What are
What's
you
going to
talking
be the
about?
motivation to take the view
Because
that morals are
anything that is
subjective?
anything under the basis of what it means to be morally wrong or morally correct is all based under the premise that a community of people or an individual person agrees with or does not
That's
agree
just you
with.
Yeah.
restating
So
what
great. So
subjective
under that
morality
view,
And
is.
if it were the
there's no
case,
fundamental, and you can't
oh
give
my
me a
gosh.
single
So then that
fundamental.
leads me to the question I
He's
asked
just
you earlier.
restating the
All of
subjective
China
thing.
agreed that raping children for fun was okay. Would it be the case that that's true?
Yes, it's true that they think it's okay. Yeah,
Oh my gosh. I'm saying, are they right in believing that?
in my subjective worldview, no. I can't prescribe an objective reality for anyone. It's not like what are you saying?
I'm
You
not
asking me
saying
a dumbass
I'm not saying
question.
you're prescribing that.
The
I'm
question
just
is
So
fucking dumb.
why is it wrong to you then?
Because I don't believe in robbing the bodily autonomy of another human being in this manner.
Okay, Josiah.
Like you're asking me a dumbass question. The question is fucking stupid. Like,
No, it's
come
not
on.
a dumbass question.
It's a dumbass question. You
I'm
just asked
still
me what
looking
I
for
think.
the
No,
You just
don't
asked me
understand
what
the
I
concept.
think. You just asked me what I think, and then you don't think it's subjective. You're asking me what I think. You idiot.
So just to be clear,
Josiah.
This guy's an actual dumb fuck.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm a
So
dumb
just
fuck.
to
You're
be
fucking
clear,
wrong. You're
yeah,
dumb as
you
fuck.
are kind of
No, I think
you are
it's
kind of
objectively
wrong.
wrong to grape children for fun. I think most people take that.
Can't prescribe that. You're not
Yeah,
God, bro. You
well,
can't
I
prescribe
think
that.
I think most people
he's
think that.
confused.
Most,
He's
yeah, and
confused.
you
Don't
see how
worry.
even your response is dependent on if people agree.
You're just
Yeah,
confused.
obviously, intuitions are going to be dependent on mental states. Dumb fuck. I
People
think, yeah, I think
agreeing does not
intuitions
make
are
it
truth
objective.
tracking.
Just
Hello?
because people agree, that doesn't make it. It does not. That's actually the
Oh my
opposite of
God.
objective. You're saying,
Wait.
"Oh, I think most people would agree." That doesn't make it fucking objective. You dumbass.
holy shit.
So, just to be clear,
Fucking, this dude's a fucking idiot. Like,
I don't know
This guy
why this
doesn't
guy's
understand
crashing out. So, I don't understand. Like, can you just give like the argument for subjective?
Bro, he does not have an argument.
what do you mean? Okay, you're asking me to substantiate that morals are subjective, right?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah,
Can't believe you
yes,
just
yes,
caught
I'm
on
giving
to
you because
that.
there's I'm giving it to you. Okay, so when something is objective, this is insinuating a constant, right? There is no nuance. Objective does not
The
insinuate
argument for
nuance. So you
subjective
can't give me
morality.
because you cannot give me anything
Yo,
that is based under
it's
the
not an
basis.
argument.
I'm
It's just like you just being incredulous.
because all that is the
Just
argument.
go
All
ahead.
things because all things that people all
Just
things
give
whether
the
it's
argument.
I am
for
giving the argument.
subjectivism.
All things. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's a law, whether it's a moral perspective, or anything of the nature. They're all dependent on whether people individually agree with them or if they agree with them as a community. There's no basis of, and there's no
What?
fundamental logic. Hold on, there's no fundamental logic that supports anything otherwise. There's nothing you can
Fundamental
give me.
logic.
What the fuck?
There's nothing else you
Yo.
can give me. There's nothing. You can't give me a single thing that
Hold
supports
on,
anything
hold
else.
on. Yo, Kay, can you take this over real quick? I'm about to go take some medicine.
Yeah. I mean, basically, it's to my knowledge that this guy up in the top left is arguing in favor of moral subjectivism.
Yeah.
Do you take that view?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So, do you agree, or rather, do you understand the two theses that you're committed to as a moral subjectivist?
What do you mean? Explain.
Wait, you don't know the two theses that you're committed to?
No, I don't understand.
That
Like,
you're a
explain what
moral.
you're saying.
Okay, that's kind of odd. Why I don't know why you'd say you're a moral subjectivist. You don't even know what you're committed to. But so there's two things. The first thing is cognitivism, and the other one is basically that moral facts are going to be hyper intentionally grounded by stances. Do you sign off on these two things, and do you have an argument for either of them?
You said that they're based on stances.
I said there's two theories, there's two theses rather, that you're committed to as a moral subjectivist. First being cognitivism, and the second one is that
Wait, say
moral
that first word again. You said say it.
cognitivism. Have you
Oh.
ever heard of that?
Yeah.
You have. So you have an argument for cognitivism.
Hold on. Let's see.
Or do you have to look it up?
So I can know what it means.
You just
You
said
said you knew what it means.
Yeah, I know what. In the context of more, there's different type of cognitism. It's not only one. Like in terms of morals,
Obviously,
you
the
have to look it up.
context is morality.
Yeah, that's why I'm looking it up so I can
laid
know
out the
exactly what it
conditions when I
means. That's
said
why
it
I'm looking it
previously that we're
up.
talking
I know the
about
word
morals.
cognitism. Yes, I know that word. I don't know in the context of
You don't know the
cognitism
word. You
morality.
can even describe
Yeah,
it.
I'm looking it up so I can know. The
This
fuck?
nigga dumb.
How can you know the word if you can't
The
even mention it
meta-ethical
properly?
view that moral
This nigga really
is
dumb. Holy
expression,
shit.
positions, and therefore can be true or false.
I thought this guy was supposed to be a subjectivist. He's looking up cognitivism. Holy
No, I'm not.
shit.
I'm looking up cognitism morality.
Yeah, that's literally what I said you were looking up.
Can be true or false. That means that making.
This guy was definitely held back in school.
Is he like unironically educating
Okay, so
himself
yeah,
while
all right, so
speaking?
all right, bet. And I said, okay, what was the other one?
Yeah, so the question that I asked you following up was if you understood cognitivism, which you didn't. 'Cause it
No,
was
no,
just
no,
just
the
now,
other one. No,
that you would have an argument for it,
morality.
right?
What was the other one? What was the other stance?
No, before we get to the other one, I need you to establish an argument for cognitivism. What's the
Well,
argument?
I mean, hold on. I wouldn't agree with this in terms of like
Dude, you are
it
fucking
depends.
terrible at this. Holy
I'm not
shit.
terrible at all. I haven't even said, and that nothing has been said. You're
Oh,
just
this guy was
literally
actually gonna be a good
you're trying to just
debater.
insult somebody already just to like so you could be right. Like just stop being weird.
What are you talking about?
Just have the conversation. Nothing has
I'm
even been
clearly
said,
right.
and you're already
I'm
trying to say,
literally
yeah, this guy's
educating you on your own
just follow the
position.
train.
What are you
Be
talking
your
about?
own. Be your own person.
What?
Let us be your own person.
What is he talking about? What are you saying?
Bro, he's just shadow boxing, kid.
The nigga just. What is the other one? It's cognitism in terms of morality. And what was the other stance?
Look, I mentioned hyper-intentional context. If you don't
All right, bet.
understand cognitivism, you're definitely not
I
going
know
to
what,
understand what
bro. Do you know what?
hyper-intentionality
You know
is.
cognitive. You know this word does not only
You
apply to
can't even
morality, right?
say it. You can't even say it, dude. Say the word. Say it.
Cognitivism.
What is it?
Cognitivism.
There you go. So if you don't understand cognitivism, okay,
No, I do understand it,
then
but
you're
you understand
definitely
that.
wait. Hold on. Let me.
I
can
understand it. Okay,
Can I
you do
get through
understand
my?
it has a different.
Can I get through my
It's
sentence?
a different concept. You didn't even let me get through mine. What you talking about?
No, but your sentence interrupted mine.
I don't give a fuck. You interrupted mine.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
So
You've done it many
if you don't
times.
understand, I'm just gonna go back to. What
I
was saying.
understand it, but I needed to know the definition
Why
of
do
it
you
in
keep
the
talking?
context of morality. That's why I looked it up in the
Holy shit. Okay. If you don't understand,
not in general.
if you don't understand, there's the obvious I wasn't asking you outside of the context of morality because I already stipulated. The
Yeah,
context
that
of
I get that. That's why I
conversations.
looked it up.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Fucking dumbass. Yeah,
Now,
fucking idiot. What are you talking?
there's no way you're actually trying to do. That makes you look worse in the conversation. Actually, the fact that you had to look up a term in the middle of a fucking conversation and then trying to rhetorically posture after your own ignorance makes you look worse. Now, secondly, if you don't understand the concept of cognitivism, which you can't because it took you at least 3 tries to even say the fucking name, then you're definitely not going to know what hyper-intentional contexts are. Okay? So that the question that I asked you following up was, if you have an argument for cognitivism, if you say that you're a moral subjectivist and you're a cognitivist, then what's the argument for cognitivism?
I wonder if he can actually recapitulate what that is too after reading it.
This guy has like Forrest Gump level intelligence. Holy
You said
shit.
hyper intent. You said hyper intensive what?
Are you going to answer my question?
I can't. Can I look up what the term means in the context of
No,
morality?
you can answer my question.
I can't answer if I don't understand the term.
I didn't ask you a question related to that term.
You asked me, do I have an argument for 2 of these stances?
No, I asked you for an argument for cognitivism. Listen closely this time.
Okay, so I'm not. I want to see both. Why can't I see both? Why can't you
You
just
can
say
see
both?
both after you answer my question.
Okay, yeah. Then the basis of what I read, I don't agree with it. I don't think something.
You don't agree with it, so you're a non.
In terms of from what I'm reading, it says in a meta-ethical view that moral sentences, expression, propositions, and therefore can be true or false. This means that making a moral statement is like stating a fact, and I don't agree with
What the
that.
proposition is?
Wait, so you're a non-cognitivist then, right?
It would depend on what the it says. It says contrast with non-cognitism.
He doesn't even know what non-cognitivism is.
I would assume this is just the opposite. The moral sentences do not express.
You know
prejudice,
anything about
therefore-
metaethics? You have to
and
look up these
therefore not
basic
true or
fucking
false. Instead, they
terminology in
might express
metaethics.
emotions, commands, or plans for action. For example, in
This is embarrassing for you, dude.
it's not embarrassing to learn things. It's not embarrassing.
How can you say that you're a moral
You know, human beings. You know,
subjectivist?
human beings. It's
No.
It's okay to learn. You know that, right?
Don't
You know
do
it's
the
okay.
thing.
You know it's okay to
Don't
learn,
do the
right?
thing.
You know it's
Don't
okay.
do the
What do you
thing.
mean the thing?
Don't do the thing where you try to pretend as if you were here to learn when just a moment ago
I
when
didn't
you were
join.
debating
I didn't
tone-
join. I didn't
when
join.
just a moment ago when you
I
were debating
joined-
tone. Pipe down. I'm still speaking.
Can you stop changing the goalpost?
I'm still speaking. When you were just talking to Tone a moment ago,
fucking speaking.
you were rhetorically
What? Are you crazy?
and you
Are
were
you-
rhetorically posturing against DAP, pretending as if you actually knew what the fuck you were
This
talking
nigga
about
think-
until I stepped into
I
the
do
room
know what I'm.
and I asked you
I definitely-
two fucking questions, and you were so intellectually impoverished that you had to go look up the fucking basic
'cause I don't know-
terminology that I was asking you
I don't know
about,
two terms.
even though you were
I don't
posturing
know-
as if you knew what you were talking about when it comes to meta ethics. So don't give me this
Yeah,
fucking
all you can do-
sob story about how you're here to learn. You're not here to learn anything.
All y'all can do is insult. Y'all can never be smart, make good points.
Yeah, you
ever.
called everyone a
never
dumb
make
fuck,
points.
like,
All y'all
30
gotta do is
asked you
insult.
for an
And
argument
every
for
time it
cause.
comes to making points, you guys
No,
can't
wait.
make them. All y'all do is insult and spam.
I asked
y'all
you
can't
for
make
an
good fucking
argument.
points.
I asked
There's
you for an
nothing wrong
argument.
with somebody. There's nothing wrong with somebody submitting to not knowing something and wanting to learn what it means so they can make your argument. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm
I
literally
asked you a
telling you,
question.
yeah,
I
I need
asked
to
you a
fully
substantive
understand before I respond. Why would I respond ignorantly if I didn't know what it meant?
asked you a
Dumbass. There's
question.
nothing wrong with learning what the fuck something means, you bitch.
Well,
Are you
there's
done?
something wrong
Are
with
you
it.
done yapping
Presumably,
now?
if you're affirming the
Exactly,
position, yeah, there's
anyways.
something wrong with learning what the position is on the spot.
Are you, wait.
When you affirm-
So the question that I asked you is if
Never
you
did
were
that.
non-
Fucking about.
Stop
Never said that.
bragging out and just answer my question, dude. Like you look fucking terrible. Are you a non-cognitivist then? Supposing that you deny
What it says.
cognitivism. What?
This guy's
Are you a non-cognitivist? Yes or no? Answer the question. Because you just said that you negate cognitivism, which by definition would entail
Yes,
non.
I understand that, and I would say it would be completely dependent on what the other stance that you said is. But in
I
terms of what
already
it's saying,
told you
yeah,
what it was.
if in
I already
terms of
told you what it was.
no, you didn't.
Yes, I literally just did. If you were listening, you would understand
Yeah,
what I just did.
I'm talking about the hyper one that you said, the hyper whatever that you said. That's what I'm talking
We're
about.
not talking about that. We're talking about.
Okay,
your
yeah,
view
I
of
said in terms
non-cognitivism.
of this. I know you're not listening to nothing. You're just trying to argue.
You think non-cognitivism has anything
So
to
what?
do
Wait,
with
what did I just say to you? All right,
hyperintentionality?
so what did I just say about non-cognitivism in the regular version? What did I say about it?
I don't know what you said. because
Exactly,
you're
I know because you're fucking talking. Yeah, I know.
No,
You're
the
fucking-
reason
yeah,
why I
you're
don't know
too
what
busy
you
trying to fucking
said
talk.
is because usually when people
Yeah, because you're too busy trying to
gibberish,
fucking talk like a bitch.
gibberish is
Instead of fucking
unintelligent.
listening. Yeah, two ears
That's why I
and one
didn't
fucking
understand
mouth.
what you said.
Dumbass nigga, what are you talking about? Didn't listen to shit, just running your
Who
mouth.
are you trying to posture for?
I
You're
literally just
fucking
said in terms
terrible in
of
this
what these say, I would lean more towards
You're literally
non-cognitivism.
getting lapped and
I
dog
literally
walked.
already said that I lean in
talking
terms
about?
of these two specifically. I lean more towards non-cognitivism. I already said that.
Such a
You said you
terrible
lean
view.
more towards non-cognitivism. Okay, perfect. So you believe it to be the case that there's more evidence favoring non-cognitivism, correct?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
Wait, hold on,
perfect.
wait. It says a
What's
form.
the no? Don't run back your claim. Don't.
Oh
Run
yeah,
back
yeah,
your
yeah.
claim.
Okay, yeah.
Don't run away. What's the evidence?
Nobody
that
is running away, I'm
favors
reading.
Not okay. So perfect. What's the evidence, moron, that favors non-cognitivism? Go ahead.
Okay, so when
You think this
say
guy's rhetoric
evidence-
is good?
Okay, hold on.
You
hold
think
on.
him calling
okay, I'm about
people
to
bitches,
respond to you. Okay,
dumbass
so
bitches,
when you
while
say-
simultaneously
when you say
expressing
yeah,
his fucking
and you ask me a
confusion is
question
good
while
rhetoric.
you're
What are you
talking, by the
talking
way, this is a clear example that you like to hear yourself talk.
Answer the question.
I'm gonna answer the question. When you say
Stop saying that you're
what-
gonna answer it and answer the
when
question.
when you say where is the evidence of? You know what this insinuates? This insinuates
That's not what I asked
that
you,
is.
by the way.
I'm responding. Relax.
Not what I asked you.
Yeah, then you just want to be right.
You responded to something that I didn't ask.
Because you need to fundamentally ask good questions. The queer.
What are you talking about?
That
What question
question-
did I ask that was bad?
That question is not good. A good question.
What question is not a good question? The one that you said that I didn't ask?
No, the one that you did ask, the one that you just asked. Whether
What's
it's
the question that I
evidence
asked?
that supports the non-cognitivism stance.
So you think me asking what's the evidence that favors a position is a bad question?
Yeah,
How is that a bad question?
because evidence would insinuate that something would have to naturally be there in order for you to provide it. Like,
What are you
there has to be
talking about,
something-
dude?
Do you know what
even know what
evidence means?
evidence
Do I have
is?
to read to you what is
You're
evidence
confused
mean?
on what evidence is?
What does evidence mean? What does evidence mean?
Do you not know what evidence is?
What does evidence mean?
Evidence is anything that raises the likelihood of a proposition, moron. You would know that if you knew anything about
Okay,
basic
so
fucking philosophy.
so this is the thing, right? When you say this, when you ask me what is the evidence to
Now he's
support
trying to
this claim,
meta debate me on evidence.
I'm not
What
meta.
does this have to do with the
So,
question
all right,
that
so
I'm
you,
asking?
so no one, so you just don't like any response. So
Do you
just
have
want
an
me to
account
agree-
of evidence?
Do you want me to agree with you?
Do you want an account of
You want me to
evidence?
disagree? That's what you
Do
want?
you have an account of evidence?
Do
Yes or
you
no?
want me to agree with you or not?
Do you have an account of evidence?
I
I'm
don't
just gonna
need
keep
it.
asking you the same question. Yes, you do.
No, and I have a premise to support this.
Wait, so you said that you have evidence, but you don't have an account of evidence? How does that make sense?
Huh?
You
I
said
said I
that you
don't
have
need
evidence.
it. I didn't say I have. I said I don't need it. I
No,
didn't say I
you
don't
said
have-
that. What do you? Are you?
I said I
stupid?
don't need it.
Do you know what it means to say I lean more towards X? Do you know what that means?
Yes, I
What does
believe
it
something
mean?
to be true.
Okay, no, that's not what that means. You
When I say
moron.
I lean more towards something, yes, because I believe it more to be true.
Okay, and what are beliefs?
Things that we believe in our brain,
A
principles,
belief is
standards.
something
like
that we
what?
believe. Yeah, good
Okay,
one.
yeah,
You think
okay.
that was informative, you moron? If I ask you what a belief is and you say a belief is something that we believe, you think you expounded on anything?
Well,
You
no,
idiot.
I
What are
literally.
you talking about?
You didn't hear the other 4 words. I
You
just
don't
said?
even know what a belief is.
A
You don't know
belief is
anything.
any. A belief is
You don't
any
know what a
type
belief
of.
is.
A belief is
You don't
any
know
type
what
of
evidence
principle,
is.
standard, or
You don't know
construct that
what
we choose
cognitivism
to
is.
believe is
You
true.
don't know what non-cognitivism
I
is.
literally
You
just
don't know
defined. I
anything.
literally just defined the
So
word.
a
Literally.
belief, by definition,
I literally.
is an
Yeah.
attitude. Stop talking. I'm still
I
speaking.
literally already.
Stop
I
speaking.
literally
I'm
already
still speaking.
defined the word for
Still
you.
speaking. Still speaking. A belief, by
Talk over me doesn't
definition,
make you
still
right. You know
speaking.
that. I
Still
literally.
speaking. Excuse me. Sorry. A belief.
I'm not gonna listen to nothing.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm still
To nothing
speaking.
you're saying.
Calm the fuck
I'm not
down.
listening to nothing you're
Calm the
saying.
fuck down.
Listen.
A belief, by definition, is an attitude towards
Oh,
a proposition. What is a proposition? A proposition is something that's either going to be true or false. Now, consider what his definition of, what a belief was in the first place. He said a belief is something that we believe to be the case. That's a circular fucking definition, you moron. Okay, that doesn't actually expand on the concept of what a
That's not
belief
what I said at all. That's not what I said
That
at
is-
all.
that's
You know what you have a
literally what you
problem
said
with doing?
verbatim.
That's not what I said at all.
Now you're going to lie about what you said?
Do you know what your problem is? Do you know what your
Wait,
problem is?
Dap,
Y'all
Dap,
let people
did
say
he not
no.
say, wait, so Dap
Y'all
is listening,
problem,
right?
y'all's
Dap is
problem
listening,
y'all
right?
y'all wait until people say
Wait,
3
so
words.
Dap,
you
when I
dispute it, and
asked
you
him,
start
so now
spreading.
he's lying about
You
what he
don't
said.
actually
Dap,
let nobody say anything.
Dap,
You
when
say
I
3
asked
words,
him,
as soon as you hear something you disagree, you start
Holy
jumping like a
shit.
fucking
Can somebody
rabbit.
shut this guy up?
Dap,
Yeah,
when I
shut me up
asked
because you're
him
fucking
previously,
wrong.
Dap, when I
Nobody's
asked him previously, just to confirm, Dap, when I asked him previously,
The
and by the
only
way,
thing I said is that the only thing I said though.
protect the vote.
Is that the only thing I said?
Why are you preventing me from asking this question? Because you
That's
know
all
that
I
you-
said though.
because you know that you're gonna get shit on when I ask this question, right?
I mean,
By the way,
yeah,
is the host there as well? Are you have you been listening?
Yes. Yeah. I'm
Okay,
here.
so I can get and by the way, we can just run down the list and everybody will confirm that what I'm saying is dead fucking right and what you're saying is dead fucking wrong. Now, true or false,
all
host,
that I said.
when I
Why are you
asked him
trying
what
to
a
take
belief is, did
why
he
you-
not say
so what I-
verbatim that a
Why
belief
are
is
you-
something that we believe in our brain? Did he
Yes.
say that,
He,
yes or
he
no?
put the word belief in the definition. Yes.
Okay, Dab, did you hear that?
Yes.
Okay, did everybody else on the panel hear that? I just need a quick yes or no from everybody.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that the only thing I said?
So you're
Is that the-
saying
is that
so
the
you're
only-
saying that
wait, wait,
everybody
wait,
else
wait,
is
wait, wait, wait.
lying
Is that
and you happen to be correct, right? Everybody else is lying and you
anyone is
happen to
lying.
be correct.
That's the only thing I said.
No, that's what you said.
No, is it the only thing I said?
That's the only thing that you said.
No, it's not. You were talking over me.
Oh, so what else did you say?
I said that it's. I said a belief is any a form of a standard or principle that we choose to believe is true.
Well, you changed his definition. You just changed it.
I can
Bro,
literally
this
hear you
nigga
making
dumb
that
as
shit up
fuck.
on the spot, dude. What are you talking
This
about?
nigga dumb, bro. Holy shit.
I said a belief is a any type of standard. Or
Look
a
at him
structure or
like
principle or
stumbling
something
through
that
himself
we
because he
believe is
knows that
true.
he's making this shit up in real
I didn't
fucking
make it up.
time.
That's literally what I said.
No, that you're literally making that up in
That's
real time.
literally what I said.
There's two
A
brain
belief
cells
is
around
well, it's a standard. Maybe I don't know.
I
Something
didn't stutter
truth,
one time. I
like-
said standard principle,
What are
any
you
type of
talking
structure that we believe is true. I never stuttered one time.
Wait, so a belief is something
Again,
that
belief.
a belief is something that a principle that we believe to be true.
Not specific to the exact principle, specific to our what we like how
He was gonna say
we
belief
attract
again.
ourselves to it. Not specific to that.
He was gonna say belief and then him saved
That's
himself.
actually
Okay, sorry.
bullshit.
Repeat it again.
Let's
What
keep
did
going,
you
yeah,
say?
bro.
A belief is what? A principle that we believe to be true. Is that what you said?
Okay, so a belief, right, is any standard, any type of whether it's a standard, a structure, or ideology, or anything. It is the essence of this essentially
It's
just
the essence.
the essence
What
of
is an
gravitating
essence?
towards it.
What is an
That's
essence?
the
What is
essence
that?
of just
Nigga
gravitating
using the
towards
wrong
it.
fucking words, cuz.
You're just throwing terminology because you have no fucking clue what you're talking
Nigga
about.
stupid.
Yes, I do. What I'm saying is
This nigga
correct.
Stupid.
You don't even look. You didn't know what evidence was. You
Yes, I
didn't
do.
know
You don't know what
propositions
evidence
were.
means. Yes,
you
I
didn't
do.
know what
You don't know
beliefs
what-
were. You didn't know what cognitivism was. You didn't know what non-cognitivism was.
There's only
you didn't even know what moral
there's only two
subjectivism
words.
was.
There's only two words.
You don't
that
know
I didn't know
anything.
what it meant.
You're literally sitting up here posturing to these people, pretending like you know what the fuck you're talking about.
I literally do
People
though.
actually
but I do,
ask you
but I do.
questions pertaining to the
All
realm about the
you can
subject
do,
matter,
bro. All you
you
can
have
do,
nothing to
you
show
can't make good
because you're a
arguments.
fake. You're a posture. You're just pretending like you know what the
Oh
fuck.
yeah, so basically, yeah, so yeah, all right, so You know, it's crazy. I'm reading the definition. This is exactly what it is.
Yeah, we know you're reading the definition because you don't
Yeah,
have
now
any
I am.
fucking
Yeah, because
thoughts
this
in
is
your own
exactly what it
fucking brain.
is.
You have to be fed information by ChatGPT.
It's saying it's this. You know, it's crazy.
too
This is
slow
exactly what it is.
to
This is
actually
exactly what
understand
it
and
is.
comprehend these concepts. You moron. What are you talking about?
This is exactly. It's literally what I said it is. Exactly what I said it is.
Wait, so your definition is off Google?
No.
So what are you reading off?
You do understand something can be said the same way that's not verbatim. You dumbass. What are you talking
No.
about?
I asked you where your definition is from.
The Oxford Dictionary.
The Oxford Dictionary. Do you think
Yeah.
appealing to the Oxford Dictionary is a good tool to measure philosophical ideas?
I mean, well, no. It depends on yeah, actually, yeah.
Wait, so you think philosophers defer to Oxford Dictionary?
Bro, this
Well,
nigga stupid.
the word belief doesn't fundamentally belief doesn't change whether it's philosophical
You think the way that philosophers define belief is the way that it's defined in the Oxford Dictionary? Are you a moron?
Okay, the fundamental of what belief is does not change between philosophical and the Oxford Dictionary.
Dude, there's literally
It
a
doesn't
conventional
change.
definition of what a belief is, by the way. A belief, conventionally speaking, by definition, is just an attitude towards a proposition. That's it. You would know that. If
Well,
you knew
it
any
would be
fucking thing about
not necessarily attitude. It would be
Yeah,
more.
I don't think he knows
trust
what a
or faith.
proposition is.
Do you know what a proposition is, or do you have to look that up as well?
Yeah, I know what that word means. I don't
What
need
is
to
a
define
proposition?
every word.
What is a proposition?
If I didn't know what the word meant, I would say it.
Every time you said you knew something, it turns out that you
That's
lied
not
about
true at all.
Every single
Just
time
because,
you said
just
you
because
knew
you cut
something.
me off, just because you cut me off 3 words in does not mean I don't know it. You
Wait,
chose
just
to cut me
every
off.
single time.
You chose to cut me off and talk.
Every single time you said you knew something, it turned out false.
If I didn't know what the word meant, I would have said it simply.
You didn't.
I have
You
no
don't
issue.
motivation.
I have no issue saying if I don't.
Yes,
know
you do.
No, I do not.
I'll tell you what the issue is. The issue
I
is.
don't-
I'll tell you what the issue is. The issue is your fucking ego. Your ego.
I don't have
won't
any
allow
ego.
you-
You're just saying dumb shit. You ask
You don't
dumbass
have any
questions.
ego? You think you don't have an
You
ego?
think that
Do
you're
you
smart because you
genuinely
add
believe
more words on it. It doesn't make you right.
Even
dude.
I'm smart enough. Even I'm smart enough to recognize that I have an ego. You're not even smart enough to recognize that you have an ego.
No,
What are you
I didn't
talking
say
about?
I didn't have. No, in this context, I'm not showing ego.
Now he's gonna lie.
I don't. In this
again.
context, I'm not
You
showing
are
ego.
lying again.
Because I have to argue the semantic because you're a dumbass because you're fucking.
You
socially
literally just
inept.
said you don't have an ego, and now you're saying, "Oh, I
in
do
this
have an ego."
I'm not
Which
because I'm
one
not
is it?
showing one in this.
Which one
in this
is it?
context,
Make
I
up
do
your
not.
mind. Which one is it?
In the context of this conversation, I don't.
Oh, so in this specific context, you just suddenly lost your ego, and every other context,
No,
you have
I
an ego,
don't
your ego
lose
just
anything.
magically
Just
pops
because
up.
I'm not showcasing in this conversation doesn't mean I lost an ego. Doesn't mean I lose it. That doesn't mean it doesn't apply here.
I guess he lost. I guess he lost his.
You can't
ego
even
in
make
this-
good points. You're just shit at
I
making
guess,
points.
I guess he lost his ego in this specific conversation.
I
but-
never lost it. It just doesn't apply to this context.
Oh, that's what it means to lose it, dipshit.
No, that's not what that means.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, is that what it says on Oxford?
Like what?
Like what? Like what? Stone locked. You have no fucking.
You
clue
didn't
what to
sound
say.
like nothing. You're just saying you say
So
dumb
anyways,
shit and then say
back
bro,
to the
you just
relevant
say-
discussion.
You say dumb shit.
Back
and
to
say
the
a
relevant
stupid-ass point
discussion.
and then say a dumbass word
Back
behind
to
it.
the
You
relevant
didn't cook
discussion.
shit.
Back to the relevant discussion. Okay.
Exactly.
Considering the definitions, I don't know why you're saying exactly. You just got blown the fuck
Yeah,
out.
you didn't blow shit up just because you got 3 idiots laughing with
I
you. got
just
3
had
fucking
you.
Mickey
I
Mouses
just
laughing
had.
behind you. Don't mean
I
shit.
literally had
You say
you
dumb
stoned.
shit. That shit didn't even
Your
make
brain,
sense.
your brain just fucking lagged
That
out.
shit didn't
after
even
that
make
response.
sense. That shit was wrong.
You said meaning. Definitions convey meaning. You idiots. That's a basic one-step inference.
What the
that
fuck
your
are you
tiny
talking
brain
about?
can't
What are
make.
you even talking
I
about?
got passed around. Though.
Yeah, I know you're lost because you don't know where you're at in the conversation. You're just saying things
That's
that
because you're
come to
saying
mind.
dumb shit. I'm wondering why you're saying
You're just
stupid
saying
shit.
that whatever the fuck pops up in your dumb fuck skull. You're just
Ironic.
blurting it out of your mouth.
Coming from the man that thinks saying multiple terms makes him smarter, and it doesn't. You're just saying dumb shit.
When did I say that?
That's the way you act. That's what you're presenting.
Oh, really? That's what I'm
Yeah,
acting like?
yeah.
So you're
Can you
focusing
just
on the way
ask?
that
Can
I'm
you ask the
acting
important question?
instead of actually
Can you stop
focusing
changing
on
the
the
goalpost and
substance
ask
of
the
the
question?
conversation.
Stop changing
Wow.
the goalpost.
Good stuff, man. Really good stuff.
Yeah, good
But
stuff.
anyways,
Yeah.
right? Back to the actual conversation, right? Back to the actual conversation. So you stated it to be the case that you lean more towards non-cognitivism. Now, for the audience, if anybody doesn't know what it means to lean more toward, what that means, epistemically speaking, is that you believe it to be the case that there's more evidence favoring that position as opposed to its negation. Okay, that's what
Wrong.
it means, epistemically speaking. Don't
That
tell
does
me
not.
I'm
That does
wrong.
not inherently mean that. wrong.
Definitions can be wrong, idiots. I just gave you a definition.
What?
That's another blunder on your part. That's blunder number
No, it's not a
5.
fucking blunder. You fucking idiot.
Yes, it is. By definition, it is.
Okay, so
Are
when
you
you ask, bro, you guys are so.
Do you think
disingenuous,
definitions
it's
can be
crazy.
wrong? Yes or no? Do you think definitions can be wrong?
Bro, you're gonna get the same response I've been giving them for the past 20 minutes. Don't ask
He
me.
has
It's
no
not a
idea.
question. Don't ask me this type of question. I'm gonna give
Yeah,
the same
because you
response
don't
I
know.
gave that.
You're not even intellectually
Don't ask because I'm
capable
gonna give the same
to
response
answer
as
that.
I give
You're
that.
not
I'm
even
gonna give the same
intellectually.
response. I'm gonna
You're
give
not
the same
even
response.
intellectually
I'm
capable.
gonna give the same response.
You're not even intellectually capable to answer that question.
Yes, I am. Trust
No,
me,
you're
I
not.
am.
Definitions, by the way, can be true or false because definitions are non-propositional. Do you take it that definitions are
I'm
propositional?
not ask the
Still doesn't
original
know what a
question.
proposition
I'm
not
not. I'm
entertaining
not.
this.
I'm not. Where am I? What is happening? Why am I getting beat the fuck down in this
You're
conversation?
not beating
I
shit
have
down.
no
You're just
clue what's
changing the
going on.
goalposts because your ass at
You're
debating.
stumbling over yourself. You're
Changing the
stuttering
Your
over
ass at
yourself
debating.
because you realize that you're getting beat the fuck down. You have no. You don't even know what
Can
to
you
do.
answer the question?
Yeah. The question is, do you believe that definitions are
I'm not
propositional?
answering. I'm talking about the original question.
Do you believe that definitions are propositional?
I'm not answering that dumbass question
Oh, so you're gonna dodge my question?
because you dodged my question. What do you mean? You haven't answered nothing I asked.
My question came before yours.
No, it did not.
Yes, it did. Do you want
All right.
to? Do you want to check the timestamp, idiot?
Yeah, let's take the timestamp. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, let's go check on Merriam-Webster while we're at it too, huh? Let's see what Merriam-Webster has to say, right? Since Merriam-Webster is the arbiter of definitions, right? Right. So,
Depends on the
anyways,
context.
so what it means, epistemically speaking, to say that you lean more towards a position is just to say that there's evidence favoring that position. And so what I did was I asked him to provide
Evidence in what context?
that favored the position
What's the context of the
instead
evidence?
of actually providing the evidence that favored the position.
So yeah, see that's the problem.
What-
See, that
wait,
right
wait,
there,
wait,
that's
you're
the
cutting me out.
problem
You're
with. See,
scared.
that's
You're
the problem
scared.
with the
You're
question.
scared of
I'm
what I'm
glad
gonna
you
say.
just said that
You're
because that's
scared.
the problem with the question.
Can I finish? Can I get through my
That's
sentence?
the problem with the
Can I
question.
get through my sentence? Can I get through my sentence? So now, anyways, so when I asked him to deliver the evidence, right, the alleged evidence that he believes favors the non-cognitivism position, right, which, by the way, for the audience, if you don't know what it means, non-cognitivism is the position that it's a semantic theory about moral language, which states that moral sentences are not true thoughts. They don't express propositions, right? It's not the case that whenever somebody expresses or utters or uses the speech act of a moral sentence, that they're actually saying something that can be true or false. That's the view of non-cognitivism, okay? He believes that there's evidence that actually favors this view. So when I asked him for the evidence, instead of providing the evidence, he instead goes to this meta tangent derail and starts talking about how my question is faulty. But then the basis for him saying that my question was faulty was his own fucking misunderstanding of what evidence was in the first place. He didn't even know what evidence was. So now I'm gonna ask you the question again. What is the evidence that you believe favors the position that non-cognitivism is true?
The fundamental definition of subjective.
What?
The fundamental definition of objective and what subjective actually means and what something.
You think subjectivism entails?
All right, so you're just not gonna let me talk. You got it.
No, I'm asking you a clarifying.
No. How you asking me in the middle of my response?
It's a clarifying.
You see how you can't let nobody talk?
It's
Can
a
you clarify?
clarifying
Can you clarify after
question.
I'm done? Can you clarify after I'm done?
No, because you're gonna say a bunch
All right,
of.
then. All right, whatever. All right, then. All right, fuck it. You
Yeah,
can't let nobody
good
talk.
boy.
I know. You
Good
can't
boy.
let nobody say
Good boy.
nothing.
Good boy.
I know, yeah,
Back
because
to
you're
my
a bitch.
question.
Because you're a bitch
You
and you
are
can't respond. Because you're a bitch and you can't
'Cause you're a
respond.
bitch.
That's why
'Cause
y'all
you're-
cut people off 2 seconds in.
you're a
Because
bitch.
y'all can't make good points. Because y'all don't want nobody to make no good point. Because you're fucking scared.
Are you
Because you're a bitch.
serious, dude?
You
You're
can't
calling
fucking
me
debate because you're a bitch.
That's your
'Cause you're a
fucking
bitch.
comeback. Is that I'm
Because
a
you're a
bitch?
bitch.
Do better, dude.
That's why you
Holy
cut
shit.
people off in mid sentence because you want to take control of the narrative. Yeah. Because you're a bitch. Because you're a bitch.
The clarifying.
I don't give a fuck about the clarification.
You're
Let me
literally
respond to the. I haven't
repeating.
even responded to the original question.
You don't give
Stop
a fuck
asking
about
for
the
clarification.
clarification. That's dishonest.
Yeah, dishonest. Yeah, ironic. Coming from the man that can't let nobody speak.
I'm literally asking you a clarifying question.
Stop asking me let me make the point first and then clarify after.
Why would we want to sit
Why
here?
can't you be? Why is it hard for you to be mature to let?
You know what,
someone talk?
man?
Is that
Go
hard
ahead
for
and
you?
you know what? Go ahead and do
Is that
your-
hard? Is that hard for you to let somebody talk?
CEO of Bloviation Cooperation wants to like gibberate for the next 5 minutes. Go ahead, man. Go ahead and gibberate.
What you are asking, okay, that what it means for something to actually be objective, right? Fundamentally, and what something fundamentally means to be subjective, it contradicts any other idea for something to be outside of the stance of non-cognitivism.
That whole thing was gibberish.
It's not gibberish.
Wait. So you cried and begged me for you to get that out, even though it didn't even address my question.
It does address your question.
What was the question that it addressed?
Are you stupid?
Tell me, what was the question?
Are you dumb? Yeah, this guy's a fucking mongoloid.
He
This
doesn't
guy's
remember the
stupid.
question.
Yeah, I definitely. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
You forgot the question.
Yes, I do.
You do forget the question? I agree you forgot the question.
I do.
You do remember the question, or you
You're
forgot?
fucking dumb. You're fucking stupid.
He doesn't remember, so he's calling.
Why
him
do you keep
stupid.
saying I'm stupid as if it's
So
gonna
basically,
like
you
win
just so
you
you're
rhetorical
really just
points?
basing everything.
You're the one
literally
that
just
forgot the
basing your-
question. You're
you
not
literally-
rhetorically
Yeah,
appealing.
you
right
definitely.
now.
Yeah,
The
you
audience
definitely are.
thinks you look fucking terrible.
You guys
right now.
definitely basing
So I don't
everything
know
on
why you're
Christian
trying to
ethics.
appeal to the audience by calling me
What do
these
you mean
names,
appeal to? You're
even
a
though the
mongoloid.
audience is not on your
You're a
side.
mongoloid.
Nobody's
I
on
don't care
your
about
side.
no fucking audience. Are you a woman? What are you
Yes,
talking
you
about?
do.
What do you mean
What
the
are you
audience? Nothing. Are
talking
you a
about?
fucking woman?
You're
What are you
literally
talking about?
appealing to the audience. Okay, so the
Are you a
question
fucking
is,
woman? What do you mean appeal
what
to
was
an
the
audience?
question?
Who gives
What
a
was
fuck
the
about
question?
appealing to an audience?
What was the question?
What was the answer?
What
You didn't
the
give
answer-
one. Dumb fuck.
You didn't give an answer. That's the point.
I did give an answer.
Okay, what was the question?
What was the answer?
You didn't give one. I've already
I
answered
did give
the
an
question.
answer.
Okay, you gave an answer to what question?
The first
You have no fucking clue because you forgot.
Oh
You
yeah, I
fucking
definitely
moron.
do.
Yes, you forgot the question. So now
No,
I'm
I have
gonna repeat the
perfect
question for
recall.
you.
I definitely
I'm
have
gonna
perfect
repeat.
recall.
I'm
I have
gonna
perfect
repeat.
recall. I remember the
I'm
question.
going to repeat the question.
I have perfect recall. I remember
No,
the
you
question. I
don't.
don't need
No,
you.
you
I'm
don't.
gonna
You
play
have a-
music
you
and I'm
have-
not gonna listen to you.
You have the memory of a
All right, so I'm
fucking.
gonna. No,
have
I have
the
perfect
memory-
recall. I literally, bro. Are you a fucking idiot? How
You
you
have
gonna
the
tell me what I
memory.
have?
You have the memory of a fucking goldfish. That's what you have.
And how are you
The
determining
question
this?
that I asked you.
And
the
how are you
que-
determining this?
The conversation that we're having right now. The fact that you forgot
Wait,
my
how are you
question.
determining this? Oh, so you're
I'm
you're
determining it
memory based
by
upon
you
something I won't
forgetting.
answer. So because I won't answer your question,
determining-
you determine how much memory
You
I have.
literally
You're a
asked me.
fucking idiot. This
You
dude doesn't
literally
make any
asked me a
good point.
question. You
Dude
asked
is
me a
fucking
question.
stupid. This
You
nigga
asked
just
me a
said, "Oh,
question.
based on our conversation, based off
How
a
is he gonna ask
question
me a
you wouldn't
question and
answer."
keep talking?
I'm
Yes.
assuming that you have bad memory.
Cross.
So
You're
basically, you're assuming I have bad memory because I
Cross,
didn't answer your question.
Hey, you're
Wait, so that- wait, that-
projecting
wait, that-
and deflecting. You need to take a different
Hey, that's
approach,
wait, Kay,
please.
that's
Why are you asking me a question and then keep talking?
wait, Kay, that's
I'm-
valid. You said that you're basing whether or not I have good memory based
Now
upon a
you're
question I
asking-
didn't answer, right? If I told you I don't want to answer questions, so how did your brain fundamentally come to the consensus that I
I'm
don't
gonna
remember?
I'm gonna
Wait, how
answer.
did
that.
your brain? Wait, how did your brain make that make sense?
You're
Because I
asking me
didn't
the
want to
same
answer
question.
you, that means I don't have good memory.
Do you
Make
want
that
me
make
to answer
sense.
your question?
Make that make sense.
Do you want
Wait,
me to
you're the
answer your
smart guy,
question?
Mr. Wordy.
He's still
Make that
talking.
make sense?
You asked
Wait,
me a
make
question.
that make sense real quick.
You
I'll
asked
concede-
me a question,
Bro, I will
so you-
submit to anything you say if you can make
Do
that
you
make
ever
sense.
stop talking so I can answer your
I
fucking
will
question?
submit to anything you say if you make that make sense.
This guy never stops talking. You asked me a question. and you just
Ironic.
keep
Coming
talking.
from the man that interrupted me too.
He's still going. You asked me a question and you keep talking.
Can't
For
answer
some
the
odd
question.
reason. It's like he has
I
no
asked
fucking
you a
social
question.
cues.
Yeah,
Okay,
mute
so the answer to your question
Mute.
is as follows.
Mute me 'cause-
The reason
Mute me 'cause
why
you
it's,
can't-
he's still look
Yeah.
at him. He's still going. He's literally still going. By the way, the reason why I haven't been muted this entire time is because every time I interrupt you, it's justified, and I'm also talking about the relevant subject matter. Every time you interrupt, it's unjustified, and you and you just like go on these fucking irrelevant tangents.
subjective,
That don't even
buddy.
talk about. That don't even
That's
like
subjective,
approximate
buddy.
the actual topic of conversation. Okay, now back to the actual substance. Okay, the question that I asked you was, how
Subjective,
is it the case? Okay, how is it the case that there's evidence favoring the non-cognitivist position? Go ahead. And then you said you're not listening to. Okay, so if you're not listening to me, that's fine. I'll just give the disjunction basically. So it's either the case that the
I don't need
definition
you to. I
of
don't need you to
subjectivism-
move on to the next
You-
thing. So
I
can you
don't know
respond to
why.
what I said?
I don't know why. Why are you so scared?
Can you
of me to
respond
ask
to my
this?
response?
You're
Wait, can you respond
terrified
to
of
my
me asking
response?
this. You're terrified of this question, but you're not going to run away. You're going to answer this question, whether you like it or not.
So you know what's crazy? You know what's actually crazy? You know what's actually,
here's
you,
the
you want to know how I know
oh
you're
my
wrong?
God,
I'm about to
dude.
wait. How do I turn my camera on? This is how I know you're wrong.
This
you know
is
what's
the
crazy?
thing. This is the
I
thing
look-
that he does, where he
I
doesn't
looked
want
up.
me to
I
ask the
looked up.
questions.
I looked up the best
because
arguments.
he's so
I looked up
scared.
the best arguments for
scared.
non-cognitivism,
He's so
moral theory.
scared.
Right? I looked up the best arguments, and the first argument is what I said. The first
Okay,
argument is
perfect.
what I said.
Perfect. Okay, cool. Are
The
you
first
done?
argument is what I said.
Why did you say
I'm sharing
that?
my screen. You're literally a fucking idiot.
What does that prove? How does that?
I'm
help
never
you?
listening to you. Hold on.
How does that help you in the conversation?
I'm never listening to you. Hold on.
What is he talking about? Is he okay? He's having.
Look at this.
I also don't think he realizes how shit of a view that is.
Yeah, I don't think he realizes that most people like actually laugh at non-cognitivism. Like he literally doesn't know.
What does
that's
that mean? But that's not a. What kind
That
of
means
response?
that that means that it's a
This
joke.
dude
of
just
a
said because most
moron.
people do something like that's valid. That doesn't make anything valid. You're just saying dumb shit.
I
What are you
didn't
talking
make a
about?
claim about validity, moron. What are you talking
So
about?
if most people say you're a bitch, does that make you a bitch?
No, it would make you
Okay, so what are you talking about then? Shut the fuck up and make a good point.
just because there's cases
I
where
looked up good arguments for this stance.
Are you-
And the first
oh
one
my
is
God.
the argument that I gave you.
I actually-
It
says
what
it
I
right
think?
here on the
You know what I
screen.
think
Look
we
at
should
this.
do?
It's
You
right
know
here
what I
on
think
the
we should do?
screen.
Host,
It's
are you
right
there?
here.
Host, are you
Yeah.
there?
This is the first. This is the first argument I
So
gave you.
here's
But you
what we
said it
should
was
do,
gibberish.
right?
What do you
So
mean?
every time
This
he's
is the first
speaking,
argument I gave you.
like you're gonna have to do it right now. Every time he's speaking,
You said this.
just mute me, Or yeah, every time he's
No, don't
speaking,
try to
just
mute
mute
now.
me.
Don't try to mute
And every
now.
time that I'm
This is
speaking,
the
just
first
mute
argument
him.
I gave you. You said it
So
was
that way,
gibberish. This is
people
the
will actually like what
wait.
he's
This
doing
is
right
the
now,
first.
right?
All right, sounds
Like
like
what
a
he's
good
doing right
plan.
now.
Yeah.
Just so that way people will actually
This is
hear
the
what the fuck it is that we're saying because he can't stop talking. So I'm gonna go on mute. He can make all the points that
go
he
on
wants to
mute.
make, and then I'll respond to the points that
Yeah,
he's
go on
making.
mute.
All right. I'll just give you guys 2 minutes uninterrupted time as well. I think that's for the best.
Yeah.
All right. I think 2 minutes is enough.
I'm not gonna lie, Cross is definitely fitting the stereotype, making us look bad.
Okay, so yeah. Anyways, so yeah, the basis of the claim that I gave is the lack of empirical basis argument for queerness. Right. This is one of the very first arguments that supports non-cognitism. Right. This is the first thing that I said. It's the evidence for non-cognitism stems from the apparent lack of observable and empirical, verifiable moral properties, the intuitive connection between moral statements and motive or action, and the difficulty of fitting moral claims into purely descriptive framework, right? No wrongness property. Simply, these things are literally a description of the first thing that I said, and you said that it was gibberish.
All right. Do you concede your time?
Yeah.
All right, and restart the timer. All right, I'll give Kay 2 minutes and 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, perfect. So there's a few. I guess I'll use a lot of my time because there's a few things that I want to kind of go back and touch on because it got lost in the trend. It got lost in like the meta derail, but basically. So the first thing is that he made a claim that the evidence favoring non-cognitivism is entailed from the definition of subjectivism. That's the claim that he made. And then he basically tried to hide away from that claim by speaking over me and bringing up some other point while he was reading in the middle of the conversation that we were having about something that he doesn't even understand. The view that he's espousing, by the way, is a view called moral error theory, most famously upheld by a philosopher by the name of J.L. Mackie. Of course, there's other types of error theorists, and there's different types of error theory. Like you can be a conditional error theorist, you can be a metaphysically deflationary error theorist, for example, and so on and so forth. You can be a error theorist in a sense where you align with like Donald Loeb's view of error theory, for example, in which case the like truth about propositions would not be existentially distributed, for example, right? But like none of these things that I said, he has any clue about because he's intellectually impoverished. He has no fucking clue what he's talking about. He's making shit up on the spot while he's reading on Google and trying to basically fabricate arguments in real time whilst simultaneously expressing his fucking confusion about the topic, okay? Which is entirely and utterly embarrassing for him. Now, the question that I asked him, which he dodged, and he's still going to dodge after I'm done with this, is as follows. What's going to be the argument that it's entailed from the definition of subjectivism that non-cognitivism is true? Watch him dodge the question. Go ahead, Dodger.
All right, let me give
Okay, so this is so again, I'm gonna restate the same thing. The argument. This is from the argument of Aquinas by Mackie, right? It literally says, right, the basic premise of these. If moral properties existed as objective facts, they would be metaphysical, queer, strange entities, unlike anything else in the natural world. Since moral disclosure feels different from factual disclosure, non-cognitivists argue that it's better explained as expressing emotions or prescriptions rather than describing objective facts, which would be supported by the idea of subjectivity. Subjectivity. That's why I literally brought up the definitions, because fundamentally it wouldn't align with what those words mean, and it's supported by these two stances.
All right, you concede your time?
Yeah.
All right, let me restart the timer.
Okay.
All right.
And as I predicted, he did not answer the question. He dodged the question. The reason why he dodged this question 2 times in the past, and he's dodging the question now, is because he realized that he fucked up. Either he realized that he fucked up, or he's too stupid to realize that he fucked up, or maybe it's a combination of both, right? But it's not the case that it's entailed from the definition of subjectivism that non-cognitivism is true. In fact, the evidence for that is just the populace of subjectivists. Most moral subjectivists are cognitivists, okay? So it's not even the case that it's entailed from the definition of subjectivism that you would necessarily be a non-cognitivist. So that was a blunder. The second blunder, moreover, on top of that, is that the thesis that he's espousing right now is a metaphysical thesis. We're not even having a metaphysical discussion. This is how lost he is in the conversation. He doesn't even understand that the thing that he's reading off of Google is a metaphysical theory when I'm asking him questions about a semantic theory. Okay? Cognitivism and non-cognitivism they're both semantic theories that deal with how moral language works. Mackey's error theory is a metaphysical thesis. He has an epistemological thesis, but his epistemological thesis is different from his metaphysical thesis. So you espousing his metaphysical thesis does absolutely nothing for you in the conversation because we're not even talking about the metaphysical facts about morality. We're talking about the semantics of moral language. So I would suggest that you keep up with the conversation and stop pretending like you know what the fuck you're talking about.
Okay, so yeah, you're clearly okay. So yeah, so the basis of his argument is not fundamentally metaphysical. He said in the premise, in the basic premise of his claim, he says that if there were an objective reality to these moral properties, they would be metaphysical, meaning they would be existing outside of a subjective reality in general. So it's not. So his statement is not fundamentally metaphysical. It's using metaphysics as a supporting claim as to why they are not objective. Why objective moral properties are not objective. Like you don't even know what you're talking about. You're yapping.
All right, concede your time. See that as yes. All right, I'm giving K 2 minutes.
Okay. So basically, he tried to say, oh my God, this is like the easiest fucking win I've ever had in my life. This is honestly, I feel bad for you at this point. Like I actually feel like I'm bullying like the less fortunate, basically. Like you're like intellectually incapacitated, basically. But he tried to say basically that the reason why it's not a metaphysical thesis is because he's talking about the nature of moral facts, you dipshit fucking moron. Anything that talks about the nature of something fundamental is a metaphysical inquiry. Okay? So when I say that Mackey is proposing a metaphysical thesis, he's proposing a thesis about the nature of moral facts. Mackey does not believe that those kinds of entities exist. He's not ontologically committed to those kinds of entities. And so the reason why he believes it to be the case that moral sentences are systematically false is because moral sentences don't correspond to any of those facts because those facts don't actually exist. That's why the view is called fucking error theory. You moron. You don't even understand what error theory is. You're just reading something off of like ChatGPT AI and you're like whipping up and constructing and making up ideas on the spot as you go without even understanding the things that are coming out of your mouth, okay? I'm basically having to explain to you and coach you through this conversation whilst simultaneously explaining to you why you're confused on the very things that you're reading. And I'm doing all of this while laying in bed and slapping you around with my 12-inch fucking cock, okay? So now the question that I'm gonna ask you is, if you believe that Mackey's error theory is successful, what's gonna be the argument for Mackey's error theory?
All right, so the time is
Okay, so this is a very clear example how someone just uses insults as a way to make it seem as if they're correct. And if you fundamentally know what what error theory actually is, right? These things that I'm saying are still supportive claims as to what it is of why the claims I'm making are true. This is a argument claim for what I'm saying is true. So when you okay, so the statement again, I'm gonna say this again. The statement that he made about what doesn't agree with in terms of metaphysical, the statement is not fundamentally based on it includes it is metaphysics, but it's denying it. It's using it as a reference of denial. It's using it as a reference to deny an objective reality when it comes to this moral language. So I'm not really understanding why you're trying to act as if this isn't a valid argument for it. Like I'm literally just reiterating the argument, and it's actually the first argument that I use, and I'm not really understanding why like we're doing that. Like I don't get why we're doing that. Like it even says right here, it agrees with moral realists that moral judgments attempt to describe features of the world and therefore are truth, etc. Yeah. So, and the basis that I would use is the lack thereof. Like, yeah, I don't think there's anything outside of this fundamentally that would even agree with any type of objective morale in any sense. Like, there's nothing that this is sound to me.
All right, concede your time, right?
Yep.
All right, let me give K 2 minutes. In 3, 2, 1, go.
So yeah, basically, I believe that maybe I don't may stumbling over yourself because you have no fucking clue what you're talking about. You understand that when people stumble over themselves so much when they say ums and uhs in their articulation, it's usually because they're not confident in the shit that they're saying, and the ums and uhs are temporary pauses for your slow, stupid, dumb fuck brain to actually catch up in the conversation. That's why you keep having to say ums and uhs. Firstly, right? Now, secondly, you don't even understand what the fuck you're reading. When they say they agree with the moral objectivists, they agree with the objectivist semantic theory, which is why it's important to understand the distinction between a semantic thesis and an ontological thesis.
I didn't say
So,
that.
Mackie, stop speaking. It's like, pipe the fuck down. Pipe the fuck down. Now, like if you're a error theorist like Mackie, for example, you're going to agree with a realist semantic thesis, but you're going to agree with an anti-realist ontological thesis. None of what you understood. You thought that a error theorist appealing to a realist semantic thesis is somehow not a metaphysical claim. Are you fucking stupid? That's literally dumb as hell. What it means, like the reason why they're error theorists is because there's no actual like moral objective properties that those moral sentences refer to. That's why they're systematically false. That's the whole fucking concept of error theory. You can be a conditional error theorist, in which case the view is a little bit more modified to get around traditional issues of error theory. You can be a sophisticated error theorist. You can be a constructivist error theorist. There's so many other types of error theorists that you can be. But if you're talking about the standard formulation, that's literally what it is. Now, I'm kind of done, like basically giving you this free education. I'm going to press you to answer the questions that you've been dodging this entire time, which is as follows. If you believe it to be the case that you align with Mackey's error theory, then I'm asking you to provide the argument for Mackey's error theory being true.
All right, so I'll give plus the 2 minutes. Go.
Okay, so yeah, this goes back to the my very first initial response. The evidence of this to be true is the lack thereof. Because if there was an actual truth to this, if there was any type of truth, these type of things would exist. That's why I said originally, fundamentally, if any type of moral could have any type of objective reality, there would have to be something fundamentally holding it in place outside of the agency of a person or decision of a person. Like completely. The only thing that can determine that is something that, like if a deity was objectively to be true, there's literally nothing on earth that could even remotely hold that to be true at all. And this is literally one of the arguments that he gave. So I don't know why you said it was gibberish when a philosopher said the same thing I said.
Let me know when you're ready.
Concede your time. All right, I'll give Katie 2 minutes. And 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah, basically, so when I said that it's gibberish, I'm not saying that what the philosopher is saying is gibberish. I'm saying that your interpretation of what the philosopher is saying is gibberish because of the fact that you lack an articulation to actually be able to reproduce the ideas in a way that's intelligible. That's why you keep saying these ums and uhs and saying dumb fuck things that Mackie would laugh at you about, okay? Secondly, you didn't answer my question. When I ask you to provide the evidence for the view being true, you just appeal to the fucking view. That's literally what it means to be engaging in circular reasoning, by the way. It's almost akin to somebody saying that God exists and then appealing to the Bible as an evidentiary standard for God's existence whilst simultaneously trying to prove the Bible to be true. You're literally no different from that kind of person. That's exactly what you're doing right now with like moral error theory. You appealed to the thesis to provide evidence for the thesis. You can't do that. That's circular reasoning. So I'm going to ask you again, what's the evidence for moral error theory being the case?
All right, so I'll give plus the time. All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Well, no, actually, that's not true at all. If something were to not be true, if something were to like, if I were to claim something did not exist, the burden of proof would not be dependent on me to prove that it does not exist because the lack of evidence that it does exist contradicts whether or not it does. You would then have to come up with a way to prove that it actually does exist to contradict my statement. With even in this argument of queerness, it says, I can read it for you verbatim. Mackie argued that objective moral values, if they existed, would be queer. Okay, this is insinuating that if there was an actual objective truth to moral claims, that they would be they would be queer. They would be right. So utterly unlike anything else in the universe, they would have an intrinsic connection to motivation that other properties lack, which is exactly what I said, that there would have to fundamentally be something else aligning moral moral truth to fact. This is literally exactly what I said. And it says, and at the end of this, it says to motivate. It says they would have an intrinsic connection to motivation that other properties lack, which seems metaphysically implausible. So again, you keep saying that I'm using the argument that I'm relating to the argument as a justifying reason for the argument. What I'm saying to you is the burden of proof is not on the claim of not something to not exist. I'm simply telling you there is no other fundamental. There's no other logical reason to believe otherwise, because anything else does not exist. There's no fundamental logic or reason of in terms of opposition that will support the idea that morals can be objective, because there's nothing that's holding that logic in place. In order for something to be objectively true, there has to be something fundamentally outside of our agency to hold it to be true. There's nothing that's holding that in place.
All right, I'll give Kid 2 minutes. And 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, so firstly, like I would seriously suggest that you work on your articulation skills. They are like well below average. But secondly, right, basically you don't understand like what's actually happening. And so I'll have to educate you again. And then I'll basically, since you're never going to answer this question, I'll explain to you how the view is false, basically. I'll actually just give a positive case against error theory, which you'll have no idea about because you have no fucking clue what you're talking about again. But nevertheless, to the first point that you made in the very beginning of your stumble fest, I guess we could call it, you said that you don't have any burden of proof because you're asserting the lack of something. That's not even true, by the way. Like the lack of evidence for a proposition is not evidence that favors the proposition, you moron. That's not how that works. That's not how evidence works. So even if it were to be the case that you were providing a negative thesis, which is what error theory is, by the way. Error theory is considered a negative thesis. Nevertheless, you still have an evidentiary burden to demonstrate how it's the case that that negative thesis is justifiably true. And now notice how in his responses, he kept saying things like, it's not the case that moral objective properties exist. And so therefore, it would not be the case that objective morality exists or objective truth exists. And in his own words, he says, because there would be nothing to sustain these truths or whatever the fuck it is that he said. That's only under the assumption that Mackey's error theory is true. If Mackey's error theory is false and say moral realism is true, then it would be the case that these types of moral objective properties exist, in which case your trash argument would not be successful. So your argument literally hinges on moral error theory being true. In the same way that if a Christian were to appeal to the Bible to prove the Bible's truth, they would be engaging in circular reasoning, is the same way that you're appealing to Mackey's error theory to prove that error theory is actually the case. So you're definitionally engaging in circular reasoning. Now, here's the positive case against error theory, basically. So very simply, we can just perform like a Moorian, I'll say this quickly because I know I'm kind of like talking over my time, but we can just do like a Moorian shift against like error theory, basically. And so the argument is going to be that we have like more confidence in the proposition that, for example, like unaliving people for fun is wrong as actually being like a true moral fact. And given that we have more evidence, or excuse me, rather more confidence in that proposition, as opposed to that proposition not actually referring to anything real, then we are justified in believing that proposition to be true, as opposed to it being the case the proposition is false. Okay, so that's a basic counter argument against your view. You can attack any of the points that I made.
All right, let me give him 2 minutes. 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah. First of all, I never made an appeal to authority fallacy because I never initially used any of his theories to try to substantiate any type of claim. I simply made a claim. I supported my claim with the logic that I used. And then after you said my response was gibberish, I went and looked up arguments and theories that are used to support these claims. And and one of the arguments that I made pretty much kind of is the logic is pretty much similar to one that a philosopher used. So the point I was making in that regard was that you say that it's gibberish, but this is also something a philosopher is fundamentally said as well. My response wasn't in terms of metaphysics, but fundamentally his logic was the same as mine. He essentially is saying in the argument of queerness that if objective morality, right? If the proposition of this was to be objectively true, that there would be something holding this, there would something fundamentally be holding this in place. And in his response, it was metaphysics. Mine was not metaphysics. I didn't use metaphysics, right? I was simply using, I said in any regard. I just simply said in any type of regard. And again, what it means for something to fundamentally be objective, that it contradicts the idea that moral stances can be objective, because all of these things, like how you even said in your own response, you said that if he were to say like the opposite response, that it would make like it would give like the opposite reaction, and no, it does not. That simply would still wouldn't substantiate the claim. The claim is still being like the same. I don't understand why this is not being understood. There is nothing on earth at all in any regard, whether it's metaphysical or not, that substantiates any type of claim that a moral can be objective, because what it means to truly be objective does not support a moral in any regard at all.
All right, concede your time. All right.
Yep.
All right, we give Katie 2 minutes. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so basically I typed out like the things that he said. I just want everybody to have like a visual representation of like the word vomit that's coming out of this guy's mouth. He literally said verbatim, for something to be objective, it contradicts the idea that morals would be objective. I don't know about you guys, but I don't think anybody here understands what the fuck that means. That's just a bunch of word vomit. And then additionally, he said at the end, what it means for something to be objective is that it does not support a moral. What the fuck does that mean? You're just saying words. You have no fucking clue what you're talking about. You're just spewing a bunch of shit that you're reading in real time whilst you're trying to simultaneously comprehend the concepts that you're reading in real time while your face is down and your ass is up. And I'm penetrating you right now in this conversation, okay? So now I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and I just want very simple and succinct responses to these questions, okay? So now the first question is, when Mackie says moral properties are queer, what do you think queerness means?
Louis asking you a question.
He's got to look it up. Give him a minute.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah. Look, maybe Merriam-Webster.
All right. So first thing, right? The statement that you just referenced, it makes 100% sense. So the statement, if I were to say the statement, for something to be objective, it contradicts the idea that morals would be objective. This is simply saying that fundamentally what something, the definition of objectivity, right, in any context, is a universal truth that is truth regardless of the dependency of the agency of a human mind, right? So if I'm telling you that what it means to truly be objective contradicts the idea that morals can be, is because morals are not, there's nothing holding them in place. The logic, the fundamental logic of anything subjective is held together by the personal agency, essentially the personal thinking, feeling, or gravitation of a human mind. Okay, so objective is independent of this. There isn't anything that is independent of this, and when it comes to objective morality, there's nothing that you can say that will support the idea that morals can be independent of personal, individual agreement or community agreement in any regard. So I don't know what that means. And in terms, you said when you asked the question, that would they be queer, right? It's simply saying it's literally just saying that if moral properties existed in a way that like it was independent of a human experience. That's literally just what it's saying. Like,
Okay. So the first thing is that I genuinely, it's like actually hard to make out the gibberish that's coming out of your mouth with all the stuttering and the stumbling and the ums and the uhs. Objective morality might be and it has to independent of stances. We don't know what the fuck you're saying. Number one. Number two, that's not what queerness is. That's not even close to the concept of queerness, at least as per Mackie describes it. So I'll basically give you another free education. At this point, I basically should be getting paid for this free tuition. But even if I was getting paid to teach you, I'd be taking all your money for it. Okay. Now, what Mackie means by queerness simply is that there are these kinds of properties in our ontology that are unlike any other kinds of entities into our ontology. So the reason why they're queer It doesn't have anything to do with like the LGBTQ community, by the way. I saw a couple of the comments. It doesn't mean that like morality is like GAY. That's not what that means. But like moral properties being queer literally just means that those kinds of properties would exist in a way that no other kinds of entities in our ontology exists. And if that's the case, then Mackie believes that there's reason to believe that those kinds of entities don't actually exist, right? Because we're actually positing entities beyond necessity. Okay, that's the view that he takes. You didn't know that because you're a dumb fuck. Now, I'm basically like, I'm going to give you like two options because this conversation is really going nowhere. Has like literally turned into a fucking tutoring lesson, much less a debate. I don't even think you're intellectually capable of debating with me. So I'll give you two options, like finally, basically. So either one, you can attempt to provide an argument for either moral subjectivism or moral error theory, or two, the conversation can just end here. Your choice.
All right, so this is how I know like you're disingenuous and you like to just say words and like to be right. So before you even ask me it's very good that you said this because before you even asked me that question, I had the definition of it pulled up, and it literally says exactly what you and I both said. It literally says that things that are independent of human experience, they would be basically relative to anything that's unlike anything else in the universe, which makes their existence seem odd or queer, right? You literally repeated what I said, and I can share my screen and show it. That's literally what it says. Like, I don't know why you just tried to make this like assumption that what I said didn't make sense. This is literally exactly what you just said and what I said. So I'm not sure why you just tried to read that. Like, I didn't just say that, but yeah, I literally just said
by the way.
that's literally what it said. No, don't talk. No, shut up. That's literally what I said. So the fact that you try to act like I didn't just say that is crazy. So, okay, again, you didn't address now that we got that out of the way, you didn't address the first thing that I said. Again, I'm going to say this again. You're not addressing the fact that, okay, you're not giving an argument for the opposite. You're literally just trying to pick a nitpick like wording. So again, what is arguing this? Okay, because if something is objective, I think anyone can agree that my definition of what objective is correct. It is independent of human agency in any regard, right? That would also support his metaphysic theory as well, because that it's also saying that as well, because like he said, it would be something that is not like anything in the universe at all, right? And that's why I specified in the definition that is separate from human experience, independent of human experience, right? That's what it says in the definition, as I said. So again, why did you just try to go on that little fake tangent about what I said, like it wasn't facts, when that's what the definition says, as I said?
This dude's a crack baby.
Okay. Honestly, I feel bad for you at this point. Like, I genuinely am starting. Actually, you know what? I'm lying. I don't feel bad. I actually think you deserve every bit of treatment that you've gotten today. Just given like your pompous attitude.
Can you just make an argument and stop trying to do insults?
Stop
Just make an
speaking.
argument,
It's
bro.
not your turn.
I
I'm
don't
still
care.
speaking.
Just make an argument.
Like, I don't know why you're speaking.
Jesus.
Calm the fuck down. Okay, it's not your turn to speak. So just pipe the fuck down. Go back on mute and listen like a good boy. Okay. So now basically, you're confused about these concepts. You don't know what moral error theory is. You don't know what queerness is.
Yes, I do.
That's not what you said queerness was. Your definition of queerness, which by the way, we can just run back the clip and watch and listen to the clip. Your definition of queerness was something that exists independent of the mind. That's not what the definition
I didn't say the mind. I said human experience.
Stop speaking. It's not your
I
turn
never
to
said that. That's a lie.
Stop speaking.
I didn't say that.
Still speaking. Still speaking. Now, that was your definition verbatim. If you think that I'm lying, then the clip will prove me wrong. But anyways, that's not what the definition of queerness is. That's what the definition of, or at least some definitions of objectivity. Okay, so you conflated those two definitions because you're a dumb fuck, right? But secondly, you didn't even address the dichotomy or the disjunction that I gave you, which was just either you're going to provide an argument for moral error theory, which I don't even think you know how to do because you don't even know what moral error theory is. You just learned this concept today after I taught you about it, or the conversation can just end. Since you couldn't pick, I'll just pick for you. The conversation is going to end right now. And you've been systematically blown the fuck out, and you've been torn apart in every single possible way, on top of the fact that you got a free fucking education. I'll send you my Cash App after this. I'll send you my PayPal. You
You didn't even make any arguments. Yeah, you didn't even say anything. You literally didn't say anything. You literally reread.
Wait until the 30 seconds is up. Respond.
No, that's it. I'm done. I'll just I'll link you my PayPal after this, and then you can just send me like I don't know, maybe $100 for wasting my time.
All right.
I think this dude's definitely a crack baby.
All
Just
right,
fucking
you
dropping
can
the setup.
respond.
Reread the same definition I read. I'm literally reading it off my
Okay,
screen. You
Forrest
said it was
Gump,
wrong,
okay,
and I didn't. I
okay,
never
Forrest
said.
Gump.
I said
Y'all
human
going the fuck
experience. I
out.
never
Chill
said
out. Go ahead and wipe yourself
human
off.
thinking.
Go
Wait,
ahead and
can we
wipe
run?
yourself
Wait, can
off,
we
fat
lock
boy.
bread? Wait, can we run the
Go
clip back
ahead
and see
and
what
go
I
ahead
said?
and lock.
Wait, can
Go
we?
ahead
Wait,
and
can we
wipe
lock
yourself
bread real
off,
quick?
fat boy.
Wait, Kay, let's
Go
lock
ahead
bread.
and
I
wipe
said
yourself
mine
off.
Wait,
independent of
hold
the mind. I
on.
said the human
Yeah,
experience.
Cross.
Can we
What's
end?
an
Wait, can we lock
influence?
bread on that real quick?
What's an
Wait,
influence? What's an
hold
influence?
Wait a
on
minute. Let's
now.
lock bread on that real quick. Let's play the clip.
Let's
You
play,
have the
bro.
clip, right? Let's play
Oh
it.
my god, this guy's actually yeah. So Cross, question for you.
Wait, can we
Before,
run that back real quick? Because I never said that.
yeah, you never said what exactly.
I never said that the definition of queerness in the context that what Mackie used is something anything that's independent of the human mind. I never said that. That's what he claimed. Wait, can we lock? Wait, let's lock $100. I said that.
Bro, you have seriously a tracking issue. This is like
Oh
a
yeah, I have an issue because I'm
I
telling
have
you
a
to lock
question,
bread. You
bro.
broke ass bitch. Can you lock bread? I
Yo,
said that.
bro,
He
nigga,
said he
I
got
own
the
3
clip.
cars. I own 3
Let's
cars.
run it back.
Because I'm far
Wait, if
from
I'm
you.
right, I'll send everybody on this
I
panel
can
$100
buy
right now if I'm
I can
wrong.
buy your
I will
mother.
send everybody on this panel
I can
$100 if
buy
I'm
and
wrong.
sell your mother, bro.
I will sell any.
I
I'll
can
give
buy and sell
everybody
your mother.
$100 if I'm wrong.
You're
I
the
never
broke
said
bitch
that.
still living at home. Go fix
Wait,
that.
can we
Why,
run that back?
why is your smoke detector going off?
That's
You're
what
a
he
virgin.
said. He said he has the clip. That's what Kay said. Kay said he has the clip.
Yeah, go
He
fix
said
that
we can
smoke
get the clip.
detector.
That's what he said.
Go ahead and fix that smoke detector.
If I'm wrong, I will send everybody on this panel
This
$100.
guy,
I
this
never
guy's
said
like
the
a dumb
definition is
fucking.
something independent of the human mind. That
This
never
guy's
came out. I
just
never said
out
mine.
your mouth.
That never came out of my mouth.
Guys, just
Let's lock
shut up.
100 right now.
You're actually a dumb
You
nigga.
broke ass bitch. Let's put your money where your mouth is,
Yeah, I'm
bitch.
such a
Shut
dumb.
up.
Listen, I will
Can we
fuck
put
I will
your money
fuck
where your
your
mouth
mother.
is?
I would
Exactly.
fuck your mother and
Never
everyone.
said that shit. That's free money, right?
I
So
would
let's run it.
fuck your mother and everyone. I wouldn't pull up.
Exactly.
All right,
Exactly.
You're my
Exactly.
stepchild.
Exactly. You can't make a
You're
fucking
my
argument. You just
stepchild.
doing
Shut up,
yeah.
bitch.
Just
You're my
All
insulting
right,
as
all right,
usual.
Mac. All
Go ahead
Insulting
and
as
wipe
usual.
yourself.
I
Go ahead
know.
and wipe yourself off.
I think this conversation. All right. I think this conversation's clearly concluded. I mean, been here for hours. This is integral to his abortion position, and as you can see, the debacle that occurred here. I really see where else to go.
He got ass fucked like 4 times.
Any other opposition? Okay, I had a violation. Any other opposition?
By the way, can you send me the recording of that debate host?
Yeah, send a request. Wait, can we lock
Yes.
$100, Kate? Can we lock 100?
After this ends, I'm gonna put this on YouTube, and I can also send it to you personally.
Yeah, that would be great if you just send me the link so I can just have access to the video, the debate.
All right.
All right, appreciate it. I'm gonna hop out of here, but thanks for having me up.
All right. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, I'll catch you guys another time.
All right. Any other opposition?
By the way, what's your name up there? What's your name?
Bro, if you're not trying to like 100, don't say nothing to me, bro.
What's your name?
You can click on my account and read my name.
Okay, I'll just call you my bitch. Bye, bitch.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I guess, bro. Can you lock 100 though, you broke ass bitch? Yeah, I know. Nigga can't lock no money though. With your stupid
All
ass.
right. Any other opposition? I think we allowed this for quite some time. Thanks for joining.
Like an hour and a half.
It's been longer than that. Any other opposition?
Yeah.
Bro, they're not gonna talk. They have no opinion. They can't say anything. All they do is just agree to things they don't even understand. They have no opinion for themselves at all.
Well, we'll let the viewers decide that. Any other opposition? Anyone who disagrees with the prompt, please come up. Well, Country doesn't disagree with the prompt. He actually agrees. Any other opposition? I allowed that. Yeah, I'm going to have to do this new rule of 2 minutes uninterrupted because it's getting kind of out of hand.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. I'm going to say something because he's not here. There's a reason why I unmodded Mac. No, you don't disagree with the prompt. A reason why I unmodded Mac is because it derailed the conversation when Andy was here, right? Andy was trying to ask Cross a question, and then, the breakfast question, like, I do not like that question. Like, that kind of derailed everything.
Wait,
So
that's why you demodded him?
not unmodded him. The reason why Andy crashed out, I didn't unmod him for that, but I do get irritated with that with these remarks. But anybody who disagrees, request up. Then it's Phil. If you disagree, come up.
For me, I am not a debater when it comes to pure logic and actually getting into formal debates. That's why I step out when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I do understand some of the basics of logic, but Kay was getting into some really deep stuff that I have not explored myself. It doesn't mean that I'm necessarily dumb. It just means that I haven't really gone too
Kay.
far into logic.
That's why it was a little
But
bit.
I respect him.
It was a little bit unfair. It was a little bit unfair for Catholic Mike to bring Kay up because like Kay is like literally one of the top tier pro life debaters on the app.
Yeah, and he was bringing the fire right there.
Okay, so wait, if he was
appreciate-
bringing the fire, can you substantiate his claims? So I want you to tell me what he said and why it makes sense.
I just said I am not a pro debater.
No.
am
I
not
want to
into
ask you. You
formal
saying that
logic.
it's fire, right? So that means it must have made sense to you. So substantiate why it makes sense.
I am not a pro
Exactly.
debater.
Dick right in ass. Dick right in ass. You can't even tell me why it makes sense, but you say it's so fire. It's so fire because a person said terms in your brain and you just automatically assume that it makes sense. You can't even tell me why you agree. Look at you, dick right in ass. Like this.
All right, we're gonna move on from
Why it makes
this.
sense to you? Tell
All
me why it
right,
makes sense.
we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on.
Exactly. Yeah, let's move on because he's a fucking idiot. Dick
All right,
right in
the
ass.
devil. You say the prompt is rage bait, and come up and show how the prompt is rage bait. You disagree. Now is your time to come up. We're gonna move on to different opposition. If not, I have to change the prompt. You said the prompt was rage bait. So then do you disagree with the prompt then? I don't think you're actually pro-life. All right. Any other opposition? How you doing, Error? I'm assuming you saw all of that. If Error's even still here. Any opposition? Like I said, all of these lives will be on YouTube. I'm kind of slow on that. I have like 80 lives to put on YouTube. So yeah, I'm kind of slow on that. I'm like way behind. So I gotta post all of them. They don't have a lot of detail. There's not gonna be a lot of description, and the titles are gonna be very bland because like some of these are like 7 hours long. I don't know all the details of the live. So yeah.
I would say if they weren't so big, you could run them through AI and see if it can create a description for you. But that's a lot for getting it through an AI.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could make it short and sweet. Yeah.
Like you could maybe clip it, get some good like highlights, and throw it to an AI. I think Grok will allow you to throw up some audio, and it can analyze and then just make a concise sort of description of it. But that's about the best I can think of. But you'd still have to do a lot of work.
I mean, how would I do that? Like, I'm telling you, I'm just be totally honest. There is no way I'm going to rewatch a 5-hour live.
I agree with that. Yeah, I just don't know without a massive file upload to Grok or something how you would get a good succinct description of it.
Right.
I'll have to look into it. I think there's probably a couple tools out there that can kind of create a quick description of a 5-hour live.
Yeah. My longest was, I believe, like 10, maybe like 9 hours, I think. I've been having not a lot of traction these last few days, obviously, because the events happened a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any opposition? If not, I'm gonna end because it's 3:13 a.m. Oh, RNJ is running. I'm just kidding. Any other? If not, I'm just gonna end.
I wanted to jump in and actually ask Cross there about something not so deep and ultra logical and all that. My question was just going to be, where do you get your subjective opinions from? Like, where do your morals come from? And I know the answer, but yeah, I just didn't get the chance because
Well, here's the
there's
thing.
too
This
many
is
people
not the
talking about it.
first time. This is not the first time I've seen Cross. I've seen him multiple times in my panel.
Oh
I've seen him
yeah.
on other lives before as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, it comes down to you develop your morality either through your religion or through your society, your family, and all of that. And where does your society come from? It comes from Western values. Where do Western values come from? It's a chain of origin, and that was where I was going to go with it.
Yeah. I'm going to be totally right. I'm going to totally agree with Kay, what he said about like the circular reasoning. This is all the reason why I'm not a Protestant. I don't subscribe to sola scriptura.
Right.
I'm not a Catholic yet because I haven't been through RCIA, but I do subscribe to Catholicism being the truth. Using the Bible.
That's where I am.
Yeah, using the Bible to like prove that God is real is very problematic, and that's a
Yeah,
problem.
it
I
is
have.
circular.
Yeah, it's a problem I have with a lot of Protestants. So yeah.
Well, one of my favorite lives, actually, yours is my second favorite, but my first favorite is actually a secular live that talks about anti-flat earthers. We went to the moon, and it's filled with atheists and all that. But we have a lot of fun on that live because we let each other talk.
Yeah. I try to, but then it gets out of hand.
Oh, it's not your fault. No, you do great, but a lot of the guests don't.
Trust me, I hear it. I hear all like, dude, do a better job. It's like, yeah, I get it. I do allow some of this, but
Yeah, but it helps the algorithm. That helps you get into the algorithm and get to the front.
yeah.
So I understand it.
It's for the message. Like I try to, because look, the fact I need to handle this out. I mean, we're all adults here. We should know how to behave. I shouldn't have to do this, but I have to.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, I don't blame you one bit. You handle the live as a lot of other people do. It's kind of required to get that message out there. What you're putting out there with your backgrounds, that's showing your opinion and you're making people think about it. It doesn't necessarily mean that the people on the panel are going to be good people about it, but you're at least putting that out there and getting the message to people.
Yeah. I should also keep in mind, and I've said this multiple times before, because I have had people, crash out at me. Elder pro-lifers, specifically. This is not rage bait. I do believe in all of the prompts because I made these prompts. Well, I didn't make them. Well, I conceptualized the prompts. All of the prompts I made, or most of them that I put up, I conceptualized, and somebody else made it. So this is the message, and depending on the people who you speak to, they actually end up proving the prompt correct. They actually agree and they're pro-choice. So yeah.
No, I that's why I keep coming back to this one. You are one of the lives that I actually like. I respect you. I wish that people would be a bit more respectful of you when they come up here.
Yeah.
But,
I have to put the foot
it's
down.
TikTok.
Yeah, I have to put the foot down.
Yeah.
Like, Mac is very problematic, and I did not like, because Andy, very, very good pro-lifer, I did not like that he asked that question because it did derail the conversation.
Yeah.
I mean, look, the opposition we were talking to, not the brightest tool in the shed, but still, I don't like when people ask that. Well, how would you feel if you had breakfast today? It's like okay,
Yeah.
I know what he's trying to get when they ask that question. Like, if you can engage in a hypothetical, that is the purpose of that question. But like, it just derailed the conversation.
Well, and the problem with that question is it is so common. It's something that's spread all over the internet. It's a big question. It's just like the what is a woman question. It's so overdone, and it does not prove anything other than the fact that you are willing to engage in a meme. That's what they are. Those are both meme questions, and they mean nothing. They do not help the conversation.
Yeah.
So I get why you threw them out. That's totally understandable, and it's again it is derailing. You're
I left them on
absolutely
the
right.
panel. I should have dropped them. I left them on the panel, but I got very irritated. I can
Yeah.
see why the complaints. Yeah. I think that's absolutely ridiculous in the comments. I believe that's absolutely ridiculous to say that a pregnant woman is not connected to her child. That was the contention that what's his name, Andy was having with him. Like, to say that, like, you're asserting the fact that once it is born, it would have more like a emotional connection to the mother, which is not true, because as Andy pointed out, there have been many cases of women throwing their children in dumpsters and unaliving them. And of course, women who have miscarriages, obviously have the grief of losing their child, right?
Yeah.
So like so he even admits that it's subjective. So by his own argument, you can't say that once it is born, there's automatically more like a psychological or like emotional like attachment, when that's literally dependent on each individual woman. So that debunks your own arguments. And he also made the claim that I asked him, how would a newborn like provide to society? They can't. I mean, unless a newborn's like in a movie acting, maybe. But like in most circumstances, they can't provide to society at all. They just consume from society to consume. They don't really produce anything. So if you're saying that's the reason why it's permissible to unalive an unborn child, that would also just logically conclude that it'd be also permissible to unalive a born child, because a born child doesn't provide anything to society; it just consumes and takes from society.
Okay, yeah, no, I get that. My only pushback would be consistent with the unborn as well.
Yes.
That's the thing. My pushback would be that the unborn and the child, while currently not actually providing sustenance to society, they do have a potential, and the potential is massive. But that potential exists from the creation, from the zygote, from egg meeting sperm. At that point, there is a potential, and that potential needs to be recognized for the 100 years, or give or take 100 years of that child's lifespan. They could be providing a lot to society. And so I don't think that there's a distinction in my eyes biologically between the zygote and the born child in terms of their potential.
Well, here's the thing: if they admit to the potential, that leads to a pro-life conclusion. So their arguments would literally defeat their own position. Because like, if you hold the view that in the future they could provide a benefit to society, that means you're pro-life. Then like, that doesn't lead to a pro-choice conclusion. So that's why they don't hold that view.
David, are you?
No, he's not in
bring us
opposition.
opposition.
No, he's not in
I
opposition.
didn't think so. I really didn't think so. But did you want to add?
I'm just waiting for some like pro-choice people to come. I just like got this argument down today, kind of. So I've been like.
You sound very muffled. You sound like you're out on water.
Yeah. I'll be right back.
I think Error is asleep. I think Dan Amanda's asleep. I know he's not an op, but I'm just going to drop him because I think he's actually sleeping. He's actually asleep, I think. I mean, it's 3 a.m. I don't expect anybody to be awake at this time. He was the only op we had today. Because we were talking about, Mac was up, he was talking about Islam and Christianity. He was saying, Christianity, even from the Bible, Jesus would not be God, using specific verses like, no, the Father is greater than me and stuff like that. Story for another day. Um, I mean, I'm not an apologist. I mean, it's pretty simple that when God took human form, he limited his power temporarily. That would not prove that he isn't God.
I don't think he limited his power. I was like kind of commenting because he like is kind of intimidating. Kind of like the other day, I was just like, okay, well, we're not talking about that right now.
Yeah.
But
I
like,
know, yeah.
but like it was when Jesus is talking and when he's talking and he's teaching to, you know, to these people, he's not limiting himself, but he's actually teaching them what humility actually looks like when we are supposed to be fulfilling our purpose. You know, so he's fulfilling our purpose in when we're in our flesh, right? So yes, you are intimidating.
Oh, I think we have an opposition. What's your age? What's your stance?
Hey, what's up? I'm 36 and I'm pro-choice.
Why are you pro-choice?
Well, because I'm a guy. I cannot have kids, and I don't care if they are in or out.
In or out? What? I mean, you do contribute to making a child.
Absolutely, but still.
How does this justify the action of abortion?
It's up to the woman.
So you said it doesn't matter if it's in or out, right?
Yeah.
So if she wants to like drown her child in a bathtub, that'd be permissible.
That's crazy shit.
What'd you say?
Wild.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, but you said it doesn't matter whether it's in or out.
That's a false equivalency, but okay.
Wait, you just said it doesn't matter if it's in or out.
It's a false equivalency, as in if it's through the entire process of birth,
Intolerant.
or if
Are you
it's not.
saying you're sterile?
I'm not.
Wait, you literally said whether it's in or out.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't matter whether it's born or not. So,
and
like,
then you would just like, what about drown it? It's like, I don't know, like, what if they get blasted up in the moon?
dude, wait. You think women don't drown their newborns? You think this is like
Everybody
an absurd?
can.
Yeah, so like, I don't know why you think this is like an absurd view. Like this happens.
Because it is.
Dude, you're so fucking dumb. It's not a false equivalency. He didn't equate it
No,
to
it
anything.
really
He asked
is.
you a
It really
hypothetical.
is.
You're incapable of engaging
A
a
dumb
hypothetical.
hypothetical. It's a dumb
Yeah,
hypothetical.
you're really fucking stupid. So what's the
Calm
point of a
down,
hypothetical?
Jacob. Calm down,
What's the point?
Jacob.
What's the point of
Jacob,
what's the
calm
point of
down.
asking a hypothetical?
Hey, Jacob, you need
What's
to
the
calm
point?
down.
What's the point of
Jacob,
asking a hypothetical?
Jacob. Hey,
What's the
Jacob.
point of asking a
Jacob.
hypothetical? What's the point of asking a hypothetical?
Jacob, calm down.
Okay, I didn't think so. Okay, so this is a 30 IQ moron. Got it.
See?
Like, you literally said it doesn't matter if it's in or out. What do you think you mean by that?
I mean, the fact that Jacob likes to get cucked.
Yo. You just got bodied, bro. How do you feel about that?
I feel a lot like your wife.
How do you feel? I just
Feel
bodied you,
a
bro.
lot like your wife with her
Hey, you're
boyfriend.
the host, and I just bodied you. How do you feel about that? You can't form a
So I
coherent
just
argument.
wanted to ask a question really quick. So a hypothetical should be nomologically and logically possible. So what laws of logic did he break?
In or out?
Yeah.
Wait, Misty, it only needs to be logically possible. Like,
Yeah, which it was. So what law of logic did he break?
So I'll give you the 3 laws of logic.
No, wait, no. Ask him. Ask him if he knows any of them. I guarantee you he doesn't.
I don't think so. You can just.
So it would be the law of non-contradiction, the law of excluded middle, and the law of identity. So which one of these did he break in his hypothetical? Go ahead. I'll wait.
Fantastic. It's the fact that he said, whoa, wait, what is the next he drowns it? And it's just like, what?
Was that English?
Yeah, but that doesn't answer my question.
I mean, it
Hey.
doesn't violate
Okay,
any law.
the hypothetical has to be logically possible, right? Okay, so when we refer to logic, we refer to the laws of logic, right? So that would be the law of non-contradiction, the law of excluded middle, and the law of identity, right? Just because you're saying, trust me, bro, it's a dumb hypothetical, does not mean that he's breaking the laws of logic.
But he
So the
is in
hypothetical
terms
would
of
be
a what if.
valid.
No,
So are you trying to
it
tell
would
me
be invalid.
women don't drown their babies? I'm confused. Question mark.
Does every woman drown her baby?
We never
That's not the
claimed.
argument, you
No,
fucking
he never
idiot.
made
Exactly.
the argument that every woman.
Jacob,
It's the
He never made
hypothetical,
the
dude. You don't
calm
know.
argument.
down.
Hey, what are
Yeah.
the laws of logic? Can you repeat them back to me and what they mean?
Jacob, you can
I
Google
didn't
it.
think so. Okay, so it's 2-0 now. Okay, what law did he break?
Hey, Jacob, you gotta eat
Okay,
the
3-0.
tongue of your
Okay,
wife.
okay, 3-0. Hey, are you allowed to use a fork at the dinner table?
So
Oh
as
my
I was
God.
saying,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
yeah, Jacob enjoys
Yeah,
just
bullying
watching
idiots. Yeah, I
other
do. I do enjoy
men
bullying idiots. You're
have
right.
sex with his wife.
I do enjoy
So
bullying idiots like you. Hey,
now that
what
he
law of
enjoys
logic
getting
did he break?
cucked.
You're not gonna get away from me. What law of logic did he break?
Jacob, I'm not talking to
What are the
you.
laws of logic, victim? What are the laws
So
of logic,
as I
victim?
was saying,
What are the laws of logic? That's what I thought.
yeah, like Jacob.
Yeah, what is the point of a hypothetical? Let's ask another one, remedial
So
fuck. What are the laws of logic? And what's the point of asking a hypothetical? Go ahead.
yeah, but he's passing out
Okay, I didn't think so. I
hard,
didn't think so. So you can't
and
answer a
it's really
single
sad.
question. You can't
Wait,
form a coherent argument.
like
I
you literally
can.
said in or out. It's not. I'm not the woman. I don't care. So like, if you don't care, I mean, you would have no problem with this. That's why I asked you. That's why I asked you.
Hey, host, I have a question.
What's your question?
But what if she also has a chair and like she also ties a bunch of balloons and it also floats away into
Wait,
the sun?
I think you're actually taking this as a joke. Do you really believe no woman has ever drowned her child?
Of course they have.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I don't know why you
perfect
can't just answer the
concession.
question. So I don't know why you can't just answer the question.
Because it's a dumb question.
No,
How is
you're
it
just a dumb person that can't perceive a smart question.
Jacob, you gotta calm down, buddy.
You're so stupid,
So
bro.
okay,
Jacob,
so all right.
Jacob,
That's crazy.
So so
Jacob.
dude, can I just ask a question?
Always.
Okay, so can you just do me a favor and just try to give us an argument that leads to a logical pro-choice conclusion? And I'm not trying to be facetious or anything, but like the definition of an argument would be a set of premises that lead to a conclusion. So the problem what you're doing now is you're giving us a informal argument, right? And when you do this, right, it's based on fallacies and things of that nature. Because you're just going based off of your intuition. You're not justifying your intuition.
So we have established that women do drown their babies. That is a thing that has happened in the past.
And so do men.
Okay,
So
so why
Holy
should
fuck.
women
That's
have the
not.
privilege of unaliving their child?
like after birth,
No. Why should
ah,
women have the privilege of unaliving their child in utero?
because it's not a child.
Okay, I don't. If you want to
Did he
call it a
say
box of
afterbirth?
Twinkies,
Yeah.
if you want to
That's
call it a
stupid, yeah.
box of Twinkies, that's fine by me. So why should women have the privilege of unaliving their box of Twinkies in utero?
Well, that's pretty easy because it's directly her body, so she has the choice.
So do you believe that like bodily autonomy should be absolute?
Like
That I should be able to choose whatever I want to do with my body when I want to do it with my body?
yes,
Okay, great. There's a park like, 2 blocks away from me. And, there's about like 20 children that's, out there playing on a Saturday. And I love to tan, but I hate tan lines. So let's just say I go to this park in my birthday suit and decide to catch a tan, in my birthday suit while 20 children are playing, and I do this on the seesaw. Would you think this is morally permissible?
Well, you'll definitely have to face consequences.
Okay, so when we're having this type of conversation, right, we're
That
not worried
one's in
about the
an
laws.
abortion,
Okay,
and the
excuse
other
me.
is exposing themselves to
So
children.
He's
I'm
so
trying
dumb,
to be
bro.
really polite, dude. All right, but like,
I'm
if you're gonna
also
cut me
polite.
off, that would be great. That would be great. So, what we're trying to do is have a normative ethical conversation. We're making art claims based on our moral framework, right? So we don't care what the laws are, and we don't care what the consequences for these laws are, right? We're talking about the laws that we think ought to be. So, do you think I ought to be able to go to the park, okay, in my birthday suit and tan, okay, on a seesaw with 20 children running around playing?
No.
Okay, great. So, you're telling me, right, that I have the right to unalive my child, right? Which is the ultimate amount of harm that I could cause upon a person, but I don't have the right to let children see me sunbathing naked? Question mark.
Yeah, like, why do you want to do that?
Yeah, but I'm trying to get
Doesn't
you to
matter
see.
why.
No, it does.
Yeah,
Answer the
what I'm trying
question.
to
No, it
get you to
doesn't,
see
dumb
is
Yeah,
fuck.
the.
like, why do you
Try to
want to
track.
Oh,
expose yourself to children?
Try to track.
I
so
don't
what I'm
know,
trying to
Jacob.
get you to see is the absurdity in the view, right?
No,
Because
it.
one, I look at
Yes.
harm, right? I look at harm as something that could be measured, right? Now, let's say hypothetically, I took my son to the park, right? And there was some weirdo out there sunbathing naked, right? I would be absolutely horrified and I would try to cover my son's eyes and get him out of there. But if somebody came and unalived my son, I would be devastated. So there would be the contradiction in your view. You're saying that this woman can use her body to unalive her child, but she can't use her body to sunbathe naked because it might harm children.
Because one is on the outside and the other is on the inside.
Perfect. Depleted
So
location. You
Wait a
just
minute,
cited
wait a
her
minute.
name, you absolute moron.
Wait, from the beginning, he
Jacob.
said regardless if it's in or out. That's literally what he
yeah,
said.
but
Yes,
Yeah.
he's
like,
contradicting
okay,
himself.
okay,
I'm
all
not
right.
Jacob.
So are
Hey,
you
Are
telling
on
I
me?
just had to
recording,
talk
by
to
the way.
Jacob real
You
quick.
are on recording, by the way. You just pled the location. That's literally her name. That is how stupid you are.
Okay, so all right, so you're telling me that we have to be outside of the womb in order to get human rights?
Yes.
Okay, so I have to be all the way outside of the womb to get human rights, correct?
Yep.
So let's
So are
say
you
that I'm laying
full
on the
of
table.
months?
Let's say that I'm laying on the table, right? And I'm one push away. The doctor says, you know what, Misty? All
Hey,
you
there's
have to
snap and
do
snack,
is
right?
this. Excuse me, I was
No, no,
talking.
no.
All you have to do is this one push, right? And this child will be born. And I'm like, you know what, doctor? I just can't do it. Can you just go in there and unalive it? Would you say that this is morally permissible?
That has never happened.
Well,
So
it's a
so in
It's
short,
hypothetical.
a
That has never
hypothetical,
happened.
dude.
are
It's
you
a
saying that you're
It's a
full 9 months?
hypothetical. It's a hypothetical to test your principle of people only receiving human rights outside of the womb. Okay? So I'm one push away. And I'm just like, you know what? Fuck this. I just don't want to do it. Would it be morally permissible for the doctor to go ahead and unalive this child because I don't want to do that last push?
Absolutely. Snap its neck.
Okay, this
Ooh,
person's a troll or just straight up brain dead.
that's disgusting.
It's a fact.
Yeah, so that's really disgusting.
Get
That
the
was a
blender
very
ready and get.
unintuitive
Goodbye and
thing
get
to
out of here.
unalive on.
Yeah, you're brain dead, bro. You belong in a cage.
One push away. That's crazy work.
Goodbye. There's no point.
One push away.
Couldn't engage in a hypothetical. Couldn't name the laws of logic. Couldn't cite the laws of logic that were broken in any hypothetical. None of them were, by the way, right? Didn't understand anything about equivalencies or false equivalencies, and then had the nerve to say that at the end. Yes,
I don't want
brain
you
dead.
up. Get out of here. Get out of here. I don't want you up. It's probably going to be the last conversation because it's almost 4 a.m. So, Jerry, what's your age? What's your stance?
I guess my stance is
What's your age first?
34 35, sorry. Just turned 35.
Happy birthday, then.
But I would say my stance is there are times where, like, in the fallopian tubes, if they attach there, that will unalive the mother, and that should be taken care of. But outside of that,
Well, I mean,
you got
so
pregnant.
those are ectopic pregnancies, and no, all 50 states allow treatment for ectopic pregnancies. The CDC doesn't even define them as abortions, anyways. So we would not be against those. Those are legal in all 50 states. Those treatments, they're not considered
Exactly. Yeah. But I'm saying, like, if you have a child that is viable outside of that, and like other harmful effects of the mother, they should exist.
All right. And they were mostly in agreement. So what about? So, do you have any like grave exceptions? You agree with that, or did you find it impermissible in that case?
Pardon?
Did you have a grave exception, or did you find it impermissible in that case as well?
The child grape exception is
just grape in general. So child grape, I would say is like a medical exception. But just grape.
Yeah, I would consider it the same. Like, if you're a child, you're a literal child, and someone forces that upon you, then you shouldn't have to deal with the child.
Yeah. What about like an adult woman who was raped?
It depends on the woman. I have family that has been raped, and they have a child that from that conception, and they love that child, and it depends on the person.
Wait, why? Or do you want me to still argue up here voiceless, or do you want me to head out?
You can jump in if you want.
Yeah. So why does it matter whether they want the child or not? Why does that dictate the child's like moral value?
Pardon?
Yeah. So why would wanting or not wanting the child have any bearing on the child's moral value or biological existence?
When I say it depends on the person, I mean it depends on their mental health, their mental faculties to accept child. I said like this before, I have a family member who has a child of grape, and she loves her, and she's amazing. She's an amazing person in herself. But like, if it's gonna cause the person to unalive themselves, I feel like they should be able to have the option to not do that.
Right, but well, one, this would just be an appeal to extremes because it's just not the case like 99% of the time, and two, they would be in a hospital by that point anyway, so they would have an alternative means and care for the child. But anyway, would you agree that a child has no distinction in moral worth or biological, obviously, existence, right? Because like you said, anecdotally, you cited an anecdote where somebody in your family was raped and they have a child that they love, so under your worldview, would it be morally permissible to unalive that child if they just felt like it?
I think they should seek adoption first.
Oh, that's good.
Like there's tons of adoption services out there for children.
For sure, per the Adoption Network and American Adoption, we have 2 to 3 million families domestically waiting to adopt at any given time, for sure. And as well as any police, fire station, or hospital would take a child post-birth without you having to raise it. But let me just ask you though: do you think that there's any moral difference if I told you that I was a baby as a product of grape? Should I not be allowed to be in this panel?
No, I think your opinion actually weighs heavier in this panel.
Right. I don't want to point out the logical issue here, but yeah, the point that I'm trying to make here is that there's no distinction in value or existence, so they shouldn't be punished for somebody else's actions, right? The child didn't commit the grape. The child is an amoral agent. It's the product of grape, right? But they didn't do anything wrong.
I feel like I'm agreeing with you that
Okay,
they
that's
should
good.
seek adoption first. But if they literally just the thought of holding that DNA in their body makes them want to unalive themselves, there should be another way.
Well, I wanted to address this point. So if you're saying the thought of unaliving themselves would make this abortion permissible, that would just apply to consensual cases. Like the fact that the woman has to carry this to full term when she doesn't want to, she could also unalive herself because of that. Why would it not be permissible in that case? I'm assuming if the woman, consented to the SMEX, she would be responsible for this child regardless. So, like, if you're saying
This was an unconsensual smack.
no, what I'm saying is if because she's going to consider unaliving herself because of the DNA of this child, right? Well, women
of her rapists, yes,
right, like the trauma of going through a consensual pregnancy as well. Women can unalive themselves anyways. So why would they not be granted that abortion?
Well, I'm quoting a very extreme case of scenarios where a person was forced to hold a child against her will, and the majority of them do provide like the child to adoption. Like the majority of them do not hold the child; they adopt it out.
Yeah, that's good. But
what I'm saying is the justification would apply to those consensual cases as well, because you're saying the trauma that the woman would be going through could cause her to take her life, but that would also be the case in consensual cases. The trauma of just being pregnant could cause some women to take their lives. So yeah, but you wouldn't grant that. You wouldn't grant that excuse in consensual cases.
In consensual cases,
yeah,
that is between the man and the woman that were involved.
Wait, really quick, are you pro-life or pro-choice or pro-life with exceptions? Like, what is your position again?
I am pro-life with the exception of grape and incest.
Okay, that's good. All right, so that's a jumping off point.
Wait, why would you grant the incest exception?
Because the majority of incest occurs between the ages of 10 through 13, and they are not cognizant enough to like accept what happened to them.
Well, that would be great, but do you know what I mean by incest, right? Like consensual incest, like a brother and a sister, or like a father and a daughter, or like a son and a mother, like those kinds of incest. Would that be permissible? Or like first cousins, yeah.
It depends on the powers that were in play at the time. Like if, let's say, there was a fully attracted daughter to a fully attracted brother, and they did the thing at age 35.
Yeah.
On them.
Is that?
But a 10-year-old versus a 35-year-old.
Wait, I'm talking about consensual incest.
Yeah, consensual. Yeah. So basically, are you saying that Would you grant, Jerry, that if it's consensual, even if it's schmincest, that it would be that you wouldn't give that exception if they both agree knowingly and willingly to do something?
So, oh my gosh.
I mean, this isn't unheard of. Like people have been practicing this for like thousands of years. It's not unheard of.
Right.
No, it's not unheard of. No. But like I'm saying, I'm saying like I'm when I say grape and incest, what I'm saying is
Yeah, but they're two different things.
graptural incest, inchmest, I guess.
Well, yeah, but they quantify them differently because they're two different things, right? So anything that is non-consensual would just be put under grape, in which case that's 0.4% of all abortions domestically per the Guttmacher Institute and Charlotte Lozier.
Right.
And Abort 73. So in those cases, right. I mean, there's a distinction. They even they draw a distinction and they graph this out between grape and schmincest, right? So, assuming that schmincest is consensual, would you then revoke that exception?
If it was consensual,
yeah,
between both parties, no power dynamics involved.
Yep.
Then I would say deal with what you wrought. But like I'm talking like the 10-year-old daughter against a 35-year-old
That would just be great.
dad.
Yeah, that would be great because she can't consent.
Just be great.
Exactly.
So that would fall under grape. It wouldn't fall under just like schmincest or whatever, right? Like I don't know if I can even say that word on here.
Yeah, you try not to say the I word, but yeah. Like, when we say in schmest, right? Like it's consensual. It's like that's why I give you an example: a brother and a sister, like a mother and a son, those kinds of things. Again, these are not unheard of. There are cases of like brothers like axing their mothers if they want to have intercourse, and they consent. So like those cases, would that be permissible?
As long as it was consensual, and they wanted to bring a life into the world, that life should be respected.
It wouldn't even necessarily if they wanted to bring to life. It's just they just wanted to have the intercourse.
Right.
Right. But what I'm saying is like a 10-year, like I'm talking like the worst case scenarios. I'm talking, I guess, what you would consider rape.
Well, you said you gave the incest exception as well, but these are like two different things.
Yeah, that's why we're.
When I say that, I mean like a 35-year-old dad forcing on himself on a 10-year-old daughter.
Okay, so then this would just fall under grape. So really, in reality, you really just give the grape exception because, like you just said, if it's consensual, then you'd say that they have to deal with it, right? So really, you're really just arguing grape from two different angles: one from interfamilial and one not. It's really just grape.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Well, then he really just gives the grape exception, protect. In which case, I don't think it's. I mean, you're going to bed soon. We could argue that as well, but I think he just overall is still a W position to at least he's pro-life with the exception of grape. I mean, that's.
I don't grant that exception. I would press it now, but it's like almost 4 a.m. We can talk about this another time. Because I obviously don't grant that exception.
Neither do I. Yeah, but I mean, overall though, I mean, he's got he's almost all the way to abolition. So,
all right. I'm going to conclude. We'll definitely continue this maybe tomorrow or another time. Like I said, I'm going to post that conversation with Kay and Cross on YouTube. This is going to be my YouTube channel. Yep.
I'm gonna like and gift it real quick. Give you some roses, like the live, and sorry I came up hot there, bro. That guy was so dumb.
Yeah, it's like I knew with that profile name and picture, nothing intelligent was gonna come out of his mouth. So
yeah. Plus, if you saw what he put in the comments after, it was really gross.
I gotta look. Oh, I did mute him.
Oh yeah, he put like a baby and then like an axe and then like a cup of BLOOD.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
Like his first thing he literally said, "I don't care whether it's in or out." That's why I literally asked him this question, and he
Yep.
didn't like the entailment of his view. If you say in or out, you don't care. What do you think that's going to lead you to? Like,
Right. And then on top of that, he literally then contradicted himself. And then the girl, right, the debater who was talking to him was literally named plead to location. And then he pled to location.
Yes, Misty. Yeah.
Yeah, I know her, but it's like that was bad. That was really bad.
That's honestly why I joined. I was like, in or out? I'm like, no. It's what does that mean?
Yeah,
no, he said he didn't care. Like what he said is like, "Oh, I'm not the woman. I don't care whether it's in or out. It's fine. She can do what she wants. It's her decision." It's like, okay. And I asked him in or out. So if it's outside, is it permissible for the woman to drown her child in a bathtub?
Yeah, and then he just deflected. Oh, that doesn't happen. Oh, your hypothetical is a false equivalency. He's like, how is it a false equivalency? Only one thing was being posed. He's fucking
Yes.
stupid. Like, holy moly. And then he
It
couldn't
doesn't-
answer any laws of logic or what law you would have broken. Not one answer.
Yeah, that doesn't happen. What are you talking about? Are you saying this has never happened before in the course of human history? Like, what are you talking about?
And then he admitted it. He's like, of course they have. It's like, well, okay, then answer the question. Like, this is crazy. This is crazy, man. Like, it's sad, really.
I think that's enough stupid for tonight.
All right.
All
Well,
right,
you all
I'm
take
gonna.
care.
Yeah, have a good night, everyone.
Have a
Thanks
good night, man. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining.